Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all doing well. Today, my friends, we're back with an Ultra Funds tournament, the biggest tournament around. It's here. So as far as the rules go, quite a bit of fun. Essentially, players can bring up to 40 units in their army. They also have extra money to spend, and we use the ladder limits instead of the traditional banner rules. So things get pretty hog wild for sure, because again, some of the more rigid restrictions on armies are not going to be in place for this tournament. So yeah, it's good, man. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket for the day. So if we look at the bracket, we have Falcon here versus Vicious Satsuma. One sec here. Getting a call, so let me go ahead and hang that up. I'm just so popular these days, jeez. Okay, so we're going to hang that up. It's going to be Falcon versus Vicious Satsuma and Alfredinho versus Dactyr. So certainly some all-stars here in today's event. Very excited to see them in action and also see what sort of machinations and schemes they actually have for this event. Yeah. It's time, yes. That is the tournament for the day. So we will be loading into the first match, which is going to be Norska versus Skaven. So we have Satsuma on Skaven and Falcon on Norska. Falcon used to play Norska quite a bit back when I first met him in the earlier days, and ye old days of old. Norska was one of his main factions in tandem with the elves. He used to love using those frostworms. How y'all doing? Welcome, welcome. So it's a pretty fun format. We haven't done this in almost a year. I think the last one we had was probably close to 9 or 10 months ago, and it's a very fun format. Some of the issues you can run into, of course, are sometimes there's a bit of lag with the armies being so big and some people's computers are potatoes, but I think that everyone that's playing in today's event has a pretty good computer as well as a decent connection. So hoping for the best. Hoping for the best. It is. It was you calling, I see. No, it's funny because the person who called me, I was just on the phone with them like 10 minutes ago, and I was like, please do not call me back because I'm going to be doing a stream and, you know, doing this stuff. And first thing, right after the stream starts, I get a call back. It's glorious. It's glorious. Today's live matches, yeah, so the players are picking their armies. We have Skaven versus Norska. Skaven are one that I think can really take advantage of the Ultra Fund size because they can, we need to put it on Ultra Fund, sorry. Funds set to Ultra. Good luck, have fun. Alright, seems like there's a little bit of a delay. See if that passed. Okay, it looks like it just passed. Cool. So yes, we are on unit caps, which has the standard ladder limitations. It's somewhat similar to banner rules, but you can be a little bit more heavy duty on rare single entities. Normally you can only bring, you know, a couple, right? But on this format, you can actually bring a few more, but it's kind of nullified in many ways by the Ultra Funds. When you play in Ultra Funds, you know, people are going to have more artillery, more firepower, and more ways to protect said firepower. I think Dwarves are also another faction that, in the Ultra Funds, are very strong. I mean, because normally Dwarves, I think, are limited by the expensive units, but on Ultra Funds, you can get like an Ironbreaker front line with like an artillery core and like a ton of Slayers. It's really, really scary for sure. Yeah. It's a fun format. I really enjoy it quite a bit. Falcon's like, that's a lot of money. Yeah, he's not used to that. He's used to working with these stringent 12,400. But, you know, if you're going to go for ultra large army size, you got to go big. Even if there is a little bit of a potato lag, it's okay. It's, you know, we're trying something new today. It should be fun. Should be fun. Yeah, I think Ultra Fund Skaven is really scary too because you have so many extra spots for Skaven slaves. Normally they allocate, you know, a pretty precious spot in your army, right? But in Ultra Funds, you have so many extra army slots with what we're doing today with the large armies and Ultra that, you know, you can have a lot of them and it's really not going to be taking up a valuable spot. So very eager to see how this goes. Should be fun. Hey, Slayer, the hand is getting better. Thank you for asking. Yeah, day by day, my friend. Day by day. Yep, we're good. How much is Ultra? I think it's like, what, 17 or 18,000 gold? I don't know the exact amount off the top of my head, but you get an extra like 5 or 6,000 gold on top of what you normally get. So it's pretty substantial, you know. That's a lot of extra money. A lot of extra dough. Yes, indeed. How's everyone's weekend going? Or is it weekend? What day of the week is it? Hold on. Oh, shit, it's only Wednesday. I'm like, oh, man, I don't even know what day it is. Shit, I thought it was the weekend. I actually did think it was the weekend. So I just started binging a new TV show. I finished Peaky Blinders. I've watched every single Star Trek show, and I was kind of sitting in my living room in a bit of a dark place. I was like, man, I don't have a show to binge. There's nothing that I'm really like super interested in. And then one fateful evening, which was last night, I started, you know, going through Netflix and looking, and then I totally forgot that I had never actually watched Stargate SG-1 all the way through. So now I'm binge watching the Stargate TV show, which is so much fun. Really been enjoying that quite a bit. I know it's Wednesday. Shit, man. It's even funnier because if you look at me right now, I have like the dirtiest, most haggard like quarantine beard ever. I have just such a filthy, terrible beard right now and mustache, and I just look. My hair is all long and unkempt. This is what happens when Lady Turin isn't here. She's actually in Poland visiting her family right now. So I've just become this creature dwelling in the darkness. I'm like Gollum. We forgot what bread tasted like. Oh man. Yeah, I've already done The Expanse. I'm all caught up on that. I really like that show. It's quite good. I'm enjoying SG1. It's fun. I've seen The Expanse. It's an amazing show. So the players picking away. After this, we'll have Dactyr against Alfredinho. So we have some top tier contenders here today. Oh yeah, it's good. It's pretty funny because if you look at like modern TV shows, right? Oftentimes it's like 8 to 10 episodes, and the seasons are pretty short. But when I went to go fire up Stargate SG1, I was like, oh, let's see how this looks. And it's like it's 10 seasons from like 1996 to 2006, and there's like 20 something, like 25 episodes a season, just like an hour each, just balls deep TV, man. It's crazy how many more episodes there were in those like older shows. Yeah. Pretty much all the shows you guys have talked about here, I've seen. The Last Kingdom, I've seen Spartacus. Yeah, I've seen all those. Yeah, I saw Invincible. Yeah. I've seen The Terror. I'm a TV show fiend. Turin is just crawling around the floor. Yeah, nervous, but where's the kielbasa, Precious? Dude, I am like Gollum. I'm just like squatting on the floor, just like wielding my kielbasa. How much gold is it? I think it's like 17,000 or something. Patrick Leonard says, Atlantis is your favorite, the Momoa. Oh no, did we have a crash? Oh shit, is today Tuesday? Looks like both players just kind of crashed out. May have to remake. Hopefully they had their armies more or less saved. All right, they're checking. Not a problem. Hopefully they can rejoin. So I will rehost, I guess. Oh no, they're back in. Okay, I didn't have to rehost, which is nice. And I think I have a fancy button I can press to actually shift their names here. So let's do this. Look at that, power of technology, baby. Drop. That's weird. Well, anyways, Falcon's back. Ah, he switched back to the other side. Trying to help me out. There we go. All right. All good. So I know Satsuma's on my friends list, so we'll hunt him down real quick and get him invited. Remember to smash that like button. Yeah, thank you, Wicked. Appreciate it, man. Hope you're doing well. Hold on, I just got to find the Satsuma, the most dangerous citrus in the old world. Very iconic. You know, he's got that orange as his avatar picture. Start when ready. Go look, have fun. Looks like a little bit of lag. Hopefully that'll pass. We might have to like switch the players up. Usually when somebody just joins the lobby, there can be a little bit. They're not limited to 2 monsters. They can bring more, yeah. I mean, as much as you can bring on ladder, they can. Okay, it seems like Satsuma might be disconnecting. Maybe Satsuma. Let me go ahead and check with him. Sorry about the delay, my friends. But it's the nature of the beast. Okay, let me know if you have any issues joining. And we'll go from there. I haven't seen the Good Omen show. I haven't seen that one, so maybe I should. Have you watched any of the new season of Tough? I haven't, but I do plan on it. Yeah. Usually when I watch The Ultimate Fighter, though, I just skip to the fights. I don't watch all like the drama in the house and stuff like that. You know, because I love watching fights, but, you know, I don't really care for the reality kind of TV show thing. Having all those bros in the house just going fisticuffs. All right. Seems like he's back. Hopefully it'll stabilize here. We can get this party started. What do you think about an Ultra Funds tournament with a random army or one? Random army can be fun. Random army can be fun. The next tournament I'm going to be doing soon is, let me go and check and see. No problem. Yeah, Satsuma just said Steam was being silly. And it seems like the lag is all resolved, so we should get started here in the next like 2 or 3 minutes. The next tournament I'm going to be doing is probably this weekend. And we are going to be doing a a single faction tournament. So it's the format that, it's been pretty popular, where you basically pick one faction and play them all the way through. However, this time around, we're going to be adding a spin where you have to pick the Lord also. So you pick one Lord, and that's your Lord for the entire tournament. So you pick your faction and Lord. So, for example, you would sign up for the tournament as like Grimgor Ironhide or, Grom the Paunch or, Kolek Suneater or whatever, and you have to play that all the way through. So, Turin, how hot has it been? Oh, it's pretty damn hot. I mean, yesterday it was a good like 95 degrees and like 88 degrees inside. It was pretty brutal for sure. I was just laying down. I was like, help me, I'm too weak. Yeah, I did, Vlad. I did watch the most recent UFC with Israel versus Marvin. All right. Let's do it, man. Falcon coming in with Norska. There's probably going to be a shit ton of condom wolves. Or skin wolves, as they're actually called. I know there's quite a few new people to the channel, so when I say make the joke condom wolf, I'm referring to the skin wolf. Somebody actually asked about that. It's just because I think it sounds like a cheap gas station condom brand, and that's why we call them that. So don't say Grom. Yeah, that's going to be what's going on this weekend. Aren't there any limitations on unit quantity and ultra funds? Yeah, there are. We have some limits, yeah. But they're much less restrictive than like banner rules and, the new rule set that's coming out as well, so. Players, it looks like they're spending chevrons. And we'll be good, man. Oh, Truth Warrior, I'm not too interested in doing that. I prefer the vanilla experience. The only time I like to do modded tournaments is like if it's like a meme, like adding halflings or like, shit like that into the game. Yeah. But as far as the modded factions go, the Chaos Dwarf mod, they're so OP. They just like crush everyone. Their shit is so busted. All right, we're loading into the first match. It's going to be Vicious Satsuma representing Clan RTK facing off against XMT Falcon. Two of the best players in the entire world going fisticuffs here live for your entertainment. Wednesday. Man, you have been less active. I've seen so much less of you, I forgot. Oh yeah, I know. Well, it's because I got hand surgery a couple weeks back, so I haven't been able to stream as much. Like, it's getting better slowly. Like, I can start doing things with it, like opening doors and a little bit better. And, there was a lot I couldn't do the first, like, 2 weeks or a week and a half. But today, I felt a lot better, so we'll be getting back into it. The Muma kill charge, it could happen. It could happen. So Chosen One saying, actually, Skaven suck hard on Ultra Funds. Really, you think so? I feel like Skaven are good on Ultra Funds. Because Chosen One, it's not just Ultra Funds. Chosen One, it's actually also a large army. So the Skaven can have a 40-man army. And very few people or factions can actually afford to fill that out, but Skaven can. So you can literally bring a 40 stack. Holy shit, look at these armies. God damn. God damn, Joe Rogan. Oh my god, this is going to be so much micro. I feel like this is also like the true Warhammer experience, like the Warhammer Fantasy, like massive army experience. Yeah. Petersboro, thank you for the $5. Appreciate it. Yeah, we will get some nighttime stream soon. I'm also going to be doing a stream for Blood Bowl 2. I'm going to be playing, to celebrate Warhammer 3, I'm going to be playing the Kislev team. I have a Kislev team in Blood Bowl 2 that I really enjoyed playing. So, we'll be doing that. Well, it's been tricky, Alpaca Lord, because Lady Turin has been in Europe while I've been recovering, so... I've been having to find creative ways to open things, to say the least. All right, here we go. So looking at the Skaven army, we do have a massive field. Satsuma coming in with what appears to be Plague Claw catapults. And so 2 catapults, no, triple Warp Lightning, single catapult. Front battle line's going to be Stormvermin Halberds. We have double Packmaster with the Grey Seer of Plague. And the rest of the army, oh my god, look at how spread out this army is. Holy shit, we have a ton of Rat Ogres. We have some Rattling Gunners in here. We have Globadiers. It's like a little bit of everything coming in here for the Vicious Satsuma. Damn, that is a big Skaven army. That is a big Skaven army. And now if we take a look here, Andy, Kislev is like my favorite team to play. Yeah, it's my favorite. I really like playing them. Even though I lose and then I get angry. It is what it is. So looking at Falcon's army, Falcon does have a battle line of Berserkers backed up here by Norscan Ice Wolves. So it looks like there's going to be some Trolls in the back as well. Oh my god, Norscan Ice Trolls, Frost Wolves, Chariots, Berserkers, Marauder Great Weapons to deal with Storm Vermin, more Marauders. We got double Famir Balefiend of Fire, it would appear. Let me go ahead and double look here. Yep, looks like the double Balefiend is here, as well as Wolfic the Wanderer. And a Frostworm up in the sky. Dude, this is a wild-ass army. And there's even more! Holy shit, on the far side, there's a War Shrine Mammoth and a second War Shrine Mammoth. Dude, this is huge! This is huge. Yeah, buddy. Let's go. Let's go. This is going to be fun. So, just a bit of a disclaimer. I will do my best to give you guys pertinent commentary, but things tend to get pretty lost when you're on these Ultra Funds battles. So there's going to be a fair amount of the battle you guys might not see. But again, I will do my best to cover everything that is important and decisive, and we can go from there. So not too much lag, actually. This is pretty good. I mean, there's going to be a little bit of frames going on, but for the most part, it will be okay. Somebody in chat asking why I like to play the Kislev Blood Bowl team. They're terrible. The thing is there was an event. So essentially, for the World Championship of Blood Bowl, or the biggest tournament, how it worked is the highest ranked team for each basically team. So the best Kislev team, the best Skaven team would qualify for the event. So I was trying to qualify as Kislev because it wasn't terribly competitive. So I actually ended up leveling up a Kislev team to pretty high team value, but we didn't get it. Obviously, there's much better players out there, but it was fun. Frame grenade incoming. Yeah, it won't be too bad. I'm actually going to be getting a new PC in August or September, November. Basically, whenever we know the release date for Warhammer 3, I'm going to be getting a new PC shortly before that. So you did make it. The players are just setting up right now, and this is it. The Ultra Funds tournament is here. Skaven, as you can expect, a pretty well-rounded army, actually. A bunch of artillery. So it looks like in total it's going to be 4 artillery pieces in the back. Rattling gunners, quad ogres, no, penta ogres, poison wind mortars, double packmaster. I mean, he's got a little bit of everything. This is going to be super interesting to see. Very interesting indeed. That is a lot of Skaven, and for Falcon, it's a big army. Also have a 0 build. Our battle shall be legendary. Good luck, have fun. Yep, there's no delay in chat, which means there's no player/server lag. If anything, it's going to be graphics lag, which is much more bearable than the business here. Hey, Damien, I appreciate that. All right, so the battle is upon us. What are your predictions? The hordes of Norska or the Skaven? Let us know in chat where your allegiance lies. Who is going to be winning this dreaded Ultra Funds battle? Find out here on the next episode. So here they come. The Norskan hordes do scream forward. And of course, the Skaven artillery opening up as well, shooting into the dogs as well as the Miststalkers on the flanks, although I don't know if they can see the Miststalkers. And now the true onslaught's going to begin. The Skaven weapons teams, the Poison Wing Globadiers, and these other units. Dude, this is such a tax on someone's micro. Okay, it looks like there's going to be the first catch of the battle. We do have the Norskan Frostwolves, and it looks like they're chasing down the Gutter Runners. Are they going to commit and get the Frostbite? It looks like they do. 29 speed. The Gutter Runners are going to be in some serious trouble, and it looks like the other Norskan Ice Wolves with Falcon are going to be running into the Clan Rats. But Mortar Fire coming in from the Skaven could be relatively helpful, but the dogs are going to be trying to catch that Skaven Vanguard and give them some grief for sure. Rattling Gunners opening up. Rattling Gunners, of course, on smaller funds are a little bit harder to use and protect, but Skaven are certainly not wanting for protection. I mean, they have ogres, they have a ton of mass and mobility, which normally they have to kind of, parcel out and be a little bit more cautious with. But in this case, the Skaven really going in heavily. You can see Satsuma using his whole goon squad to chase down the chariots. Now the Mammoth's coming in, so we have the Warshrine Mammoth as well as the Soul Crusher and the Frostworm getting ready to party as well. While the Rattling Gunners keep teeing off on the Trolls here in the front. So you can see here the Norskan Ice Trolls getting popped pretty good by the Rattling Gunner fire. Might actually break. The Norskan hordes are moving in, while the brave Clan Rats hold pretty firm, actually. I'm surprised they've held this long. But now Falcon giving the attack order to move through with the Norskan Trolls. We'll see if they can get in, while Berserkers actually are able to slip through the Skaven defenses, and now are going to be getting into the back line. So Satsuma here moving his Globadiers to try and position and go after the Berserkers on the far side as well. Looks like the front line of the Warp Grinders and Clan Rats are going to be engaged here up at the very top of the map. For the most part, should be able to hold them back. This is really the epicenter of the battle. The stuff you see elsewhere, a little bit kind of a tertiary, not quite as important, but this is an important fight here. So we have the Packmaster, we have the Ogres intercepting the blob of the Norskans, which is quite strong. Falcon doing a very good job at keeping his forces together. It does make it a little bit easier for the Skaven to focus fire and use magic on that AoE. And the dreaded 13th spell tolls once more in the deep. And the Stormvermin and Halberds have formed ranks here to try and hold back the onslaught, but looks like Falcon was able to break through. Packmasters should have gotten away. It looks like the Rattling Gunner's getting some beautiful fire, man. Teeing off into that Frostworm. Is he going to be able to protect all the artillery? It's hard to say. Now, over here, it looks like the Sensor Bearers are able to fend off the Doggos, and Vicious Satsuma keeps that Warp Lightning Cannon intact, which is super important. And the Skaven Rattling Gunners teeing off up into the Frostworm up in the sky. That thing is pretty close to breaking. Now, the Skaven front line really has buckled, though, and they pretty much had to send the last of their troops forward. So the Blight Scab's Plague Pack has moved forward to intercept the Marauder Berserkers, and that is going to be the last of the Skaven troops, really. I mean, if you look back here, we have mortars, we have the Warp Lightning Cannon, Norska fighting across the board. You can see Marauders and Berserkers fighting through the Council Guard, which have been allocated to the frontline fight. and these Rattling Gunners trying their best to survive, but it looks like Falcon is giving some forced attack orders, and they're actually moving through to attack, but Ogres and Clan Rat Spears should be able to kind of protect them. Ooh, a nice Scorch potentially going down to the front. Scorch does go down, tickles the pickle here of the Hunters. Falcon moving in with a big Alpha striking force. All these Hunters could do some really, really big damage. Balance of power is pretty darn even at this point, but it looks like one Warp Lightning Cannon position finally is going to be taken offline. So if you look in the distance here, you can see that Satsuma's position on the far side is indeed broken, but he's still pretty happy here. This one Mammoth is being focused down by crossfire of the Warp Lightning Cannons on this side, and this side seems to be pretty dominant for the Skaven. Yeah, it looks like the mortars are online, Warp Lightning Cannons online. This one actually got destroyed, but for the most part, Skaven should be able to stabilize on this part of the battlefield with their Ogres and Sensor Bears moving in. But the center really is where shit is getting pretty crazy. Rattling Gunners going just balls deep on that Warshine Mammoth. These Rattling Gunners have been huge MVPs. Let's go ahead and check. They got 2 chevrons, man. Let's see it. 1,800 value on these Rattling Gunners as they continue to unleash on the Norscan monsters. Clearly, as you get onto larger funds, right, you start to see that, you know, things like Rattling Gunners, these units that are normally a little bit harder to protect on a smaller funds battle, become much more effective. Almost 2,000 gold value, and still probably more to be had here. So Falcon moving forward with Wulfric and his Bale Fiends. Here we have a Storm Vermin Halberd pocket moving up as well. And the Warp Lightning Cannon still shooting into the Mammoths, but Falcon does have a nice kind of core of troops to push forward, but Satsuma does have these Storm Vermin, which I believe are summoned. I can't remember if these ones are summoned. No, it looks like they're actual Storm Vermin, so that's going to be very nice. The Storm Vermin with the Grey Seer, and it looks like another Clan Rat summon coming out. But the Dreaded 13 spell should have another charge as well, so that's something that the Skaven will have. It actually looks from the kind of, looking at a little bit of a topical glance here at the battlefield, it looks like the Skaven are in a good position. I mean, the fact that both of their artillery stations and these mortars are still firing, mortars here firing. Norska does have some troops rallying in the distance, but for the most part, it seems like Skaven are in a pretty comfortable position with the double Packmaster, but Wulfric and the Bale Fiends might be able to kind of beat up here on the Packmaster. We'll see. And this is a Warshine or no, Soul Crusher, so he does have Scroll of Shielding as well as Enrage, so a couple ways to become a much more durable Mammoth. Very, very close battle, and, you know, that's actually something I noticed about a lot of these large funds battles is that they ended up being very close compared to the traditional battles. But again, you also have to take into account we have 2 players who are very equally matched. You know, Falcon's a legendary top-tier player, as is Vicious Satsuma, so quite a bit of fun. Really, really nice Seafang right there. Going through that Warp Lightning Cannon, that was a beauty. Might actually be able to break them. It does break them, yes. The Warp Lightning Cannon there is broken. Masterful play. That takes a lot of pressure off some of the bigger monsters. And now the Skaven are just kind of bum rushing in with their Ogres and Packmasters, trying their best to take down the Soul Crusher here. And Plague Claw Catapult still getting some pretty healthy fire. Does Norska have some troops rallying? They do, actually. We have some Trolls that have come back in, but the Skaven have a fair amount of the Storm Vermin here. And the Storm Vermin Halberds are going to be rushing down the hill to intercept, and they should be able to clean up these Trolls no problem, as the Trolls are pretty weak against Halberd fire. This mortar team's out of ammunition anyway, so not that big of a deal. This one being hit by the Chariot of Falcon here, so the Marauder Ice Wolf Chariot charging into the Poison Wind Mortars. And it looks like Norska in this center fight. The Bale Fiend is broken. Wulfric still fighting the good fight with the Mammoth. But both Bale Fiends are broken. Definitely very tough. And it looks like Vicious Satsuma is going to be bouncing out pretty quickly here with his Packmaster and his Ogres to try and intercept the Bale Fiend. And is he going to chase it down? Looks like the AI gets a little bit distracted. But I would imagine that Bale Fiend will probably want to go, if anything, to get rid of the magic, right? Mammoth is broken as well. And I mean, I think Wulfric is in here trapped. Looking very, very strong here for Vicious Satsuma and his Skaven. But you can see the battle certainly has taken a massive toll here on the Skaven army. I mean, oh, and look at this. Norska has a lot rallying. Okay. I was wondering why the balance of power was like that, but I mean, if Falcon can somehow keep Wulfric alive, that would be huge. But it looks like the Wanderer is going to be wandering into the trash can here as he very, very low, 381 HP. But it's still a very even balance of power simply because Norska has an erect Soul Crusher here. On top of that, look how many Marauder Hunter Javelins we have. They are going to be absolutely devastating against this force. It's mostly Ogres and Packmasters and units that are all very, very weak to the aforementioned targets we were talking about, right? The mortar fire here is going to be super important. Mortars coming in here, mortars coming in from downtown as well, bombarding into the very tightly packed Marauder Hunter Javelins, which I think is probably the big saving grace here for the Vicious Satsuma. Another Scorch coming in as well. Scorches have been quite good this game, especially there's so much going on. And yeah, that might actually break the Javelins off, which I think will probably give Vicious Satsuma the game. I think if those Javelins had been able to continue firing here, I think much of the Skaven army would break, but the mortars coming back online in the fourth quarter here, I think is a big deciding factor. Falcon doing a good job, though, with his Norscan Ice Wolves. He's chasing them down, so he gets the Ice Wolves around, should get on this mortar team here in just a second, but it's too little too late, maybe. I think that the Javelins are not going to be able to carry the day, and the Skaven seem to have regenerating monsters. Their Packmasters are going, and it looks like game one here is going to be going to Vicious Satsuma in this glorious, glorious Ultra Funds battle. That was a really fun one to watch. Definitely a lot going on. A lot of really tense moments. That is going to be the first match of the day, going to your boy Vicious Satsuma. GG, well played. Now, these are best of threes, so now Falcon will be picking and doing all his business here. You mess with the Rado, you get the Gatto. I love that. Dude, look how epic these armies look. Oh, I love it, man. I love it. So, looking at value, I'm just going to go through really quick. Wolfric got about 2,000. Other MVPs, the Chariots and some of the Wolves did pretty good, but for the most part, yeah, Mammoths did okay. The Rattling Gunners are the ones I really want to see. Oh my god, look at the armies. Like 3 Sensor Bearers, like 5 or 6 Storm Vermin. Like, dude, this is just so cool. It almost looks like a Warhammer Fantasy like table battle, right? When you have these like epic, large, like, you know, huge scale battles, which is really fun. Where the hell are those Rattling? I'm surprised he didn't bring more Rattling Gunners. Man, they did the best. 2,000 value on those Rattling Gunners is definitely no joke. So let's go ahead and set up the map for the players here. And now we will do this one. We will do Prague. Map set. Good luck, have fun. All right, so we got Prague for the next map. Players will do their picks and bans. Vicious Satsuma saying Skaven are good, but Satsuma also played very well. So Satsuma in chat with Falcon is saying Skaven are OP here, but I think Satsuma played a very good game also. So, you know, it goes both ways. Needed more ice. Yes, you needed more trolls. Yeah, more frostworms for the Rattling Gunners to focus down. Hey, Dries, yeah, I plan on it, man. The Ultra Funds tournaments are really fun. There's so much going on. So Roy, thank you for the donation. Hey Turin, great to hear your hand is getting better. What about a head-to-head campaign or single-player campaigns are you planning? So yeah, I will. When the new DLC comes out, I'll be doing both campaigns. I'll be doing one live streamed, one recorded, and maybe I'll do a head-to-head shortly after. Yeah. Fred Durst, yeah. It's just a running joke. It's a Limp Bizkit reference. All right, so Falcon going Lizardmen. Oh no, High Elves. Okay, he's going High Elves. High Elves are pretty good here too. They're like getting a Larry healing blob is really powerful, really really powerful. Oh shit! I just spilled water all over myself. Give me a second, my friend. One moment. Alrighty, here we go. Let's get all that cleaned up there. I'm just spilling shit all over myself. Yeah, Norska is a little bit of an outdated faction. I agree. I think Norska needs some love. They can still win matches and have a couple good matchups. Essence of Chaos, a super tiny map. Oh my god. Chaotic Blizzard, you truly live up to your name. That would just be punishment. A terrible map stream inside of this? Holy shit. Yeah, just put them on like a siege battle or like the Black Ark landing where like one player starts on the Black Ark and the other guy has to cross a bridge. Yeah. All right. So let's see what they pick here. Should be fine. Cannot ban greenskins twice, bro. Falcon's trying to ban greenskins twice. Whatever, it's fine. I mean, it doesn't matter. He's just, oh, okay, he's just doing them. Oh, got it. I just read it wrong. Never mind. So Falcon's bans for this match are High Elves banning greenskins and greenskins. Man, that's so funny. What is this? Misha says a hot tub stream confirmed. Holy shit. I love hot tubs. I used to have one at my old apartment complex I lived in San Jose. I used to just bask in there. Felt pretty good on my old decrepit hands. Just a hot dog stream where I'm just sitting there eating kielbasa. Yeah, be pretty fun. Turin, speaking of siege battles, as someone that doesn't play multiplayer, how viable is doing a siege battle in multiplayer? It's a fun casual thing, but ultimately it's not very balanced. Yeah. It's not very balanced. Yeah. But like the best place to play siege battles, in my opinion, is in a head-to-head campaign with one of your friends. Because then it becomes like there's some stakes to it, right? It's like, yeah. And obviously you can like choose to attack with a force that you know can capture it, whereas in the multiplayer siege battles, it's just kind of unfair for the attacker. Or the defender in my experience, because the attacker can just cheese the towers and get so much more gold. Yeah. True. All right, so we got High Elves here. Now Satsuma has to do his picks. We'll see what the dreaded citrus fruit will do here. What does he got going on? when they'll have my Ultra Funds orcs in the spotlight. I think Satsuma... Oh, we got Tomb Kings! Oh my god, Ultra Funds Tomb Kings is going to be so much fun! We're going to be getting probably like Boner Giants, like Ushabti Grapo. Holy shit. In Ultra Funds, I would have like 3 Bone Giants, 4 Ushabti Grapo, Kalita, a Casket of Souls, and then just a bunch of Skeleton Spears. That sounds like such a goddamn fun army to play. I hope Satsuma does something like that. If Satsuma, if you're listening, give it a try. You won't regret it. You're going to love it. You are going to love it indeed. So we got the Tomb Kings versus the High Elves. Obviously, the meta changes quite a bit under these rules, right? It's not going to be your traditional meta. Things that were very powerful might become weak, and the reverse, of course, is true. What about a hot dog stream? We already had one of those. If you haven't seen it, we had a hot dog stream a while back. It was myself, Italian Spartacus, Gojira, and Professor Pone. It was an FFA event where essentially the individuals who lost a game had to eat hot dogs. Boner Giants for the hot dog stream, I know. It's getting real raunchy in here. Mass Screaming Skull Catapults. So if I were playing against Felcon's High Elves, I would probably expect single entities. So I would just bring shit that can like snipe dragons. You know, because Felcon's a dragon in Phoenix Man, so I would bank on the fact that there's going to be the maximum amount of those. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, you know, and the Burning Head's not going to be quite as devastating, right? Because you just have so much more shit. It's not as bad losing like a Tomb Guard unit, where it is on a smaller map, right? Or smaller funds and all that kind of good stuff. Yeah. Got Titans coming, all sorts of good stuff, man. I want to look at their armies, but I don't want to spoil it for us. We got to keep the surprise and the anticipation. We could see a Kotep pick. Kotep's a little bit risky, very easy to be sniped by the High Elves, especially if you go with Arcane Phoenixes. When is the next faction war? Probably in July, I think. I don't know. Yeah, because I got a pretty busy month right now. Probably in July. Well, I want to wait till we have the next DLC, because the current meta is kind of stale in 1v1. Like, a lot of people are kind of sick of watching traditional 1v1 tournaments. So I'm delaying my ECL Grand Finals until after the DLC and also the faction war, because it'll be way more interesting than just seeing Grom just win and, you know, the greenskin's just super powerful. So Cody, I won't. As long as people keep watching, man, I'll keep going. Ultra Funds means Imrik isn't overpriced. It's not as much of a hit to your army, Wicked. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Speaking of Wicked, Lady Turn and I were talking about going to check out Colorado, however the hell you're supposed to say it. We were thinking about going to check out the lands. Satsuma probably picks and Felcon Imrik. It could happen. I don't know. Satsuma's a man of the people. He played in the last faction war and didn't use Grom the Paunch a single time. Despite winning with greenskins, he didn't use Grom. He used like Wurzag and like Azag like every game. So he's a man of the people for sure. So we'll see. We'll see what he brings. I'm sure it'll be fun. I'm sure it will be fun. Yeah, Imrik Dragon Army would be pretty exciting. I would be very excited. So, you know, up until the DLC comes out, we have one more ECL qualifier on, I think on the July 3rd, because one of the individuals who qualified had to drop out, so we have to replace them. So we have like a flash qualifier with people who made it to the top 4. And then after that, I mean, we're going to be doing another Ultra Funds tournament maybe next week if people enjoy this, and, you know, just kind of mixing it up, doing some fun stuff. Oh, Misha, it's pretty beautiful for sure, from what I've heard. Yeah, beautiful outdoors and, you know, all sorts of cool stuff. And of course, Wicked's there. Come on. There's a couple places we were looking at, like moving down the road. Yeah, a couple of little beach towns here in California. We were looking at Colorado. We were looking at Washington. All sorts of places. The big thing is Lady Turin really just doesn't like the heat. Like, if there's really hot weather, she generally just really suffers. So we're looking for somewhere with a little bit of a cooler year-round climate. When you can toss up the corn roster when it's out, I'm gone for 3 months. I need my Warhammer 3 fix. Yeah, you're gone for 3 months. Where are you going? Going on an adventure? Are you taking the ring to Mount Doom? Are you going to make a Slanesh video? Dale, probably not, because honestly, I more or less know what the roster is going to be, probably based on what we've seen. So it'd just be kind of like, you know, like now that we've seen, you know, the Kislev roster and seen some of the Khorne units and how it's going to be done, like, you know, it'd be kind of pointless. Canada. Alicia, so I actually lived in Canada off and on when I was, not too much, but when I was, man, how old would I have been? 10, 11, or 12? My father was filming a TV series in Canada. So my dad is a television actor. And in the late 90s, yeah, it would have been late 90s, he was filming a TV series in Canada. So he actually got Canadian citizenship because he was filming there for like 4 or 5 years for the TV show. And I used to go stay with him every summer because my parents were divorced and they had like a joint custody situation type thing. So during the summers, those couple years, I used to go out to Canada. Up until I was in high school. When I was in high school, I just stayed with my mom. But when I was a young kid, it was a different situation. And I would stay in Canada, and I loved it. It was amazing. I had a great time in Canada. It was beautiful. Man, yeah, the nature there is just insane. Insane. So that's that. That is that. I live in Colorado. I need to move to Wyoming so I can stay in Colorado. What? That doesn't even make sense. Yeah. Canada is beautiful, though, man. Some of the landscapes, like, we got to see when we were there, is, yeah. Moved to Chicago. Italian sausage, kielbasa, hot dogs. It sounds right up my alley, man. Right up my alley. Colorado is having a heat wave now, but it's still better humid. Okay, fair play. Yeah, it's pretty hot here now. California, it's like mid 80s to like high 90s right now. Yeah. Wicked says Colorado has some beautiful sites. One of it, if not the best legal cannabis market in the country. You know what's funny about that is I'm actually allergic. Like if I'm like near somebody who's smoking, you know, marijuana, I get like an allergic reaction. Not like life-threatening, but it makes my nose and throat like really ache and hurt. Yeah. So I have to like actually stay away from that. Yeah. Never tried it myself. All right. Let's do it. The battle is upon us. The fate of the old world shall be decided here in this best of 3 series. Man, it's really... Hey, you guys are saying it's 100 degrees out there? Okay, well, yeah, pretty brutal. Pretty brutal indeed. I know, isn't that crazy? It's tough in California because in college too, I had a ton of roommates and like neighbors in apartments and dorms who would like smoke, and it just like punished me. I was just like always suffering. Yeah. Yeah. Come to Alaska. All the benefits of Canada without leaving the U.S. Probably similar weather, huh? Yeah. No, man. You see, I've been plagued with allergies my whole life, dude. It's the worst shit. It's the worst shit. Yeah. It's terrible. All right, my friends. So here we are looking at the forces of the Bone Daddies. The Tomb Kings. We have Ushabti Grapos. So there's going to be 5 Ushabti Grapo with a Light Wizard to obviously, if you have 5 Grapos, dude, you got to do that. Double Boner Giant, Casket. Oh, man, he's a man after our own hearts. Eyes of the Desert here in the back. Who is the Lord, mind you? I can't find them. We have a bunch of Necropolis Knights, Nehekar Horsemen, Skeleton Spears with double caskets. No, triple casket. Oh, shit. Triple casket or double casket with Double Bone Giant, Penta Ushabti Grapo. And the front line's going to be Skeleton Warriors. Dude, this army is sweet. And it looks like it's going to be Grand Hierophant Kotep. Oh my god, it is triple casket. Triple casket, double boner giant, Penta Ushabti Grapo. Dude, check this out. It's going to be so good. And now for the forces of the Dark Lord Felcon. He's got Teclis on a bird, a Mage of Fire, obviously, against Tomb Kings. But, I mean, the Burning Head isn't going to be that good against this army. It really, really won't be that strong. For the rest of the army here, oh my god, Sisters of Avalorn into the Sunset. It looks like at least 3 of them with basic archers on the flanks. We have a bunch of Phoenix Guard in the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Phoenix Guard and Bolt Throwers as well. Dude, this is going to be a Royal Rumble. I am so excited for this matchup. Let us know your predictions. Who do you guys think is going to win? Is it going to be the Tomb Kings or the High Elves? Let us know your predictions in chat. If you guys are channel members, of course, make sure to spam the emoji that correlates to the faction of your choosing. And we'll go from there. Dude, the DACA intensifies. Robert, I hear you, man. I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, Lady Turn and I will be moving someday. Not sure when. But it will happen. So the Caskets are going to be raining some hellish fire into this army. Dude, that is so much DACA. So the first Casket shot's going in. It looks like they hit some Silver and Guard. Probably going to be switching on to the Sisters. The thing is, it's going to look like in the beginning that Falcon's army is getting pounded, right? Obviously. But once those Phoenix Guard move in and those Bolt Throwers start kind of sitting on a Bone Giant, for example, the dynamic of the battle really is going to be changing. So the Casket Fire is still shooting in. Here we do actually have Nekar Warriors preparing to fight against Rangers. Not really sure how that'll go, but the Casket's doing some big damage. And it looks like the Boner Giants are unleashing their full shafts into the face of Teclis and this Mage of Fire. Oh man, look at that. And the Great Bow Fire as well. Nasty, nasty. That is going to be forcing Falcon back. And so he's probably just going to pull back until his main army is like ready to engage. And now Sisters of Avalorn are actually in range of the Ushabti Great Bow. That's going to be a pretty cost-effective situation. Vicious Satsumi using his Nekar Horsemen and pushing into the Rangers here. But more Rangers moving into the battle line. And it looks like a net going down. Oh, Teclis got hit with a net actually. And the Bone Giants are lining up their shafts. Is he going to get hit? 4,100 HP. It looks like it does miss. No, it hits down to 3,800. So a nice little cheeky play right there. In the front, we do have the Necropolis Knights moving in to cycle charge the infantry. Of course, the Silver and Guard and Phoenix Guard will be able to eventually get through the front line. And Falcon does also have some Rangers moving into the secondary to actually start pressuring onto the Ushabti Great Bows. But man, oh man, that is a lot of Tomb King's DACA. The Bone Giant Fire. We also have a Titan as well. So the Titan's going to be moving in to attack the Rangers here. And shit is just getting absolutely bananas. The Bolt Thrower Fire for the Elves. What are the Bolt Throwers shooting? It looks like the Bolt Throwers are going into the Caskets. So here in the back, we have 3 Bolt Throwers focusing down this one Casket of Souls, which does get Narrow's Incantation of Protection, which is really a testament to excellent micro from Satsuma. With so much going on, he's able to recognize where those Bolt Throwers are going and use the appropriate magic. The other 2 Bolt Throwers appear to be shooting into the Casket here. So yeah, 2 Caskets are on their way out. This Casket here is pretty close to crumbling and breaking off. This Casket is on the run, and it looks like a big burning head is going down from Falcon here, which is going to be cooking the Horsemen. Or not the Horsemen, but the Warriors, and also unfortunately going to the Rangers. That was a really, really unfortunate ending to that burning head right there, but it still does break open the front line. Phoenix Guard are going to be making their way through, and this is where things start to get really dicey, right? We see Phoenix Guard pouring into the back line. We got Spearmen back here moving in as well. Eyes of the Desert trying to hold them back, but I'm a little bit concerned that the Vicious Satsuma does not have enough to defend everything, although looking at this, he's got 4 Necropolis Knights sitting idle here. They need to get active ASAP because the front line is buckling very, very quickly. The Elves are getting in. Bolt Throwers are also closing the distance here. And you can see somebody's typing something in chat. And they're saying, let's try this. Good luck. Have fun. Nice Casket Fire, though, still going into those Archers and Sisters. But 3 Bolt Throwers sitting quite happily. Now the Horsemen have been activated, so the Necropolis Knight's going to be bouncing out. But there's so many counters to them here on the battlefield. There's Silver and Guard as well as Phoenix Guard, so it's going to be a lot to stop, man. And just looking at the battle, I don't see too many ways for the Tomb Kings to get this. I feel like the High Elves have just been like the jaws of the mighty. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good analogy or something. I guess crocodile or some sort of a beast with a massive jaw strength, which is vice gripping here down on the Tomb King's forces. And the Aero Titan now being focused pretty heavily. The Aero Titan, as we used to call it, being focused pretty hardcore. Incantation of Protection going down to give it a little bit of physical resist, but Sisters do magic damage, so they don't really care about that. Not going to mitigate too much of that damage. Kyle, thank you for becoming a new member. Welcome to the Dukes of Haggard. Hopefully you're enjoying this Ultra Funds tournament, man. It's a good time. It's a big Necropolis Knight charge. It's a fair amount of stopping power, and they are the Lance variant, so they are going to be able to get in and do some decent AP damage against the infantry, but Phoenix Guard are just so tough against such units. And now the Phoenix Guard are just moving in and bumping and grinding. Kotep's being focused down by Bolt Throwers. A Burning Head, really, really nice usage there to kind of break down the Horsemen. And just, yeah, I'm wagering we'll probably be seeing a Game 3. I don't know why the bounce power isn't more punishing, because look at this. I mean, the Tomb Kings, I guess, still have most of their value via the Great Bows and Bone Giants, but they really are being forced into the back corner here, being pushed back against the brink of the map. And, yeah, it's got to be a tough one. Spearmen making their way through the Skeleton Spearmen. Casket of Souls there, holding valiantly. Bolt Throwers still very healthy on ammunition. It looks like all 3 Bolt Throwers are still fighting and kind of doing their thing. The Jaws of Larry. Well, it's not Larry, it's Teclis. Teclis and the Archmage of Fire have kind of just been sitting on the edge of the battlefield, dodging the Bone Giant shafts. Another Bone Giant shaft right there on the Mage. The Mage does dodge one and gets hit with the other one here. The Tomb King's Cavalry might be able to do it too, I guess. Maybe with proper cycle charging and, you know, getting some Ushabti Great Bow Fire onto the Phoenix Guard. But man, oh man, there's so many elite halberd infantry and there's so many large Tomb King's threats, right? Now, how is the ammunition going here on the Tomb King's force? We have about half here, 60% here. This Boner Giant, pretty good, about 30%. This one's a little bit lower, about 10%. The High Elf Archers are moving in. Ammunition's pretty good. Sisters of Avalorn here, good ammunition. Basic archers have good ammo. The High Elves generally are pretty well equipped to unleash some hellish salvos here. Probably the best bet for the Vicious Satsuma is to do everything he can to finish off the Phoenix Guard, hoping that he can just weather the ammunition here. Teclis is also going to be a big threat, though. Teclis will eventually come in here and be a problem. You can see this bird getting in combat, but he has his Potion of Koroi and Regrowth, so Teclis will be able to heal up to full health. It looks like he did actually overcast a Regrowth on top of that Mage of Fire as well. So the Tomb King's army unleashing a lot of Daka here. Still shooting in, and man, oh man, okay, it looks like there could be a bit of a second wind here from the Tomb Kings as the Phoenix Guard do get through, but when they get through, they're being met with a torrent of fire, just a massive amount of Ushabti, and also Satsuma doing an excellent job with his Necropolis Knight Goon Squad, right? He's got this massive core of just mobile units hammering anything that gets through. Archer fire running very, very low. Teclis and the Mage probably are going to need to get more busy. I think they probably have to come get involved. I know it's a little bit risky, I guess, because when you get close, you have to deal with the Bone Giants. But, I mean, some of the Ushabti are almost out of ammunition. This one's actually out, the Chosen of the Gods. This Boner Giant here has about 20% ammunition. This one about 5. Bolt throwers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolt throwers online, I think is the biggest saving grace here for the Dark Lord Felcon and his High Elves. Because the bolt throwers are going to be devastating against the cavalry. They'll be good against the Bone Giants. Like, the Bone Giants, you don't need to worry too much about. You just leave them alone for last and just let them die to either army losses or Teclis. Teclis could probably solo both of these Bone Giants right now, I would wager. If he has a little bit of magic or his Potion of Koroi, I think he would be fine in doing that. So Spear's committing to the fight here. It looks like E-Dragon coming in for a big breath attack from downtown. Ooh, that could be a nice one. Oh, really, really good breath attack. That hits a lot of those cavalry, melts several models. And now you can see for the first time here in the game, Felcon and his High Elves are pulling ahead. But man, oh man, this has been an epic fight. Really, really happy that Satsuma brought the Bone Giants and Ushabti, but that is going to be GG well played. Jeremy, thank you for becoming a member, and Melonhead as well. Thank you. Appreciate that. Welcome to the Dukes of Haggard. Glorious fight, man. Satsuma gave us everything we wanted in terms of a build. We got the double Boner Giants, both of which did quite well, actually. Caskets kind of got shut down by the bolt throwers, and Felcon's army was epic also. I mean, he had all those really cool Phoenix Guard, Penta Sisters of Avalorn. See, units that you normally don't see in smaller funds really do get to shine on these large funds battles, which I think is very, very fun. Yeah, the Dragon Breath was beautiful. So GG well played. GG well played. Satsuma saying, damn, I seriously overestimated Caskets for Sisters. yeah, I guess he did, huh? All right, so we need to find another map here. We'll do the Sword of Torgold. Satsuma says they kept coming back. They did indeed. All right, so we got a 1-1 series. Of course, for anyone just joining, if you're wondering who's up next, we have Alfredinho, of course, one of the finalists of the World Championship, facing off against the great Dactor. Dactor is an amazing tournament player as well. Should be a great match. That's going to be our second one coming up here. So just hang tight. You're in the right place. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be getting this fun match going here. Pick 3, same as regular tourneys. All right, so the players are going to do their picks and bans. You guys want more Warcraft 3, huh? See a couple people in chat talking about that. I can't play it right now. My left hand is still very swollen. I can kind of manage. I can manage the ASDW keys a little bit, but rapid, micro, and hot grouping would be a little bit hard. I think by this time next week or the week after, I should be good to start playing some games. Yeah. Ultra Funds Troll Country. Oh my god. Let's see. So the winner would pick here. Felcon would pick 3. Correct. Where's Anticity? I actually invited him to play today. He said that I think he's having some work done on his home or something. So he just had to change his computer setup for the past couple days. I'm sure he'll be back. Yeah. He seems great. No worries. Just some home improvement. So what is Felcon going to be going here? A Bannerlord campaign. I played a little bit of Bannerlord. It's pretty fun. Why get surgery on your hands when you could just pray to Tzeentch for fish hands? Yeah, I mean, that's true. I don't know. Fish hands would be, well, more like chicken hands. Tzeentch is more about the chickens, right? He's all his greater demons are like giant roosters. So, I I don't know. I might take, like, if I could have functional hands, I might be down to have, like, some weird mutant hands. As long as they, like, functioned and I could, like, you know, do everything I want with them. I'll take some Forsaken Claws. Essa, thanks for becoming a member. Welcome, welcome. Hope you guys are enjoying the Large Funds tournament. We're on our first best of 3. Obviously, these games take a little bit longer. All right, so we got Tomb Kings, Wood Elves, and Chaos for Falcon for his picks. And now Satsuma is going to be doing his picks, and we'll go from there. Ol in chat saying Anticity, Falcon are your favorites. Also, the Rat King, Hadries. Those are some very fine choices, some top-tier players, and amazing people as well. Which is the most important thing, you know. They're good sports, good lads. All right, one sec, my friends. It's only 82 degrees in here right now. Could be worse. No, I don't want the crab hands. Get that out of here. Swordmaster, man, you guys are just reining it in today. Thank you. The Dukes of Haggard grow in numbers. They do it. Thank you so much, Swordmaster. You know, like the hand that Luke Skywalker has in Star Wars, I would totally be down for that. You know, something like that. Like, if they have that technology when I'm like 60, I'm like, sign me up, dude. Sign me up. Swordmaster, appreciate that. Yeah, Anticity is great, man. I watch his streams quite a bit when he was, well, I think he's been taking the past couple days off, and so too have I. But yeah, I love watching Anticity streams. Yeah. Cacophony saying, I recently developed a pain in my left wrist. Seems Zinch answered your prayers in another way. Oh boy. Well, make sure to get that checked out. You know, if you start having wrist pain, you don't want to do what I did and be stupid and ignore it for like 8 or 9 years and just try and push through it, because then you'll do permanent damage, and that's what I have now. But if you address it quickly and like start, you know, fixing whatever the problem is, whether it be ergonomics or, you know, nerve impingement or whatever the hell it might be, like you just do it quick, man. Don't sit on it, even if it's like a minor thing. If it's like not going away, yeah. The mullet will come soon, actually. Yeah, my hair is pretty long. It's down to my shoulders. Just okay. So if I put straighten it back down, so we got dwarves. Okay, Satsuma's going dwarves. Yeah, check this out. So dwarves banning chaos. We have dwarves versus Tomb Kings. I guess Falcon doesn't want to play Wood Elves versus dwarves. Okay, I feel like this is going to be dwarf favored, but we will see. So we got the Dowie versus the Tomb Kings again. All right. It's pretty hot out in the UK as well, huh? Okay, to be fair, I didn't ignore my wrist problems for years. I went to a doctor who misdiagnosed me, and I trusted him. So unfortunately, I had my nerves were being like pinched and crushed, but he just told me I had tendonitis and wouldn't even consider other options. So yeah, I just listened to him because he was a nice guy. He was charismatic, and you know, I just figured, you know, I had some other shit going on, and eventually I got so fed up that I went and saw a more legitimate doctor. Well, they're both legit with, like, you know, proper education and everything, but one that was willing to do more investigation. And the doctor I went to at UCLA found out that I had, you know, nerve impingement in my elbow and wrist, which was causing my hands to just get worse over time and weaken. And yep, and the rest is history. So unfortunately, some permanent damage is probably done, and it's going to take a long time, but at least I'm on the path to recovery now instead of a downward spiral, which I was before. Double runes allowed? Yes, with big and small. So Rune Lord plus Smith. Cool. The doctor goes into the book, I know. Because if I had just gotten the problem fixed when I was like 22, when I first started having the problems, I would be like aces right now. But instead, I got screwed. Yeah. I got screwed, man. It's all good, though. You know, such is life. Everyone's got problems, you know. Everyone's got problems, and I'm just grateful that my problems aren't worse, you know. I've got a great life. All right, so the dwarves... Oh, no, Falcon's going Wood Elves. Okay. He is going dwarves into Tomb Kings or Wood Elves. He's switching back and forth. He hasn't decided yet. Looks like the Dark Lord is examining some builds. Oh, Nate Garrett, you should definitely get that checked out, man. Yeah. You should definitely get that checked out. Satisfy the grudge. They've wronged us. One of my doggy Lola here is creeping. You guys have actually... I don't think we've ever showed you Lola on stream, or Rue as Anna likes to call her. She's never made an appearance. She's our Chihuahua Terrier. Just an unholy terror in the night. every morning at like 6 a.m. she just starts screeching to be fed. And then like all through the morning, she just like stands next to the bed staring at you, just like huffing and puffing. It's like every night is just torture. Swordmaster, thank you. I'm glad to finally show support after binge watching your vids. Hey, I'm glad you're enjoying it, man. A lot of fun stuff on the horizon too. Man, when we get that new DLC and then Warhammer 3, we're going to be going apeshit. Oh my god, I'm so excited. So excited. Yeah. Give us a dog stream. Yeah, you guys want to see Lola? Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, we could show we need a new Lola blocker. Yeah, we could. She's pretty freaky. She's got like bulging eyes and just is all it's all terrifying. Yeah. That's that. That is that indeed. We'll get Rue for you guys at some point. All right. So, we got Tomb Kings. Interesting. So normally Tomb Kings have a hard time in this matchup, but I think on the Ultra Funds it'll change things. I mean, Falcon's going to be able to bring so much shit. But so too will the Dwarves. Yeah. Probably a ton of artillery. I usually go to bed at like 3 or 4 a.m. I'm a night owl. I just can't help it. I go to bed at like 3 or 4 and I wake up at like 10 usually is my schedule. 10 or 11. Yeah, it depends on how much sleep I need. It really happened after because when I used to work my full-time, well, my regular job before, when I was an athletic director, I had to get up at like 6 a.m. pretty much every day. So, you know, I had a big change. I got sick of doing that for so many years that I was like, all right, let's go to the other end of the spectrum. Are Warhammer books any good? Yeah, they are. Yeah, absolutely. Just read the Gotrek and Felix books. They're super fun and they're easy reads. Yeah, and it depends on which faction you like too. Like if you tell us, Van Gogh, which character you like or what faction is your favorite, people in chat can give you recommendations. Mosier, shout out to Lola. That's my hound's name too, and she's not as handsome as Wookie. Yeah, Wookie was quite an ugly beast. Yeah, some sad news, guys. Unfortunately, Wookie passed away last week. Yeah, I haven't really been talking about it, but yeah, poor little guy. Anyways, I'm not going to talk about it too much. It'll get me all choked up, but yeah, sad times, man. Sad times here. He was very old, you know, he was 16 or 17. You know, the vets at the end actually speculated he was closer to 17, so he had a very long life. Yeah, rest in peace, man. That's part of the reason why I wasn't streaming too, is I was just like super down for the past like week. Yeah. Any good greenskin books? So usually the greenskins are depicted through like as enemies in different books. So usually in the dwarf, you can see them in the dwarf omnibus. I know. It's been real hard, man. Man, poor little guy. Yeah. Anyways, try not to think about it. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna get all emotional if I keep thinking about it. I can't do it. Yeah. I know. I didn't want to like drop it, but you know, people were talking about Wookiee, so I was like, I might as well share it with you guys. I know. Yeah, it was just old age, you know. Like he had so many issues, and eventually his little body just gave out, you know. Yeah. I know. I'm sure many of you guys have gone through that, losing a family pet or something. And you know, I had him for a long time. We rescued him when he was like 5 years old. We rescued him from a shelter, and they're like, yeah, you know, Wookiee is he's a. So here's a funny little story about when we rescued Wookiee. So we actually rescued him from a shelter in Utah. And we reached out to the shelter because we saw a picture of Wookiee online, and we're like, oh, we gotta get little Wookiee, right? We gotta rescue this guy. It was my mom and I back in 2010 or 11. And on the website, they're like, yeah, you know, he's 2 years old and relatively healthy. And, you know, we didn't care. We were willing to take in, you know, special needs animals, all kinds of stuff like that. But, you know, so we go out to pick up Wookiee and we bring him back to California. And then the vet that saw him is like, yeah, he's probably closer to 6 or 7. He's got a massive spinal deformity. He's got neurological disease, like just all kinds of issues. But he lived a really long life considering all the problems he had. Yeah. Yeah. He had a lot of problems, but you know, we took care of him. Oh yeah, thank you, Van Gogh. Appreciate that. We had he was such a troll in the end too. Like every couple months he would like pretend to die, you know? He would like feign some illness and Anna and I would panic and spend like, you know, just a ton of money, like at all these like dog specialist doctors. And then like the next day he would be totally fine. Like, oh, thanks, Wookie. Thanks for the $1,000 out of the pocket. Yeah. Yeah. Kaiju Kobold for the best Nurgling that ever graced our screens. Thank you so much. Yes, he's forever immortalized. Lady Turin actually made me a dice tray that has Wookiee's face in the center, like hand painted. It's so glorious. Yeah. Yeah, he lived a really long life. Yeah. He did. Yeah, yeah. Well, anyways, my friends, we'll move on from that, but thank you again for the kind wishes. It was really hard for sure. I'm a softie for sure. Like I'm really a softie when it comes to animals. So yeah, he lived a long time, especially considering all his problems he had. You guys probably never really got a good shot of it, but he had like a Quasimodo spine, like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like his spine was literally like V-shaped. So he literally, when he walked, was just like the Hunchback. Hey, Anticity, how's it going? Dude, you've missed some really good battles so far, man. We had some amazing games between Satsuma and Falcon. We're in game 3 right now. It's Dwarves versus Tomb Kings. We had Skaven versus Norska, and then last game we had High Elves versus Tomb Kings. And it's really interesting to see how the meta changes on the Ultra Funds. Yeah. Mr. Pig, for Wookiee, the best dog to ever terrorize your shirts. Thank you so much, Mr. Pig. Yeah. Yeah, he was a little terror, that one. One of the last things he did the night before Wookiee passed, I was laying in bed and just petting him, and we were watching I can't remember, what were we watching? We were watching Peaky Blinders. And yeah, he just he took a fat shit on me. That's one of my last memories with Wookiee. Yeah, good times, man. Good times. But anyways, my friends, that is that. And now we are here on the Sword of Torgold. Thank you again for all of the emotional support, my friends. It's been a hard time. But, you know, you'll be forever immortalized in all of our hearts and remembered. And I told Anna that she's got to do a big mosaic portrait on our wall of our house. Yeah. Yep, that was one of my last memories, which is really funny in retrospect. Just an unholy little terror. Yeah, little guy. All right, my friends. Here we are. Peaky Blinders is a great show. So let's do it. Let's get back in. We'll do it for the Wookiee. We'll have some glorious battles. Mosier, sorry I brought it up. Best wishes. Oh, dude, don't apologize, man. I had to tell you guys eventually, so thank you so much. Really appreciate that. What a way to go, damn it. I know. Tell me about it. All right, my friends, and looking here at the battlefield, we have an ultra-large, thick funds battle here with the Dwarves. So for the Vicious Satsuma, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cannons, a massive Royal Dowie Air Force. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4 Dowie Air Force. Looks like a combination of Giant Slayers and Basic Slayers. Battle line's going to be Longbeards into the sunset. And yeah, this is just like everything that's good against Tomb Kings. Cannons, you know, Longbeard infantry to just dominate and be immune to psychology, and like Slayers just to karate chop. On top of that, it looks like Vicious Satsuma does also have a couple Rangers with great weapons. Pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. And then for the Lord choices, it looks like it's going to be a Rune Lord as well as a Rune Smith. So obviously going for the double Runes of Wrath and Ruin to get those slows and really punish the enemy army. Now for the Tomb Kings, let's see what the Dark Lord Falcon has. His only choices were to either play the Wood Elves or Tomb Kings, because his Chaos was his other pick, but Vicious Satsuma did ban that, so it kind of changed things up a little bit. And now for the Forces of Falcon, though, we do have a bunch of Skeleton Chariots. Holy shit! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Caskets of Souls. Penta Casket up in this hoe. Tomb Guard Halberds, of course, not bad here. They do have decent AP compared to many Tomb Kings infantry. A battle line of Skeleton Archers, which can be pretty exceptional against Slayers. Akar Warriors, and it looks like it's going to be Tomb Guard or Skeleton Warriors. Tomb Guard in the secondary with Skeleton Warriors in the front. Chariots in the back. And who is the Lord Choice? Lord Choice hiding up in the bushes here somewhere. It is going to be Setra the Imperishable. And that is it. And that is it, my friends. The battle is upon us. Let us know your predictions. Let us know your allegiance in chat, of course. If you guys are channel members, do make sure to spam the emoji for your faction of choice. Or think of something creative, you know. Whatever the dwarves would say. Who are you rooting for? Man, Penta Casket against, how many cannons do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cannons also, though. You could probably just sit one cannon on each casket and eventually win all those trades. The caskets will drop some sick beats, but I'm also a little bit concerned. Now, what you can do if you are Falcon, which I think he should do, is get his caskets, place them right here where I'm kind of moving the mouse around, and move down right here and shoot up and over. The cannons will not be able to return fire. They will not be able to return fire. So I think that the open field positioning of the caskets for Falcon is a big mistake, but if he utilizes the map and gets them down in this little gully right here and shoots like up and over, that could be devastating and honestly could win him the game single-handedly, because then the dwarves have to advance in and fight that, which is going to be much harder for them. Much harder. Yeah, I mean, does he have Lore of Death? 5 caskets? I don't know. Those Dwarven artillery's pieces are pretty hard to break compared to, you know, other factions like Skaven. They have pretty good leadership. It is Cetra the Imperishable, so Cetra's going to be there. I mean, if Falcon can pressure quick enough with the chariots too, you know, might be able to kind of keep the cannons in check. We'll see. What kind of gyrocopters are we seeing? So if we look at the gyrocopters, it's going to be brimstone guns into the sunset. Brimstone guns are the optimal choice here for sure. I mean, yeah, the steam cannons can do okay against like the skeleton infantry, but really you want the brimstones to kill the chariots and constructs, which normally can cause you some problems. More specifically, the chariots. 5 caskets versus stacked magic resist, says Jay Phoenix. Very, very good observation. Something that I forgot. I'm a little bit rusty, so thank you for pointing that out. There is the Anvil of Doom, or whatever it's called here, or the Locus of Power, which gives the entire dwarf army another 15% magic resist, so it puts them up to a whopping 55% on the Rune Lord, which is pretty crazy. But Slayers here have 40%, so the caskets are going to be taking a pretty massive penalty to their damage across the entire dwarven army. So very, very good stuff indeed. Casket's raining some hot fire, though. It still does good damage, despite the 40%. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, don't bring magic against dwarves. That used to be a thing you would see in, like, Warhammer 1 and 2, where people would just not bring magic against dwarves. But it's totally worth it. It's definitely worth it. Here on the far side, it looks like one dwarf unit. The dwarf warriors here taking a bit of a pounding. The cannons for the dwarves should be in range soon. Falcon blasting. And it looks like Falcon is not advancing. He's just sitting there willing to make this trade, which is quite curious. Because look how badly the caskets trade here. This casket is just getting sent to the Shadow Realm here. Looks like Incantation of Protection is going down. I think Falcon needs to scoot and try and line of sight the canyons. Man, if he could just get into this ravine, that would be so devastating. The canyons would not be able to... the cannons would not be able to shoot into the casket. See, one casket here, almost dead. Down to like 30% already, if not lower. This one's almost dead as well. Falcon is actually pulling back with the caskets now, which is a smart play. I don't know if he'll be able to salvage this one, but before... Oh, the cannons... hit. Some of the shots did miss, though. That thing could have actually died there. It looks like one casket is crumbling down, and now the Dark Lord Falcon is going to be moving in with all of his forces and trying to reposition his caskets, maybe to utilize this terrain here in the middle of the map. So here they come. Skeletons moving in. This is indeed Game 3 in this Best of 3 series. The winner will be going on to the Grand Finals to face the winner of Alfredinho and Dactyr, which will be our next series here. And yeah, the Tomb Kings are now advancing, but again, I feel like the dwarves have a pretty optimal position. They can just kind of sit and chill, and yeah, you can get some throwing weapons in here. Probably should turn the throwing weapons off the rangers. You don't want to be wasting the ammunition on the skeletons. But yeah, 4 gyrocopter brimstone guns going to be quite nasty too. The big Cambrian War Sphinxes, yeah, he needs to get in there too with those Ushabti. Being very, very passive. I think that the Ushabti maybe need to move in and attack. Because, yeah, I guess he's trying to get away from the rangers. It looks like the Ushabti might be rotating away. But anyways, Archer fire shooting in, and the Archers have good targets, actually. The Archers can shoot into the Althar's Raiders and some of these other units. And where are the Caskets of Souls? So 1, 2, 3, I think 4 caskets. He might have already lost 2 caskets. I'm not sure. No, he only lost 1 casket so far. Okay, so that's really not that big of a deal. Especially on Ultra Funds. It's not as devastating as like losing a casket in a standard 12,400 game, right? The Archer's doing some really good damage too. Rangers with great weapons are lightly armored. They only have 40 armor, so any sort of fire can do some really good work. Caskets also returning fire and trying to stay out of range of the cannons. And the cannons are being forced up a little bit, but now Falcon is going to be committing all of his forces here, so I'm sure he has some plan. I mean, of course, I said he's being passive, but he knows better than I do. He is a very, very good player, so I'm sure there was some reason as to why he's kind of holding back. Maybe waiting for his archers to get in there and do some saturated damage. But yeah, all the Ushabti rotating away from this side, which is smart. But man, oh man, look at Cetra. Cetra does get hit with a Rune of Wrath and Ruin. And now he's being gooned by all of the gyrocopters. Really, really nice damage there by the Vicious Satsuma. However, Falcon does respond in kind by sending in his Carrion, and one of the gyrocopters is punished badly, and the Carrion should be able to potentially shut down the other gyrocopters. Cetra needs to keep running, though. There is a little angry Thane chasing him here, but Cetra, of course, could beat the brakes off of Thane, but with gyrocopter shooting at him, I don't think he's going to want to stay in this situation. So now the Ushabti have gotten in here against the Longbeards. The Slayers have sallied forth here from the back line, rushing forward to intercept Tomb Guard. So Giant Slayers versus Tomb Guard, extremely ineffective for the Dwarves, though the Giant Slayers will probably finish the job, or maybe not. It's hard to say, but yeah, this is not a good trade. Tomb Guard do not want to be fighting anything but... Giant Slayers don't want to be fighting anything but monsters, right? So Cetra drifting away from the gyrocopters, and the Casket of Souls, it looks like they were able to outrange the cannons, and they're sitting quite happily. Chariots trying to get in, but the Dwarves have been able to hold the front line very, very well. Rune of Wrath and Ruin going down on Cetra once again, and it looks like the cannons are indeed shooting at the Imperishable One, trying to cut the head off the snake here of this army. So one cannon does overextend, but the Giant Slayers of Satsuma going to be rushing in. Falcon really blitzing in with those Chariots very heavily, and it looks like the Chariots will be able to get away before the Slayers are able to unleash the full chub here onto the Skeleton Chariot, so they do pull back. Now, Casket's still online, and you know what? I'm really impressed that Falcon has been able to use all this ammunition. I mean, all the Caskets are at like 30-40% ammo, so he's been able to shoot this entire time, which is a massive value train for sure. So here in the front, Giant Slayers being forced to kind of fight in melee combat. Casket of Souls still bombarding in, but also something else to note is like how valuable that magic resist is. It's crazy good. Like the fact that the entire army is taking 15% less damage from the Caskets on top of their magic resist is just beautiful for sure. So over here we have the gyrocopters moving in, trying to finish off Cetra, but the Carrion have come back in, and I think the Carrion are being some of the MVPs here in this particular battle. I mean, they've been able to really mitigate the gyrocopter gooning, because without that, you know, if he didn't bring those Carrion, Cetra would probably be dead right now. Cetra also getting popped really hard by the cannons. And now Cetra is going to be running and hiding it down behind this ravine, which I think is quite good. The incantation of Cursed Blades is active, mainly probably just to get the passive. And here you have Giant Slayers being focused down. It looks like the Dwarves are pulling slightly ahead, but I mean, I see the Tomb Kings getting a lot of effective trades as well. Skeleton Archers into Giant Slayers is just bread city. That has got to feel really good. But the Caskets are almost out of ammunition. And as far as the Tomb King's army goes, if Cetra was a little bit healthier, I think I'd be more optimistic about their chances. But with Cetra being so low and ammunition running so sparse for the Archers as well as the Caskets, I'm certainly a little bit concerned for this force, because this is the kind of battle that Dwarves really like to play, right? They can play this long game, and they can bump and grind all good into that sweet night. So Rune Lord's pulling back right now. Archers shooting downtown. The Blessed Legion of Demonetization as well, trying to go after the Rune Lord, but he's going to be a big old target to take down. Dwarves have pulled ahead in this particular game. The Camarine War Sphinx is back, marked by Ulthar, so he's going to be very squishy as the Rangers and other units decide to move in. I really like the usage of the Rune Lord on the Anvil. And honestly, I feel like that was a big deciding factor. Getting that extra magic resist against the Penta Casket, which is really the epicenter of the army. I mean, Caskets cost, you know what, just over 1,000 gold apiece. So the Caskets essentially were like almost a third of the Tomb King's army in terms of like value and stopping power, and they really probably didn't do too much. We'll have to go ahead and check after the battle, but the Dwarves are slowly grinding down the Tomb King's front line. The Slayers and Longbeards just outvaluing the very poor Tomb King's infantry quality, right? You can see they're going down. Yep, they fall. The Ushabti have gone down. Casket fire still raining in, but I mean, that one casket shot killed like one Slayer there. Really did not do much damage. And it looks like Vicious Satsuma will be advancing on to the Grand Finals to face the winner of Alfredino and Dactyr. So, should be quite a bit of fun. Well played to Falcon. He brought some very fun builds here today. I don't see any way of him coming back. I mean, he's got 4 caskets, all of which are out of ammunition. Cetra's on death's bed. The gyrocopters are still moving. This is a hard matchup for the Tomb Kings in 1v1 standard. 12,400, and I think it actually just becomes even harder on larger funds because the Dwarves are more able to protect everything, whereas like Tomb Kings can usually find a couple holes in the armor of the Dwarves a little bit easier on smaller funds. But I think on ultra funds it becomes harder for them, this particular matchup. So probably Wood Elves would have been a stronger pick from Falcon. I think a Wood Elf swarm with like a ton of just decent infantry like pressing in could have been good with like some cavalry as well. But in this case, Cetra the Imperishable is just sitting in the back, perishing. He is expiring. His it's going to be probably thrown out here in a second, as I think some Dwarven cannons are going to be able to line up their sights here. Yeah, it looks like there is a Dwarven cannon here, which has earned 2 chevrons, mind you. Very nice for sure. Is Dawi the best Ultra Fun faction? I'm feeling maybe. They are quite good, Anticity. You'll have to give them a try. We'll get you in the next one of these Ultra Funds tournaments. I'll coordinate with you. But in the last Ultra Funds tournaments, the Dwarves went about 50-50. They won some games, they lost some games. I saw them lose to Chaos. Chaos just had this huge army. The Chaos army was so badass. It was like 5 Chaos Warrior great weapons, 5 Marauder great weapons, 5 Chosen great weapons, and then just like a shit ton of chariots and dogs. And it was able to beat the Dwarven boxes. So, yeah, Dwarves are good, but they certainly have their weaknesses. Like, obviously, large fund Skaven would dominate them. I think Chaos has a good matchup against them. There's all sorts of stuff you can do. Anyways, that's got to be it. Felcon's just on fumes right now. He's got Tomb Guard halberds. The caskets are moving in. Here they come. The dreaded melee caskets have come to do battle. The Slayers rush up the hill. Army losses should be kicking in soon. Here they go. Yes, look at them. They got their chubs out for Grimnir. Going to be moving in. And good night. Yeah, the Shoppy Greatbow's piling in as well, but this is just the Slayer's paradise. Keep spending all my life living in a Slayer's paradise. I was actually listening to that song before we... well, that would be a funny remix. Like a dwarf singing Gangster's Paradise by Coolio. In a Slayer's paradise. You just like killing monsters. Well, if any of you meme channels are listening, there's some fodder for you. Son of Kiernan, hey King. Can you explain to me briefly how magic rework in Total War Warhammer 3 is going to work? Yeah, I got you, man. Thank you for the donation. So more or less, I'll get you in just a second. Looks like this is going to be the end. Cetra making his last stand, but Army Losses is kicking in. And Vicious Satsuma will be advancing on to the Grand Finals. Certainly a fun event. Falcon even saying he had fun, which he said he hasn't been having fun playing lately because of the current meta, but I'm glad to see he's having fun. Do it, Anticity. Yeah, we'll do one next week. We'll do one next week. And I'd be happy to have you there. So, to answer your question, Winds of Magic as it works now, basically how it works is you have you gain 1 Winds of Magic per 6 seconds, and you have a reserve pool. So as you cast spells, you lose your reserve. And also as you cast spells, Winds of Magic becomes increasingly slower to regenerate. How it's going to work in Game 3 is that you are going to have your Winds of Magic reserve pool, the same as it is now. However, instead of the amount of Winds of Magic going from 1 per 6 to 1 per 12, 18, 44, whatever, it's going to always be 1 per 10. So no matter what's in your Magic reserve, no matter how many spells you cast, you are always going to be getting 1 Winds of Magic per 10 seconds, no matter what. So that's what's happening in Game 3. I love that build by Felcon. Pentacasket. Come on, man. And yeah, he got okay value. 1100, 13, 12. I mean, one of them got shut down, but yeah, the Dowie Longbeard core and the cannons were just punishing. Cetra really just got trash canned. 235 value. It was a nice battle. GG, well played. So now we will set up the next battle here. Satsuma will be advancing on, so we'll update the scorecard here, go to the bracket, and the Vicious Satsuma will be advancing on to face the winner of Alfredinho and Dactyr. Should be good. So let's go ahead and get that next match set up. GG, well played. GG, well played. Satsuma saying, I don't think I genuinely outplayed you in these. Just better meta picks. Yeah, hey, it all worked out great. And that's part of the game too. Army picking is the skill. Yes. I don't know if you're getting a larger pool. Yeah, maybe you are. But I know the change is happening, the 1 per 10 now, so. All right, so let's go ahead and get Dactyr. Is 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's get Alfredinho. Cool. So we have quite a heavy-duty competition coming in. The dreaded 40-stack meta. Yeah, I want to see a Bretonnian army. I want to see like 30 peasant mobs with a bunch of cavalry. Dude, that's what I want. All right, so we got Dactyr in here. Oh, Dactyr is an ODM? Wasn't Dactyr an XMT? Oh, is there some clan drama? Yeah, who knows? There is a cash prize for today as well. It's not a big one because it's a casual tournament, but we do have a $25 cash prize. So they can buy themselves a pizza or a new Steam game if they're so inclined. Yeah. All right. So we have... oh, they're both an ODM. Yes. So Satsuma, will see you in the Grand Finals. I always thought Dactyr was an XMT. Oh, maybe he's joined ODM. The Mighty Clan. ODM definitely fields some of the strongest players in the game. Map set. Good luck, have fun. Dactyr starts. All right. So the players will do their business now. And we will do it to it. So let's go ahead and set up the names. Dactyr and Alfredinho. What's cool about these events, too, since they're a little bit more casual in nature, I mean, still competitive, but, you can have some fun with it. Dactyr going Empire and banning Counts and Dwarves. So let's get into the lobby here. Got to make Dactyr's name a little bit more pronounced here. Give him some energy. And now we just hang out and enjoy each other's company. Turin, what do you think of spell resistance thing, and can you confirm I was the first to notice it? Were you? I didn't see you discussing it, but I believe you, Valnir. You were very observant. I'm happy. I think it's a good change. Yeah, I think it's good. Because, like, it's kind of like all the demons are going to do magic damage, so, like, you need to have a way to kind of fix that. It's a civil war. It is. It is. Yeah. All right, so Dactor's saying, I may not win on the battlefield, but I hope to win in the viewers' hearts. Hey, Dactor, that's fair play. So we got Dactor versus Alfredino. It looks like it's going to be Lizardmen. We are expanding in ODM. I know, it's like, a lot of times I'll have tournaments and the ODM guys will be like, oh, just, you know, my one request is I don't want to play one of my clanmates early. I'm like, dude, there's so many good ODM players in tournaments now. It's like, it's almost hard. It's hard not to have it happen, you know? Yeah. But regardless, we're going to have a clan war at the very end as well. We're going to have RTK, another legendary clan, facing off against ODM, which is going to be fun no matter what. Okay, we got Chaos versus Empire. Dude, I'm hyped for this. The classic Sigmarite foe is coming in, and it's going to be huge. I believe you, Velnir. I believe you. Oh, goddamn. Do you think we will see many new units for Khorne? Yeah, I think we will. I think we will. I do think we will. And, you know, for me to draw a really good parallel, I'd probably have to go back and look at, like, Game 1 and see what the starting factions had then. I'm pretty sure they were pretty bare bones. I know a lot of people are saying Kislev's faction is pretty bare bones. And in all honesty, it is fairly limited. It's a small roster. But there's probably going to be 2 or 3 DLCs for them. And, you know, there might be even more stuff coming out for Kislev before the game even launches. Like, you know, characters and shit. Who the hell knows? I'm honestly not worrying about it. I think it's going to be fun. Like, even with Kislev's, like, roster as it is now, I'm very excited to play them, so. Hey, Falcon, I'm glad you had fun, man. Hang out, enjoy chat. It's a fun format. It changes the meta. Yeah, it changes the meta quite a bit. This is just like Captain America Civil War. Well, Falcon, if you want to play next time, just let me know, dude. I'll hit you up. It's always a pleasure seeing your skill in action. Can Dactor rename his name to Daka? Dakadur? That'd be fun. All right. So, Empire versus Chaos. Let's see what happens here. I wonder, you know, greenskins are obviously the unholy terror of multiplayer right now. But I'm quite curious how they would actually function in this format. Like, I wonder if they would be as strong. Maybe not, right? Like, maybe, like, with, like, the overwhelming numbers their opponents can bring and, like, match them. Yeah, I'm curious about that, actually. I hope somebody plays greenskins here today at least once, so we can kind of see how they function in larger funds. It'd be interesting if they weren't as strong. I mean, in theory, they could be better, right? Because you just bring more of the same stuff, but I don't know. I don't know. Turin, would you say Kislev Ice Witches are pretty cool? Oh, hell yeah. Someday we'll have a stream where my wife, who is Polish, she will maybe dress up as a Kislevite Ice Witch. And I could be like, I have a pretty haggard mustache, so I could do like a boyer or something. Yeah. What do you think of the High Elf Chalice? Oh, it's amazing. Nifty Knight, yeah. 3 Luminarchs. Could be. So Darkoman saying turn less strong because the Lord becomes less powerful, I suppose. You know, that actually is kind of true, too. Yeah, Darkoman raises a good point. Like, a lot of the reason greenskins are really strong is Grom the Paunch, and he becomes a little bit less effective in larger funds when there's more single entities and guns to shoot him down, but still, he's very powerful. But it's a very valid point you made. Yeah. Yeah. Kislev is going to be so fun. I know a lot of people are kind of burnt out on because they're like in all the promotion with Khorne, but like I'm still so excited for Kislev. Because when the old world does come back to tabletop, Games Workshop is rebooting Warhammer Fantasy. Kislev is going to be one of the first factions they launch with, so I'm going to be collecting a Kislev army. So I'm really looking forward to that. I have my Empire Fantasy army here, which I use for Age of Sigmar mostly, but yeah, they're back there, the Demogryph Knights. I got to start painting them though. I know. Cathay is going to be probably the most hyped because like nobody knows what to expect with that. On the flip side, you do get more Spider Riders when you play greenskins. Yeah, it's true. Joe Cool, the Italian Californian boyer. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm mostly Italian and Irish, my ancestry. Yes, that is true. If we go way back. All right, my friends. Will there be winged hussars for Kislev? Yeah, they have the winged lancers, dude, and the Griffin Legion, both of which have like the hussar kind of. One of them's just more heavily armored. All right, guys, let's break it down. Let's see what's going on here for the Sons of Sigmar. Should be quite a bit of fun. So, for the forces of Dactyr, he's got a nice little firing line of Huntsmen. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Hellstorm rocket batteries. All right. This man knows how to live. He does also have a Hellblaster volley gun, a second Hellblaster volley gun. This is not the best map for artillery spam, but it's not terrible. I mean, you can still get some fire, but holy shit. Okay, so 5 Hellstorms, 2 Hellblasters. He's got Volkmar the Grim, he's got a steam tank, front line of greatswords and halberds, and basic spearmen to back them up. So that's more or less the army, with a couple Demogryph Knights as well, just to help deal with the mobile threats. Pretty epic army for sure. Now for ya boy Alfredinho. He's got Chaos Marauders in the front. He does also have the Soul of Damnation Hell Cannon in the back, backed up by Penta Chaos Spawn, Horsemen, Chariots, Marauders, and it looks like in the forest there is going to be a Vanguard. Ooh, Chaos Knights with Lances and the Swords of Chaos! Hell yeah, dude. Give me that goodness. And then Dragon Ogre, double Exalted Hero, as well as Archaon the Ever-Chosen. So you're seeing how, you know, on this particular format, the rules are a little bit less restrictive. Dude, this is a metal army. Holy shit. With your haggard facial hair, you could be Constantine. Yeah, that's true. I could be. My facial hair is terrible, so. Yeah. The Rasputin. I was actually watching, I was listening to a playlist on YouTube, and Rob Zombie came on, and there was a song, I think it's called like Crow Killer Blues or something like that. But anyways, he's in the music video, and he looks like Rasputin now. Like he has like gone through a transformation. Yeah, Rob Zombie could definitely play him in like a biopic or something. I bought Blood Bowl. Yeah, Blood Bowl 2 is really fun. Nifty Knight, it's really fun. Blood Bowl 2 is an amazing game. Dude, Chaos Knights and the Swords of Chaos against a steam tank, Penta Hellstorms. This is serious. You know, this is the defense of Altdorf, right? If this Empire army in Volkmar fails, the city of Altdorf will fall to this Chaos Horde, which is actually a legitimate horde. It's quite big compared to the normal armies we see. So let us know your predictions in chat. Are you rooting for the minions of the Dark Gods, or are you a true son of Sigmar? Let us know where your allegiance lies, and we can go from there. Anticity in chat saying, "Rip, Empire build has too much steel and powder, almost no faith." Well, you know, there's a little bit of faith. I mean, Volkmar accounts for a whole lot of faith, in my opinion. A whole lot of faith. Damien asks, Turn, are we going to get the Papa Nurgle campaign stream? Oh, yeah. Nurgle will be one of the first campaigns I do. I'll probably do Kislev and Nurgle first. And, yeah, just go from there. It's time, baby. Let's go. It's going to be good. Yeah, Alfredino's army is quite strong. Dactyr is a little bit more memey, but you have to remember on Ultra Funds, like, conventional wisdom and tactics kind of go out the window. It's a whole different meta. So units and memes like artillery spam might seem haggard, but like it might actually be really good here. Who knows? For Sigmar! Humanity is in peril! We have Garathos in chat. Wrong game, but close enough. Oh man, Warcraft 3. Yeah, that's the shit. I am really missing the late night Warcraft 3 streams. I'm missing them so badly. Honey for the Bear God? What do we got? Winnie the Pooh in here, Sarmation? Anticity says his vote is on the Chaos Doom Blob. We will see. So, Chaos coming in with some hounds. You can see Chaos Warhounds on the edge of the map looking to sneak around. Obviously, the Empire has a ton of artillery just kind of sitting somewhat undefended. I mean, there are greatswords watching them, but you don't want to leave greatswords there. And Chaos has most of its goon squad in the forest. Oh my god, look at this unholy legion of Chaos in the trees. Dude, I missed this. Triple Chosen Great Weapon. See, this is shit you just never get, right? Because it's too expensive. But on Ultra Funds, man, just the floodgates are open. I wonder, like, yeah. If Ultra Funds, like, wasn't such a lag fest, it could even be something to consider for, like, standard multiplayer. Because it seemed like the meta is definitely a little bit more interesting for Ultra Funds than it is for 1v1. I mean, to an extent. It also loses some of its definition because just, like, it just gets so big and out of control. It's harder to focus on, like, the key points in the battle. I don't know. Discussion for another day. We'll have to see what the glorious domination mode looks like. Chosen and the rest of the forces moving through the trees. It looks like some Demogryph Knights of Dactyr do move in to pursue them, but these demis are going to be met by the Lord of the End Times himself, and Archaon, the Ever-Chosen, is able to push them back, and Hellstorm rocket batteries should start pounding into the infantry pretty hard. So here they come. Yeah, there's Forsaken. Forsaken are good targets. Forsaken are pretty squishy, and yeah, you definitely want to... They're glass cannons. You want to pound them. We do also have a steam tank up here in the front. Looks like it's ripping some shots into whatever it can hit, maybe some Marauder Horsemasters. There also is the Soul of Damnation back there, so that should give some nice return fire. Hellblaster volley guns shooting up and over the hill, now going into the chariot pieces. Looks like they have made some contact as the chariots and marauders start to take some damage, but man, oh man, that is a big force in the forest. I mean, triple Chosen Great Weapon, and the Sigmarites immediately rush to intercept this. Huntsman going to be unleashing fire into the Shaggus, Demogryph Knights repositioning, Greatswords and Sigmar Sons preparing to take the onslaught. I think Volkmar the Grim is going to be needed over here. I mean, he could be used to just try and win the frontline engagements, and you can see some Forsaken have actually gone down as the Hellstorm rocket batteries and the Hellblasters have done a number on these Forsaken, man. Those ones got pounded to dust. On top of that, Chaos Marauders here, very beaten up. This entire flank just eviscerated. Look at this. Marauders taken apart, Chariots being gadded down by the Hellblaster volley guns. So yeah, it seems like the Sigmarite artillery position, the very wide build, is holding here, but this side of the battlefield is about to be overwhelmed pretty heavily. So we do get a big charge coming in. Shaggy's charging into the Great Swords with the Swords of Chaos. That is a shit ton of stopping power, and these poor Hellblaster crews also going to be getting compromised as well by the Swords of Chaos. So this flank is definitely in some big trouble as the expensive Greatsword units do start to wither down, but the Empire stands ready. The Huntsmen and the Handgunners return fire into the foul heretics. Looks like 3 or 4 volleys coming in. More Greatswords and Halberds being pulled from reserve to reinforce these ones, which did get run over by the Chaos Doom Blob, which it truly is. Chosen with Great Weapons also moving in, but the Demogryph Knight Hammers have rushed in to intercept, breaking the Chaos Knights. Now the Sigmarites fight shoulder to shoulder here against the Chaos Chosen with Great Weapons. But the Halberds are going to be tasked with holding them back, which is going to be tough. Demogryph Knights moving over to intercept the Blob. Looking at the rest of the battlefield here, we do see that Chaos has been dealt with on this flank. Here in the center, Volkmar the Grim is single-handedly defeating the forces of Chaos. And it really looks like the Empire has dominated most of the fighting here on the center and left side of the battlefield. But Chaos obviously is really threatening this side. With Forsaken and Spawn coming in, we have even more pouring out of the trees. The Chosen with Great Weapons still getting in there and grinding, taking very little damage. But now this is where things get spicy. The Hellstorm rocket batteries have been given attack orders to shoot cross-battlefield now. And I would imagine they are going to be going into the Chosen with Great Weapons and some of those other high-value targets. But that Chaos Doom Blob is so nasty, dude. Like, all the Sigmarites that go in to fight it are just getting pounded to dust. But that is a lot of Huntsman fire. Man, look at that. And just one after another, the Empire is having to send in troops to halt their advance. But I don't know if they're going to be able to. Volkmar also won't be able to help too much. So here we have a Hellblaster volley gun. Very, very important for the Sons of Sigmar that they keep this Hellblaster online. That is a massive amount of firepower that could potentially take down the Chaos Monsters. Volkmar the Grim banishing the foul heretics back to the void, so the Forsaken and Spawn really getting pounded, while the Huntsmen continue to rip fire, and more Greatswords are pushing in as Archaon pushes through the fire and flames and engages against the Huntsmen here. The Huntsmen are about to be compromised by the giant Shaggoth. Yeah, man. The Empire's kind of running out of bodies to throw at this Chaos just grinding blob here, but a lot of firepower getting into the Shaggies. Hellblaster volley gun also being compromised is a big disaster. The Spearmen weren't quite able to defend that. Oh no, and he's going to lose his Hellstorm right now too. I think if he had some cheap spears to defend these, that could be a very different game if the Hellstorms were shooting into these guys here, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So one Shaggoth here being focused down. It looks like Archaon going to be dropping a burning head as well. So here it comes, going into the Huntsman. Oh, such a good burning head. So good and tasty. And it looks like the Sons of Sigmar are faltering to the onslaught of Chaos. Though the Empire did do a good job kind of blunting their charge initially, Chaos was able to grind through. And with the artillery positions being taken out, that's going to be GG. What a game, man. That was a really fun one. Just like the ferocity with which Chaos blitzed through that one flank, and just like the Greatswords trying to hold, it was really epic. Epic game indeed. But in the end, the Lord of the End Times accrued 2,500 value with his Shaggus, and Volkmar, if you had had Franz there, I think it would have been better. I think Franz could have killed the monsters and characters more efficiently. And I think Dactyr maybe needed, the Steam Tank was pretty bad. It only got 400 value. So, if the Steam Tank and Volkmar probably replace it with Franz and some, like, Witch Hunters. Witch Hunters would have been super good here. The Witch Hunters would have been able to, fight back against the characters pretty well. Great game, though. Great game. Alfredino going up 1-0 here in this best of 3. Let's get this next match started. Awesome builds by both players. That was very thematic. And now we can do the Castle Drakenhof. Dactor saying, I realized I lost when I saw the map. Brain didn't think about the forest. Yeah, that Dactor is 100% on point. I think if Dactor had been able to fight Alfredino on a big open map like Oakenhammer, Prague, Central Chaos Wastes, any of that shit, I think Dactor probably would have had a great match. The Hellstorms would have pounded the Chosen on the advance. It would have just been a much cleaner engagement. But due to that forest, I think Dactor's army just really struggled. So, but yeah, a valiant effort for sure. A valiant effort. Pistoliers would have been really good too, like an Outrider Corps of Pistoliers just to shoot the Shaggots. 100% agree. There was a lot of options. Yeah, the map, that was definitely a build that wasn't made for that map, and I think he paid the price for that. All right. Men, Franz, don't worry, guys. Franz is still in Altdorf. He's preparing the second defense against the Chaos Horde, so all's good. The old world will be fine. Don't you worry. Return stream a bit earlier than expected. I know. Wow, we're getting in there, dude. I'm just like spilling water all over myself. Goodness gracious. 1 second, my friends. Trying to find like a little coaster for this thing so I don't keep splashing myself. Hubris says he's split screening this madness with the Euros. We live in a glorious age. We do. We're going. Alfredino going for Coast. Oh, come on, go Coast. Give it to us, Precious. Okay. Maybe Lizardmen are actually really, really good on large funds. They are very scary. You max out on Chameleon Skanks. You max out on, like, you know, Solar Engines and just, like, you can bring so many dinosaurs, too. With the ladder rules, you can bring way more. Yeah. Where does Archaon stand in Total War Warhammer 3 Chaos Factions lore? Still lore to the end times, you know? Archaon's a big player, for sure. He's very, very important in Chaos lore. Potato says, I don't want the old world to be fine. Yes, you do. You take that back. You take that back right now. All right. We got Lizards versus... we're not sure for Dactor yet. I really wanted the Mighty to be hailed, but we might have to wait for the Kraken King Anticity to get them here in this format, but... You see, that's the thing. You can go double Dread Saurian, and it's not that big of a deal. It's like you still have money to do other shit. It's not like the Dread Saurian limits your whole build. Look, 45 Chameleon Skanks. Chameleon Skanks are probably my most hated unit in the entire game. Like, hands down. I hate Chameleon Skanks so much. They just fill me with rage when I'm trying to kill them. All right, Dactor trying to decide here. In the grand finals, we have the Satsuma waiting atop a throne of skulls. Will Demons of Chaos be a separate faction? Yeah, they're going to be separate. Yeah. And it's not necessarily demons. Demons are mixed with mortals for their respective gods. So you'll have Khorne, Nurgle, Slaanesh, and Tzeentch. They'll each have their own faction, which is a combination of their mortal followers with specialist units as well as demons. So that's how they're doing it. Can you afford 2 Dread Saurians in regular game mode? I don't know. I don't know if Ladder lets you bring 2 Dread Saurians. I think you can. Okay, Wood Elves versus Lizards on Ultra Funds. Interesting. A very meta matchup. This is one we've seen a million times. I'm surprised Dactor isn't going Dwarves. Dwarves would be... Oh, okay, Dwarves got banned. Okay. Yeah. What else could you do here? Yeah. What else should be fun? Should be fun. This DLC was just for you. CA's birthday gift, I know. Just more Chameleon stuff. I'm excited for them, though. I'm more excited for the Beastmen side of it, because Beastmen are just so outdated, so it's going to be fun seeing them get new stuff. Lizards have already gotten, what, like 2 DLCs or something, so... Is it 2 DLCs or just 1? The Lizardmen got Lizard Moses. Who else am I missing? And then Gorok was a free LC. Wasn't Tic-Tac-Toe a free LC too? Yeah. I can't even remember. Oh, and Nakai as well, yeah. So they got a couple. What do you think will happen to Chaos Undivided? So... I think Chaos Undivided is going to get a couple new units as well. The Warriors of Chaos. They'll probably get Bellicor, the Dark Master. If you haven't seen Bellicor, he has an awesome tabletop model, and he's a really, really badass looking character. So they'll probably get Bellicor, the Dark Master. A lot of the units that you saw on the Khorne battle, I think they'll get. I think that Chaos Undivided will also get Chaos Furies. I think they'll get, like, potentially, you know, Chaos War Shrine. I think they might get, you know, some of the generic units they're missing. Like, they'll add those in. And probably like another new lord or 2. Everybody forgets Nakai. It is a raid from the rubber duck of war. I hope your stream went well, man. Welcome to the party. For those of you guys coming on over, we're here in the Ultra Funds tournament. We have the, if you guys just joined, man, I would recommend going back right now and watching the last battle. It was Empire versus Chaos on Ultra Funds outside of Altdorf. It was super epic. Definitely go back and check that out. But yeah, we're going hard in the paint, man. Everyone forgets Nakai. That's very true. Nakai is the forgotten one. He has been lost to the halls of history. Torox all day, dude. Sign me up. Torox is... I'm excited for Beastmen. Beastmen they're just so dated. You know, do you guys remember how Chaos was like in game 1 when everyone else was getting DLC, but Chaos didn't even have Regiments of Renown until like the very end? It's like, it feels like that almost. No, I think Be'lakor will be... That's a good point, though. Mr. Pig in chat says that maybe Be'lakor will be an Undivided Demons as a new faction. I don't think so, because I think Be'lakor will come like right away. Because Games Workshop just released a Be'lakor model, which means they're going to want to promote Be'lakor in Total War Warhammer to drive sales, which is what they did with Grombrindle. So I think that Be'lakor will come on launch. I bet you we'll get Be'lakor with Chaos Warriors, 100%. And he'll get a new campaign and, you know, all that kind of stuff. I hope Sigvald migrates to Slaanesh. That could be interesting. I mean, in lore, he probably should, but yeah, I mean, you probably need him for Warriors of Chaos. Although I guess you could send Sigvald over to Slaanesh and then just replace him with a Be'lakor. Yeah, Be'lakor would be probably with Warriors of Chaos. And you know what? My theory for the Warriors of Chaos guys is that they get Be'lakor, they get those units like the Furies and the Chaos Warshine and that kind of stuff, but what I would like to see for Undivided is that they get one demon from each god. Like, they get the basic Bloodletter, the basic Plague Bearer, the basic Demonette, but they can't get anything beyond that. So, like, they like, have a little bit of flavor from all the Chaos gods, but they can't specialize even further like the Chaos-specific factions can. I think that'd be a really nice change, because that would really spice up the roster and give them some cool stuff. And give them some diversity in their playstyles. That is my opinion. I really think they should do that. So CA, if you're listening, make it happen, dude. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. And I don't think they're going to do a Chaos and what's it called? Like a Be'lakor faction for himself, simply because they said there's only going to be, you know, 6 factions on launch plus like the pre-order one. So they didn't mention an 8th one. And if Be'lakor is going to be on launch, I think he would have been the 8th one, right? So yeah. All right, guys, here we are on the Ultra Funds Big Thicc tournament. It's going to be Dactyr facing off against his clanmate, Alfredinho, here in this best of 3. Alfredinho, of course, currently up a match, winning the first game with the Warriors of Chaos against the Sons of Sigmar. For the forces of Dactyr, though, he's got pretty much a little bit of everything. Blade Singers. Okay, Blade Singers mixed with Wildwood Rangers, Dryads, and Spears. Aerial in the backfield. He does have some Glade Guard spam. With the Sisters of Twilight up on an Eagle and a massive erect Vanguard here of Penta Way Watchers. Very nice. Very nice. I definitely like this. And for the Lizards, yeah, just width. Width on just more stuff. Skink cohorts into the sunset, backed up by Penta Chameleon Skinks. No surprises. The 5th one probably over here somewhere. A big Kroxigor rush. So there are going to be some spanking paddles coming out. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. With the Shredder of Lustria, the Thunderous one, Big Chungus Mazdamundi. And it is also going to be more cavalry and more Saurus. Dude, talk dirty. Talk dirty to us. Yes, Alfredinho coming in with the Shredder of Lustria. Sing is ready to party, man. Look at this bad boy. He's like snapping around. He's all reared and ready to go. So let us know your predictions. Are you rooting for the Sisters of Twilight, Dactyr, and the Wood Elves? Or is it going to be Alfredinho and the Children of the Old Ones? Yes, yes. Come on, you got to give it up. He's even got Ripperdactyls up in this guy. He's got, what, 3 Ripperdactyls? You would never see those against Wood Elves in like a standard game, but of course on large funds it becomes a much, much different situation. Rip and Tear, says the Shredder of Lustria. Yes, that is true. That is a lot of pressure for the Wood Elves to stop. That is for sure. You know what's interesting too about this Lizard build? I was really expecting like Alfredinho to go more meta, like with solar engines and shit, but he doesn't have a single solar engine. Not even one. Not even one. So obviously if you were playing on like standard rules for like banner rules or, you know, the citrus rules that are coming out, you would only be able to use like Mazdamundi on his toilet seat with the 2 big dinos, but on the large funds tournament, we do allow the players to use the ladder limitations, which gives them access to another rare SEM. So you can see he does have 3 here, but it's not as big of a deal as it is because with more funds comes more missiles, right? There's like 5 Way Watchers, 1,000,000 Glade Guards. So having like 3 big monsters isn't as oppressive as it can be on, you know, a 12,400 gold game. So that's that. I know. I'm super excited for this match. More specifically to see what the Shredder of Lustria and the Ripperdactyl can do. It looks like both players are ready. And Ariel does not have Tempest. Okay, no Tempest. Tempest would have been pretty good to lock down those Rippers. But, I mean, you don't expect those. They're not meta, not normal at all in this matchup. So that's that. Can't wait for the Croxagores and Shredder to get Waywatched. It might happen, but you have to remember the Lizard army is still super wide. It has a ton of skinks and flying units and cavalry, so there's a lot of stuff to put pressure on the Waywatchers. It really depends on the execution. And, you know, here we have the Waywatchers on this side of the battlefield. The Shredder is on the other side, so it might be able to maneuver away from them and, you know, give some problems. We'll find out here. We will find out indeed. So here comes a massive Vanguard. And this alone looks like it's like a full army from standard funds, right? So we get the Skinks and the Cavalry getting ready to hammer into this position. We have the double Skink Chief up in the sky. That's going to be super annoying. Oh, that's really good against Sisters. That's a lot of annoying poke. Although the Sisters can certainly give it back, but so too can the little Chiefs here. It looks like these Sisters do dodge a shot. Really nice control there by Dactyr. He's able to actually dodge those shots and not take any damage, and also gives the business to the Skink Chiefs a little bit. Yeah, so this is like a dual-pronged engagement. Check this out. So the main host of the Lizardmen is coming down from this side, whereas the... Oh my god, look at that! That Skink Chief got popped in the face! Looks like the Waywatchers, I look away for a second, and they just absolutely gooned that Skink Chief, and Alfredino still juking. And the other Lizardman host, the secondary Skink detachment, is going to be moving here on this flank and looking to overwhelm. And yeah, that should be very interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, the Chiefs have fallen back, and here comes the Lizard. So good luck, have fun being dropped by both players. Good sports, definitely a good time. And the Croxagores with their spanking paddles are getting ready to go. Sister's doing some work so far, man, look at that. They put some hurt on the Skink Chief, and they've also picked off several of the Ripperdactyl models. Where are the Chameleon Skinks right now? Oh, that's a little bit unfortunate. So all of the Chameleon Skinks are over there on that kind of eastern side of the battlefield engaging. Yeah, brutal stuff. So now the Sisters of Twilight can just sit here and cackle in Wood Elf and just basically shoot at whatever they want. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, no Chameleon Skinks. This is a very bold strategy. I mean, I don't know the last time I've seen something like this, like a big dual-pronged engagement like this. Is it going to be punishing? It certainly is unusual. So at the very least, it's going to be like kind of throwing Dactyr off in that respect. But Dactyr seems pretty composed. A lot of Daka coming out, and the first Croxagores taking a bit of damage, but really considering that, you know, 5 or 6 archers, including Waywatchers, just shot them, it's really not that much damage. So here comes the big Chungus squad. We have the Shredder of Lustria moving in with its machine gun on top, and it's going to be tearing into the poor Dryads here. You can see 5 of the Dryads, or 4 of them, do fall immediately. Look how quickly the Shredder of Lustria is just pounding those Dryads. My goodness. Croxagores move in a little bit unsupported, ahead of the Saurus, which is a slight mistake, but I don't think they're going to be punished too badly for it. And the rest of the Lizardman army is really just taking a big circuitous route. Check this out. So they're just coming all the way around. And the Skinks, if they can get back here and fight Blade Singers and Archers and all those different tools, it's going to be quite good. But back to the main kind of peak of the battle that you guys are interested in seeing. We do now have Blade Singers. Blade Singers engaged against the big monsters, and they do okay. They have decent AP, but yeah, when they're poisoned and being attacked by the Shredder, really nice shield of the old ones going down. The Waywatchers, I'm not sure where they are. It looks like they're trying to kind of scoot and shoot, but they are being focused by some magic of the Lizardmen. Maybe some sort of a banishment or something? Not quite, yeah. Comet of Cassandor coming in right there. Pretty fun stuff. But Riders are moving in, Glade Riders as well as Wildwood Rangers, but the Shredder of Lustria as well as the Thunderous One are doing some really devastating damage. These very expensive Blade Singers and other units are just getting pounded to dust, but oh my god, look at Mazdamundi! He took like 2 Waywatcher volleys and a Spellsinger volley, and Mazdamundi's now on death's bed. Okay. That 1 second of focus fire just changed everything. So Big Chungus is now going to be running. Yeah, he's at negative 43. Shredder of Lustria is still doing a good job, actually. And now the Lizards, realizing the severity of their situation, are going to be sending in Ripperdactyls. And oh my god, the Ripperdactyls ripped these Waywatchers to shreds. Look at them just get absolutely taken apart. So now the Waywatchers are falling back, and the Ripperdactyls are fighting against Wild Riders, which is going to be good for the Riders, especially with the Wardens of Sithril coming in. And how is this Lizard flank going? I feel like this was a bit of a big mistake here for Alfredino. Like, a lot of his army just awkwardly engaged on this flank and allowed the Wood Elves to really get, like, big focus fire here on this particular side. And Mazdamundi is going to live. He's back. He's got 1,000 HP and Apotheosis as well. The Shredder of Lustria has done an excellent job breaking a lot of the infantry here, the Blade Singers and Dryads. And now it's moving in with the Thunderous One, while the Ripperdactyls appear to have been broken off the back of the map here. Wood Elves are being forced pretty close to the back of the map, which is not good for them. Obviously, Lizardmen are a bit of a high. They have really good leadership. They're very tough to break, and they don't have anything that's that devastating to lose in the back except the Dread Saurian. So many of these Wood Elf units, like the Glade Guard and probably these Way Watchers, if they break, will run right off the back of the battlefield. And Dactyr sitting a little bit idle with some forces here. He's got like 2 or 3 Spearmen as well as some Dryads not engaging, and now they're pulling back. So right as we see that, he does pull them back here. And now the Chameleon Skinks have poured in, and they're going to start punishing these archers for sure. As a matter of fact, you could probably send them into melee, and they might be able to shut it down a little bit quicker. So some Lizardmen cavalry locked up here by the Eternal Guard. The Wood Elves forced back to the edge of the map. But it's still a very, very close fight. Sisters of Twilight are quite healthy. Mazdamundi using Apotheosis to heal himself up. And the Shredder of Lustria does get hit with the Soul Stealer. But this guy is, having him in the backfield is quite punishing for sure. He is going to be getting some terror routes. And how is his value so far? Okay. You know, he's paid for like a third of his value almost, which is, you know, better than he normally does. And it looks like now he's going after Aerial. Those Way Watchers really need to be shut down though. And it looks like some Saurus are trying their best to kind of grind through onto the Way Watchers. Well, the Shredder of Lustria might get some terror routes, but man, look at this. A big onslaught from the Lizardmen cavalry. Oh, this is not good for the Wood Elves. They might actually get a big terror route back here if they're not careful. Although Wood Elves are still ahead on the bounce, it looks like. Yeah, it's because they have so much going on over here. I mean, they still have all these Eternal Guard, and their Lord is healthy. And many of the Lizard assets are very low, but a big terror route here in the backfield with Aerial getting munched as well. The Shredder of Lustria is feasting on this fairy tonight. That is for sure. It looks like Aerial here does have 480 HP coming back her way, but is that going to be enough? As the Shredder of Lustria turns about face, leadership getting very low. It needs a cold blood. It needs a cold blood coming in from a Skink Chief and or Big Chungus, but it looks like Mazdamundi is kind of waiting in the back. Will the Shredder get the terror routes here? Looks like, yeah, now he's going to be bouncing over, going after the Way Watchers and the Wood Elf missiles, which have stabilized by the edge of the battlefield. It looks like the Wood Elves are finally stabilizing in this close engagement. The fact that their stuff just didn't break here, I thought the Eternal Guard would be breaking for sure, but they really held, and that bought enough time for the Shredder of Lustria and these big dinos to kind of be focused down. So the Shredder is going to be going off the edge of the battlefield, and with that, I think Mazdamundi's damage earlier, and I think this dual-pronged engagement here just did not work out. It felt like like a quarter of the Lizardman army was like fighting, right? Like off the air while the rest of it was fighting here. It just felt a little bit awkward for sure. So Saurus Warriors moving in. Is there any hope for the Lizards to salvage this game? Well, Mazdamundi is still healing. Balance of Power is not point of no return yet. There are a fair amount of Saurus fighting on the battlefield, and the Thunderous one is still active with a shit ton of Chameleon Skinks. Like, look out here. What are they doing? Oh, this is rough. Like, these Chameleon Skinks were so needed in this battle here. If those Chameleons had been in there, shooting Aerial, shooting the Way Watchers, it could have been a different game. So just a couple little slip-ups, I think, in positioning have given the Wood Elves the match. And Dactyr did an excellent job, punishing those positional mistakes. So Apotheosis, Shield the Old Ones, Cold-Blooded going down, and the Sisters of Twilight still raining some shots. I would imagine they've gotten some big value. But Lord Chungus here is going to be getting focused. He's got 2 leadership. Negative 29 is a Sisters Pound. And yeah, look at that. Nice little Ruination of Cities. Actually does something for once. Kills a couple of units there. But Mazdamundi's down. I don't see much hope for the Lizards at this point. I think we can officially probably call it over, considering that, it's mostly just skanks and things like that. Sisters of Twilight did get, 2,500 value. Really not bad. Morphus, thank you for the donation. Enjoying your vids for a long time. Hey, I got you, man. Nice game. Nice game. Looking at the armies, I really thought Dactyr was in trouble. I thought he would get swarmed, but he did a really good job holding, focusing down Mazdamundi and some of those other targets. Ripperdactyls are pretty cool too, but they kind of struggled. Chameleon Skinks didn't get into the cookie jar. They needed to be a little bit tighter to the battle, I think. All right, so we're going to game 3. Back and forth matches we got today between these fine champions. And let's do it. Let's do it to it. So for the next map, we will put them on Eschen. Yeah, Eschen should be good. Map set. Dactyr says Blade Singers are so nuts when you can bring 4 of them. That's the thing. I didn't get to see the Blade Singers, really. They probably killed the Saurus. Yeah, okay. It's all making sense now. The winner of this, of course, will be facing, yes, Vicious Satsuma in the grand finals of today's tournament. That should be very fun to see. That's some good water right there, baby. Some delicious H2O. Let's go look at the brackets. So, of course, we had Felcon versus Vicious Satsuma. Satsuma did advance on in a very hotly contested series between those 2 champs. Now we have Alfredino versus Dactyr here. The winner will be going on to face Satsuma in just a best of 3. Best of 5 would take far too long, but it is going to be a best of 3 grand final. So that is going to be the case. Regardless, it's going to be ODM versus RTK here in the grand finals, and that should be quite a bit of fun. So let's do it. Doctor says, I know a good place to start. Bans greenskins immediately. That's so funny. Yeah, this format's pretty fun. It's a nice kind of a nice change of pace. So what will Doctor pick for his 3 factions? Come on, give us the mighty. I want the mighty to be hailed here. Although the dwarves are still open, so picking coast is probably not going to be a good idea. Yeah. Probably not going to be a great idea, my friends. Okay, Doctor picking dwarves, chaos, and Bretonia for his 3 factions. And greenskins are banned. So now Alfredino will ban one of the 3 factions. He'll pick himself, and then Doctor will pick from the remaining 2. That is the current format that we use for pretty much all our tournaments. But we'll see what he picks here. Turin, stay hydrated. This is a treat. Hey, we're doing it. I'm hydrated, dude. I'm good to go. Just rest in my old hand. Probably going to go play a game of 40k tonight. Should be quite a bit of fun. Get my Death Guard back on the table. They did pretty well. I'm playing in an ITC league, which is blast. Yeah, Coast is really fun in this format because you get to see true gun lines because they have enough money to protect everything, so you can get like a true gun line. The old school style of Coast, which was way more fun than like gun bat spam with like gunnery whites. All right, so Alfredino's going to go Vampire Counts. Oh, yeah, Vampire Counts. Probably ban Bretonia. I'd ban Bretonia probably, or dwarves. It's hard. Doctor says, I wanted you to pick Skaven, then I would have taken Bretonia with 30 cav units. That would have been really funny. Holy shit. The schemes are here. Who do you ban then? So yeah, we have to see what the ban is. So dwarves, chaos, Bretonia against Vampire Counts. Yeah, cool, man. You haven't too much Vampire Count action. You play Sisters in 40k. Super Desaw asks, how expensive is 40k to get into? It's expensive, depends on which army you play. Some armies are exponentially cheaper than others to play. If you play an army that requires more models and like big expensive centerpiece models, it's going to cost you a lot. But if you play an army that's, you know, a little bit more elite, less model count, you know, it can be relatively cheap. Any plans for any big tourneys? Also, yeah, so on June 26th, we're having a faction war, which is not a faction war, a clan war, which is going to be super fun. That's the next like really big one we have. And then on July 3rd, we're having the an ECL flash qualifier to replace someone who had to drop. And then after the DLC drops, we're going to be having both a faction war as well as the ECL Grand Finals. So that's kind of my schedule of upcoming, like, you know, mainstay tournaments. But in between then and now, I'll be doing other things too. So yeah, counts are going to be fun. I'm excited to see this. Yeah, custodes are really cheap because you need barely any models. One of the best ways to start an army too. You've been winning with your Death Guard. Yeah, I actually got first place in my my last ITC pod. I won the tournament, so yeah, pretty good, man. I went. The only list that gave me trouble in the tournament was, but this was before AdMech got buffed. But the only list that gave me trouble was the Drukhari. Aside from that, I was able to crush the Dark Angels. Who else did we beat? Yeah, we beat Dark Angels. We beat another Space Marine chapter. We able to give the Necrons the business. I think it was Ultramarines. And then Drukhari was the one that I had the most trouble with. Yeah. Turin, you said you've read Masters of Stone and Steel. I do have the physical book, but I mean, you know, it'd probably be easier for you to just order it online on like eBay or something, because I probably would keep it for like a collectible thing, so I can reread it someday. Yeah. Oh my god, are we getting Chaos? Holy shit. He's picking Chaos into counts. Hey, it's Ultra Funds, man. Maybe it's a different game. Let's see. Maybe you can just bring like 12 Chosen and just go crazy. Dude, we got Chaos versus counts here. Yeah. This is going to be fun. Jedi Master Draco. Yeah, I'm excited for the changes to Magic. I just want Warhammer 3 so bad. Yeah, so Drukhari are probably the strongest faction in the game right now in Tabletop 40k, which are the Dark Eldar. They're basically like Dark Elves in space. And probably the other rising star is the AdMech. AdMech is disgustingly powerful right now. They have some really crazy combos. Death Guard is definitely a top 5 faction, though. Death Guard is very, very strong. So, yeah. Drukhari are very good. Oh, yeah. They're nasty. I play Death Guard like a horde army though. I run 80 Poxwalkers. And then I run a bunch of Terminators and Plague Marines like marching behind them. And I just play the objectives. I don't even try and kill my opponent's army. I just like go sit on the objectives. That's how I roll. I've been playing the Terminist Est Assault Force a little bit, which is fun. Or the Harbingers, which is Typhus's jam. Yeah, Death Guard are really strong. Yeah. Well, any faction in Warhammer 40k tabletop that gets a new codex, you know, is going to be strong, including Death Guard. So Quad Hell Cannon would unironically probably work here, says Andy. You know, if you're going to try shit like that, this is the place. Quad Hell Cannon, huh? And like spread them out and just leave like a Chaos Warrior Halberd guarding each one. That could be pretty metal. That could be some metal shit. Yeah, Drukhari did get some nerfs. They're still really good though. Yeah, I'm about to play in another league or tournament league here. Tonight's match or when I play should be in that. Should be for that. So, yeah, I have Mortarion. He's really nicely painted. Lady Turin and I painted him together. So she painted the wings and I painted like the armor and the rest of the body and stuff. Yeah, he looks really cool. Yeah, I played Age of Sigmar. I have a Cities of Sigmar army, which is basically my Empire Fantasy army I have. So I just run a bunch of Demogryph Knights and State Troopers, and then Karl Franz is in the army too. He's not fully painted though. My demis are painted, but Franz needs to be painted. My Empire army in Fantasy has a pretty unique paint scheme. They have golden armor. So Balthazar gold armor with some like highlights from Gehenna's gold, and then they have purple cloth, and then they have like black clothing and black armor as well. So it's like black and gold, like armor, and yeah. And the bases on my Empire army are actually graveyard themed. So I have like little headstones on my Empire bases and things like that, because the whole idea of my Empire army is that they're going on a crusade to like Sylvania and to the Undead Lands to purge the undead. So the bases for my Warhammer Fantasy Empire army are like all undead themed with like little skeleton arms reaching up and shit. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, Chili Master, it's kind of hard right now. It's been hard with the cursed Rona to get bat reps in and things like that. Yeah. So that's that. That is that. Someday though, I probably won't do bat reps until we move somewhere where we can like have more space. 'Cause in our current apartment, it's like really hard to like fit a huge gaming table in it. Yeah, Franz isn't in Age of Sigmar. Yeah, correct. But I use his model as a general of the Free Cities general. Yeah. Which Astartes faction is the cheapest to get into in tabletop? They're all the same price, more or less. I mean, some of them are more expensive if you want like mechs and like big units, but I don't know who's doing really good right now. Honestly, most of the Space Marine armies are pretty good. I would say just the cost difference between Space Marines is kind of negligible. So just like pick the one you like the most, because that's really important for the longevity of your hobby. If you just pick something based on like, you know, what other people tell you, you might lose interest, and then you wasted all this money. Pick like read some like lore books about them, like, you know, get hyped about the characters, and, you know, go from there. All right. So, my friends, back to Warhammer Fantasy. Oh, yeah. Talk dirty. Check out this shit. How good am I at painting? I'm okay. I'm like a good average painter. I can base well. I can do simple highlights. I can do, like, I'm an average painter. Like, I can make anything look respectable. Not like super like, whoa, that's amazing, but like, oh, that's good. You know, like, I would say that's my jam. Lady Turin is a much better painter than I am. I feel like Polish people are just such amazing artists. Like, so many great commission painters for like miniature games that are like from Poland. And like, there's so much amazing fantasy art from Poland as well. Like, if you look at like The Witcher and like all this, like, it's crazy. Yeah. I always tell Anna, I'm like, yeah, you have the Polish passive for being amazing at fantasy art. All right, my friends. So Andy predicted it. It's going to be the triple Hell Cannon, not penta, but triple. So we have Hell Cannons backed up by chosen great weapons in the back. We got Forsaken Chaos Warrior Halberds, Sigvald backed by a Chaos Sorcerer Fire, a shit ton of Horsemen, double Shaggoth, and just more and more good infantry. Chaos Warrior infantry everywhere. Everywhere. Man, it is crazy. Check out this shit. Okay, so yeah, it's mainly just elite troops. Chaos Warriors, Halberds, and Great Weapons with Chosen in the back, double Shaggoth, Sigvald, and a Firecaster. I know, Musk Gaming, it's true. You know, everybody's got their weaknesses, and that is certainly one of mine, so we try our best. There's a lot of information running through this old brain, and we're trying to keep it going. But thank you for the criticism. I'll do my best to improve. So the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord is here, teamed up with double Terror Geist. We do also have 4 Cairn Wraiths, and then a bunch of Blood Knights into the sunset. So this should be quite a bit of fun. It's got a lot of breath attacks to snipe the Shaggoths. Cairn Wraiths are obviously pretty good, and that is a lot of Blood Knights. 1, 2, 3, 4 Blood Knights? No, Penta Blood Knight! Oh, yeah, look at that. Check that out. So Penta Blood Knight. Oh, that's so cool. We got double Corpse Cart backed by Graveguard Great Weapons, some zombies, and that is it. So really, the epicenter of this army is going to be the Penta Blood Knight. Oh, yeah, no Mortis Engine is very surprising. I feel like the Mortis Engine would have been an auto take here, considering, you know, Chaos is going to bring some good infantry. So last question here about the painting before I focus on the commentary. Are Death Guard good for beginners to paint? Yeah, Death Guard are actually like, you with Nurgle painting in general, you have a high ceiling of like the amount of detail on Nurgle models is much more than a lot of other factions. So if you want to be a super advanced painter, it's amazing, right? Because, you know, you have so much room to grow and improve. But on that same note, Nurgle is also good for beginners because if you make mistakes or it looks a little bit sloppy, oftentimes it just looks like a rotting model or like the mistakes look intentional. So, and if you make like a big haggard mistake, you can even just cover it up with like rust or like some gross like, you know, stuff like that, right? So that's what's really cool about Nurgle models. Anyways, that's that. So Hell Cannons do magic damage. And there are Cairn Wraiths, which will be focused down by the Hell Cannons. Granted, despite the Cairn Wraiths, I would probably still focus down the Blood Knights with the Hell Cannons. I think they're more important. And then I would probably use the Firecaster's Burning Head and or Flaming Sword of Ruin on top of Forsaken. So if you cast Flaming Sword of Ruin on top of Forsaken and charge Cairn Wraiths, they'll probably die in like 10 seconds. Like, it will be an absolute lawnmower. So yeah, quite a bit of fun. Quite a bit of fun. Bookman saying, you're getting anxiety thinking about microing all this. I hear you. I completely hear you. So there you go. Let us know your predictions. Are you rooting for Alfredinho in the Midnight Aristocracy? Or are you rooting for the champion of the Dark Gods, Dactyr, coming in with Sigvald? Slaanesh looking to get a little bit naughty here in this battle against the Warriors of the Night. Yes. It shall be good. Shall be good indeed. Let us see. So we'll take inventory. Chaos Warriors. So 5 Warriors, 5 Halberds, and then Chosen. I don't think there's any Marauders, are there? No, oh my god, yeah, more Chosen with Great Weapons on the flanks. Penta Chosen. Yeah, so it's all Chosen, 1 Marauder unit, it looks like, or 2 Marauders, and then a couple Forsaken as well. Pretty crazy quality for sure. Welcome to the stream, Ice Power. Hope you're doing well. Today we have a large funds tournament. And right now we are getting the Vampire counts against the Warriors of Chaos. Alfredinho facing off against Dactyr for anyone who's joining 1-1 currently in the Grand Finals. We have RTK Vicious Satsuma awaiting atop his throne of Gork and or Mork skulls. Because again, he is a champion of the Greenskins, though we haven't really seen them yet today. Good God, how many units can you take with Ultra Funds? A lot, especially since we upped the ante to 40 units. So normally you can only bring 20 units in an army, a 20 stack, but in this tournament, you have like close to 20,000 gold to spend, and you also have 40 unit slots. So you can bring more zombies and chaff units and all sorts of good stuff like that. Extremely micro-intensive. But the players that you guys are seeing today are some of the best players in the entire community, like top tier. So if anybody's going to be able to micro armies this size, it's going to be players like Vicious Satsuma, Falcon, Alfredinho, and Dactyr, right? These are all guys who, if they're not winning a tournament, are usually in the top 4 when they play. So there you go. So Hell Cannons are shooting in. It looks like they're going after the Graveguard Great Weapons, which, you know, there's a lot of good targets, and that's the thing, right? The other Hell Cannon shooting into the Cairn Wraiths here. It looks like Alfredinho preparing to pounce, which is good. He's hiding in the bushes here, and is just going to let his very slow infantry corps kind of close the distance here first. And here they come. Firepower throwing into the Graveguard with Great Weapons, doing some nice damage. Definitely a high priority target. They're one of the few things here in the Vampiric army that can kill the Chaos Warrior Halberds and contest the Chaos Warriors. Obviously, Chosen Great Weapons will smash Graveguard, but they'll do some damage in the process. So the Flying Goon Squad is here. Marauder Horsemen need to get over there ASAP, because if the Marauder Horsemen are not in position underneath the Flying Goon Squad, what's going to happen is breath attacks will come, and the Hell Cannons will basically just die. And I guess I'll just die. That's exactly what's going to happen. Oh my god, you see that Hell Cannon just do that like weird gravity-defying play right there? I mean, I guess they are from the warp, and Chaos obviously defies the laws of reality, so. Hell Cannon shot, really nice. Takes out about 5 or 6 Blood Knights right there. More shots coming in. It looks like they're going after the Blood Dragon Lord. And he gets tagged with the Hell Cannon. It does hit him. I mean, it doesn't do a ton of damage, but it'll add up. Yeah, he definitely needs to move these Blood Knights. They are getting their bread buttered super hard. And now it looks like the Blood Knights are preparing a frontal charge, but this Chaos Army is very much a porcupine. So no Mortis Engine is going to make it much harder. And Mortis Engines are one of the big problems for the Warriors of Chaos, right? Because your quality infantry just gets dunked on. Now, Chaos Warrior Halberds do surge forward to attack the Direwolves. And yeah, not a good trade for them, honestly. Direwolves are going to get cut apart by the Halberds. Not super quickly, but over time. The other Blood Knights for Alfredino do charge into the Chaos Marauders in the front. And it looks like now the Skeletons and Graveguard, oh, it's mostly Graveguard, including basic Graveguard, are getting ready to pile into the front line. Over here on the far side, we do have Fellbats diving on the Hell Cannon. They will be meeting their doom rather quickly. Blood Knights falling back here, and the other ones are looking to get around the back. But honestly, it seems like Chaos is getting a little bit more value out of these initial trades, but this is where the Vampire Counts bring this battle back. Two of these Shaggies did overextend a little bit. Now they're trapped amongst Blood Knights and Blood Dragon Lord, and there's a Goose up in the sky. I think that Dactyr, in order to maintain the lead he has gotten relatively early here, needs to get his Shaggots away, or at least this one. It's being isolated and kind of beaten down. But Sigvald's coming in, Marauder Horseman coming up and under the Terrorgeist here. We do have some Hounds in the back from Alfredino, and it looks like they're trying to find an opening on the Hell Cannons or some sort of a juicy spot in the army to really get in there and butter some bread. One Shaggoth brought down to about 40%, obviously has no way of healing, but it wasn't a one-sided trade. The Blood Knights got really, really pounded in that engagement. Both of them are super low. But the Vampires are waking their way through the front line. Graveguard with the support of the Corpse Guard are moving in, but now there's a secondary line of Chaos Warriors standing ready. The Dogs do jump on top of the Hell Cannon, but the Chaos Dwarves do not stand alone, as the Chosen with great weapons do pile in, and those Chosen are going to be able to lay quite a beating on these Hounds and maybe peel them off. We'll see. Nice little charge there by Dactyr to try and salvage the Hell Cannon. It looks like that Hell Cannon will remain online for now. So even Bounce of Power, if anything, I would say a little bit Chaos favored. It seems like they're getting the better engagements, and it seems also like the Blood Knights were... the Blood Knights have just not been having a good time. I mean, they've really been struggling to find good engagements. The only targets the Blood Knights can fight are the Shaggots, really, effectively. I mean, they can pound Marauders and different things like that, but these two Shaggies with the Chosen Great Weapons... Chosen Great Weapons will cut through Blood Knights like butter. They hit so hard, and even though they're not halberds, they still have amazing stats and really good general armor piercing. Really nice breath attack from Alfred as well. Does bring down that Shaggoth quite low, down to about 10%, give or take. And it looks like White King and the others doing their best to bring it down. That Dragon Ogre probably needs to get back, but the Blood Knights just getting cut apart by the forces of the Dark Gods. And actually the Bounce of Power pulling into the favor here of Dactyr, which is really interesting to see kind of the shift in meta and tactics and how it evolves in these larger funds battles, right? But no Mortis Engine, I think, is a big factor as well. So one Hell Cannon here is about to die. Does not look like Chaos has the forces to defend it. There are a couple aspiring champions fighting here and some Chaos Warrior Halberds, but there's just far too many Graveguard kind of piled in here. In the front, though, holy shit, check this out. The two Chaos Warriors beat the brakes off those Graveguard. Holy shit, what a decisive fight right there. And on that same note, the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord does get absolutely gooned. Probably a Fireball hit him as well as the Marauder Horsemasters, and Sigvald is still running around in his spandex here and just doing an excellent job cutting through these forces. It looks like Dactyr is probably going to be winning this game. I mean, unless there's some big goon. And with Vampires, too, they have access to healing, so even if they do fall behind like this, as long as the Blood Dragon Lord can find some way to heal itself with some invocations... Oh, he's down to 200 HP! He's crumbling, negative 31. He might actually just die. And this one Goose actually lands here, but the Blood Knights this game were the big weak link. I think if we had seen Black Coaches and a Mortis Engine instead of the Blood Knight spam, maybe just like two Blood Knights, could have been a great game. But the Vampires didn't have the tools to deal with the infantry, and the minions of the Dark Gods are just grinding them to dust. And normally Chaos loses the infantry fights, right? Because of Black Coaches, because of Mortis Engines, but without either of them being in this fight, the Chaos infantry are really getting their opportunity to shine and show their worth. And it seems like the Vampires are just out of steam. They have a little blob here of Graveguard and a Corpse Guard. A couple of the Hell Cannons have been taken out here, but there's just so many Chaos infantry. There is so much heavy metal here on this battlefield that the Vampires are just going to be crumbling to dust. So Dactyr is saying before the best of three, he's like, there's no way I'm going to beat you, or he was saying, like, I won't beat you, but I'll win the hearts of the people. But in the end, Dactyr does claim victory against his clanmate. Amazing game. Picking Chaos into Vampires, who would have thought, right? But he made it work. And he played his build was great. I mean, look how much left Chaos has. They have so much shit left. So much infantry. Yeah, that was a really fun game. This army really, like the 5 Blood Knights, man, none of them got over like 800 value. One of them did. I think you needed a Mortis Engine would have been game changing. So too would some Black Coaches. But yeah, what a match, dude. What a match. That was pretty epic for sure. So, I mean, you know, points of value, Hell Cannons did okay in terms of damage. One Shaggoth got about 3,000. Sigvald only 700, but he was just kind of chasing shit. Yeah. What a game. So Dactyr will be facing Vicious Satsuma here in the grand finals. GG, well played. Let's go ahead and update ye old scorecard. Or the bracket, I should say. So Dactyr will be moving on. And now we have Vicious Satsuma versus Dactyr. GG, well played. Alfredino says, make Odium proud. It's been a blast. Anytime. It was a pleasure having you, Alfredino. Looking forward to having you back in future tournaments. All right. So Satsuma is here. And now we can update the old nameplates. So somebody's got to switch to the other side. There we go. So we will do the Astalion Tomb. Updating here. We have Dactyr versus Vicious. I'm just going to put Satsuma for short so it fits a little bit better on the nameplate. And cool. Perfect. Hey, so this is best of 3. This is best of 3 also. And who is on the top of the bracket? So we have Vicious Satsuma. So Satsuma starts with picks. Look, have fun. So best of 5 would just take too long. It would just take far too long. Switch the players here. Yep, should fit fine. Excellent. So now we just get to hang out, enjoy each other's company for a couple minutes. So Bear, we did actually have a Skaven game earlier. One of the first matches was Vicious Satsuma winning with his Skaven. So we'll see who comes away today with the cash prize of a mighty $25. You know, it's a casual tournament, but you know, if people enjoy this, we can do this more often and make it more of a mainstay on the channel. You missed a lot. There was, dude, every game today has been good. There hasn't been like a single game that was just like, oh, that game sucked. Like they've each had really exciting points and yeah, the epic scale is really fun. The issue with having epic scale tournaments is the games take really long. So if you wanted to do like a 50, 60 man tournament, it would just like take like 2 days. And on top of that, lagging can be a big problem. But, you know, if I just do it as like an invitational format, I can pick people who I know don't have connection issues. And we can have, you know, a good time. So, yeah. It's tough. Could Turin Sanity handle a Dawi mirror match? Don't you even put that evil out here. Don't. You take that back. You take that back. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. No, I don't want that, dude. No, I just don't want that. Especially on Ultra Funds. Holy shit. The worst one would be Vampires versus Vampires Ultra Funds. That would hands down be the worst. Okay, so Satsuma's going to be doing his picks here. I might have to sneeze in a moment. I'll make sure to run away from the microphone if I do. So Turin, explain something to me. I'm 40k ignorant. What exactly are Eldar? Just space elves, but are they agents of order or chaos? So yeah, Eldar are basically space elves, yes. They are, I mean, in 40k, there's a big, like, kind of, you know, there's a big, like, kind of gray area between good and evil. But I would say Eldar are more, like, on the good side of things. They are enemies of chaos. The Eldar are basically, like, an ancient civilization that were once a vast, powerful empire that was able to navigate the webways and travel vast areas of, you know, time and space. But they became a civilization on decline. So what happened was the Eldar started to become very corrupt, and you know, there was a lot of decadence and just, you know, basically nasty shit going on behind closed doors with the Eldar Empire at their peak, right? So they started to kind of descend into this like corrupt society, and it got so bad that the collective like corruption of like the Eldar society actually gave birth to Slaanesh, the Chaos God, who did not exist before this. So Slaanesh comes into being, and when Slaanesh comes into being, it basically erupts and destroys like most of the Eldar Empire, which was crazy shit. So then when that happens, the Eldar become fractured into 2 societies. They have the basic Eldar, which I forget the actual name. I don't know the lore of them too well, but then the Dark Eldar, you know, the more deviant side of things, they actually flee into the webways and have a whole society in there. But yeah, so Eldar, their most hated enemy is Slaanesh, like hands down. Yeah. Dark Eldar, yeah, are more like evil for sure, and like Craftworld Eldar are like the good guys, quote unquote. Yeah. The Fall. So yeah, some crazy shit. Because the Chaos Gods are, their power and existence is directly correlated to basically the emotions and shit of like of you know, humanoid races and stuff. So yeah. All right, so we got Bretonia versus Skaven. Satsuma saying no idea what counters are in this format. I love it. I love the uncertainty. So Bretonia versus Skaven on Ultra Funds, that's going to be wild. Yeah. What race are you most looking forward to? Yeah, Nurgle and Kislev. Yeah, 100%. My wife says I'm an honorary Slav, so it has to be Kislev. I love good guys, and I love the idea of good guys. The average, like, normal men and women, like, fighting back against, like, horrible odds. So Kislev is right up my alley. Like, that's why I love the Empire. There's nothing more Empire, like, epic than, like, these, like, gnarly monsters of the old world, like, charging down on, like, a city, and then you just see, like, a battle line of Empire halberds with guns, and then, like, you know, Karl Franz flying over. Like, there's nothing more epic to me than that. So, like, and Kislev is like that as well. Just these people who endure hardship and suffering, but despite all that, they stay the course and fight the good fight. It's just like, yeah, come on. How could you not like that shit? Simon Benjamin, thank you for the 50 pounds. Great to finally catch a live stream. Hype for Warhammer 3. And from what CA have shown so far, yeah, more to come, hopefully, dude. Thank you so much, Simon. I hope you're doing well. Yeah. Like you had like the Enter the World of Korn trailer. You remember? And like I was like, okay, this is kind of hyped, but like when you had the Enter the World of Kislev trailer where they had that really good narrator, like, you know, talking about like the Kislev people and the hardships, and like with it, like the music was just so epic as they're like fighting back the Warriors of Chaos. I was like, yes. Like, I remember just getting, like, goosebumps during that one. Whereas, like, the Korn one, I was kind of like, oh, that's cool. But, like, I had goosebumps during, like, the Empire trailer and the Kislev trailer and all that, so, yeah. I'm really excited for Nurglings in Warhammer 3, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I love the Empire for that reason. Then AOS gave us Sigmarines for... Yeah, yeah. I definitely... There are some things I enjoy about Age of Sigmar, like armies and stuff, but I really don't like... I don't like the Stormcast Eternal lore, because I like the common man fighting. You know, when it comes to humanity, I think that's like kind of the cool narrative about humanity. Not these like, you know, steroided, you know, fake natural, you know, monsters. The Stormcast just beating the shit out of, like, you know, it's just, yeah, they're outnumbered and all that, but it's just like, you know, whatever. You can still be outnumbered, you know, and be like a normal human. Yeah. One sec, guys. I gotta let Lola out real quick. Lola, come on. Come on, Lola. Let's go get you outside, get some water. It's nice and hot. Come on, Lola, let's go. Check where the water go, huh? All right, I'm back from outer space. What do you think about the Mark of Chaos trailer? Oh, that's one of my favorite trailers of all time. Dude, what? Oh my god, it's so freaking good. And I think that's the one with the warrior priest in the forest, right? Yeah. Dude, that trailer is so freaking good. It's so ahead of its time, because like it's so well done. Like, the Chaos Warriors look so cool, and like when I love the scene where it does that like circular panning shot, and then like the warrior priest is just there in front of like the state troopers, and they just like, they're all just ready with their halberds and guns to fight these like monsters. It's like, oh, that scene, so badass, dude, so badass. Yeah. Yeah, so it's time, man. We got Bretonia versus Skaven here in the finals. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be getting started here, I'm sure, in the next like 5 or 10 minutes. Yeah, the Mark of Chaos trailers, it's so good. So good. The Karl Franz trailer holds up really well, too. Because, like, though the action in the Karl Franz trailer, in terms of, like, cinematics, might feel a little bit dated in some ways, the narrative they set up in the beginning of the Karl Franz trailer is, like, the best. Like, the delivery, the directing of it. Like, how they have the, you know, the shot where he's like talking about the Empire and how it's like led by the Craven, and like, and then he's like no longer, and then like it shows like Sigmar's like depiction of him with the hammer, and like, and then like he's giving that epic speech to his guys, like, and then the Hellblasters are firing. It's just like, that trailer is so freaking good. I honestly still think it's one of the best trailers of all of them. Yeah. Am I playing today? No, I'm casting the tournament. Ivar, greetings from Iceland. Hey, hope you're doing well, man. So I think Dactyr is going to bring like 100 cav units, but my only concern is that Vicious Satsuma probably knows this and is going to bring like mass Stormvermin halberds. I really do think we're going to see that with like ogres. Y'all good, Lola? She's like, I'm done. I'm going back to my bed. Fuck this shit. Oh yeah, I'm not supposed to curse. That's right. Well, it is what it is. The Norskin trailer is really good. Yeah, I felt like the Norskin trailer had really good narrative, but not enough action. Like, you have the giant following and all that, but I would have liked to have seen more action in the Norskin trailer. Like, Wulfric dueling someone would have been so goddamn cool. Because Wulfric's whole lore is that he's the hunter of champions. In the lore, Wulfric travels the world in his haggard ship, which can, like, travel through, like, the warp, basically. And he just challenges enemy champions to duel, one-on-one duels. I really feel like they kind of dropped the ball with not having Wulfric, like, duel someone in the trailer. In Wulfric's lore, he has the gift of tongues. The Chaos Gods have blessed him with the ability to speak any language. So Wulfric can basically roll up to, like, anyone. And he can speak their language and talk shit to them in their language and goad them into dueling him. That's, like, his whole thing. But in the trailer, like, yeah, he's cool, but, like, they didn't really illustrate, like, his special kind of perks, in my opinion. But yeah, like, if they had added, like, 30 seconds to the Norskin trailer and added him dueling someone or, like, you know, illustrating that, dude, that would have been so good. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen the Warhammer Age of Reckoning trailers, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, Wulfric's a cool character. He's definitely got some really neat lore. All right, my friends, and now we are here. It's going to be the Skaven in the grand finals, led by RTK, Vicious Satsuma, facing off against Dactyr, coming off a 2-1 victory here. Dactyr does have 1,000,000 Knights Errant and Grail Knights, 1,000,000. On top of that, looks like a couple trebs, not too heavy duty. We got Pegasus Knights up in the sky, Grail Knights, let's just say a bunch of Knights. We don't need to go over every single one, but mostly Grail Knights because they're good against Ogres and Hellpits. We got Fey Enchantress, Double Paladin, no surprises there. And more Knights. And Mounted Yeoman, too. Dude, this is a Rohirrim army. There are straight up no infantry. Bretonnia has like 3 or 4 peasant mobs. Yeah, 5 peasant mobs here. And mass cavalry. Oh my god. That's pretty cool, Darka, man. That sounds like fun. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I want duels in Game 3. I do not like that. I thought the dueling function in Three Kingdoms was kind of dumb. It just like was clunky, you know? Yeah. But, you know, I'm just saying Wulfric in the trailer should have been dueling someone. Tommy Gun, yes, I have. I have seen that. This is the Medieval 2 remaster. Yeah, basically. Except with Ratmen. So yeah, Dactyr basically has 1,000,000 cavalry units. And for the forces here of Satsuma, taking up a nice little refuge here. Plague Claw catapults. It looks like triple mortar, assassin plague priest, globadiers, mass stormvermin. Wow, look at this. Stormvermin sword and board with clan rat spears and triple warp grinders. And then over here on the far side, it looks like we have double Hellpit abomination, 4 rat ogres, wolf rats, and triple rattling gunners. Oh yeah. Let's get it going. We have the Bretonnian Rohirrim build with Pegasus Knights charging into the rattling gunner battle lines with Stormvermin. See, shit you would never see in these type of numbers in a standard battle. We are seeing here today. I'm so excited for this. It looks like Bretonnia does have a bit of a vanguard. Some yeomen are kind of cackling in the trees back there, but man, oh man. The Ratmen are just malnourished peasants, yes. That's probably what the Empire Witch Hunters tell people. They're like, oh, it was just a malnourished Bretonnian peasant. Yeah, the sun rises! Oh my god. Nothing. I think that's probably one of the most epic scenes in all of like movie history is the Rohirrim charge and Theoden's speech. I'm trying to think of a scene that like gets me as rock hard as that one. I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean, scenes from the Two Towers too. Yeah, Helm's Deep definitely is up there. Like that, there's just so much glory in those movies. Yeah. I hope they don't remake the Lord of the Rings movies in like 20 years. I feel like they would just butcher them. We're about to get spicy with these ratty boys. We are. Still deploying his army, looks like. Okay, I will try not to camp in the forest, but I'm not sure if I can fit outside it. Yeah, so he's saying like, he's like, yeah, because on this map you have no choice. Like, it's no problem. Dactyr understands. Yeah, because, like, dude, with this big of an army, you kind of have to have some of your army in the forest. So, it is what it is. No problem. Yeah, Saruman speech, yeah. The opening to Shrek. Yeah, The Hobbit. The Hobbit, it was pretty haggard, but, you know, I still enjoyed aspects of The Hobbit, for sure. Like, I enjoyed seeing Ian McKellen as Gandalf again, and, you know, some of the fight scenes were fun. The one thing I didn't like about The Hobbit was, like, you know how, like, when the dwarves are, like, escaping Goblin Town, or they're escaping, like, being captured by the elves, and they're, like, jumping in barrels, and, like, they literally, like, will fall on a piece of wood down, like, 30 levels, and they'll all survive and just do, like, backflips and land in barrels and shit. It's just, like... Whereas, like, Lord of the Rings, yeah, it's, like, fantasy, and it has some high magic in it, not too much, but it's, like, some of the fighting outside of Legolas in Lord of the Rings was much more grounded, right? It's not like you would see Aragorn, like, you know, jumping off the wall and, like, you know, sticking a full, like, backflip landing and, like, you know, like, yeah, you'd see that with Legolas a little bit, but I, like, that kind of campy shit, I didn't enjoy that about The Hobbit. But I did enjoy aspects of it. Like, as I've gotten older, I've come to appreciate it a little bit more. Yeah. I did like the casting for some of the dwarves, for sure. Like, Thorin Oakenshield's casting was really good. He was a great actor. Yeah, there was, like, I'm really on the, like, mixed feelings about The Hobbit. But honestly, if I just sat down and watched The Hobbit now, I would enjoy it. Like, I'd be like, yeah, this is, like, you know, it's not Lord of the Rings, but whatever. It still has, you know, Gandalf in it. You got Bilbo, who was great. Martin Freeman is awesome. Like, you know, I've come to become a little bit less harsh about it. So, dude, look at this Ultra Funds. Look at the Ultra Fun Skaven blob. Just like, there's just so much shit in such a tight space. That's my concern. Oh my god. Dactyr saying, arise, arise, riders of Theoden, as he prepares his army. Dude, it's time. This is gonna be so good. Holy shit. Alex Sear, Hobbit was fun, but was too damn long on top of what you said. Shorter than any part Lord of the Rings, but he gets 3 movies, and each part... Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate the donation. Yeah, there was some really good casting, though, for sure. I also like the scene at Dol Guldur, I believe is what it's called, when like, Galadriel and Aragorn, Galadriel and Gandalf and the whole crew and Saruman, like, fight Sauron and his wraiths and stuff like that. I thought that was a really cool scene. Anyways, here, Rattling Gunners. Oh my god. Talk about Last Samurai. It's like a rainbow coming out here. All the mortar fire, and like one knight unit just buckled. The Rattling Gunners unleashing hellish firepower here into the Rohirrim as they just charge in. Pegasus Knights landing, like, I think Dactyr has abandoned, like, all hope of... Look, he's even charging Yeoman into halberds in the back. Like, he's just like, screw it! Let's just get in there. Oh, this is such a massacre. Oh, and they get hit by Rivalhide Talisman. Mortar fire's coming in. I mean, there's so many spears and halberds here in the front, guys. This is a disaster. Oh, my God. Howling Warp Gale locking down Pegasus Knights, and they're just diving in. Pure desperation. Fey Enchantress moving into the front line right here, which is probably going to be the only saving grace. Trebuchet's firing in. Yeah, and look how many knights are coming from the other side of the battlefield. Bounce of Power is already a little bit Skaven favored. But now the Royal Pegasus Knights should be able to get on top of the Plague Claw Catapults. But I mean, not going to be super effective, that's for sure. Warp Grinder's going down to the back. It does lock down some poor Yeomen as they try and get in there. Knights are shattering left and right. Pegasus Knights shattering. Everything is breaking. I mean, the Skaven army was so well prepared for this. Like, so well prepared. If Dactyr had brought, like, you know, peasant archers and battle pilgrims and men-at-arms, like, it could have been a very different battle. But he went full Rohirrim, and, I mean, is he going to be able to get in? The one thing that I can see going for the forces of Bretonnia is going to be the fact that the Fey Enchantress is here, and there could be some big Mortis Engine plays in the late game. Knight's still trying to push through. Chalice of Potions going down. That's going to be nailing those Council Guard, most likely. Here it comes. A 1, a 2, and a 3, and brutal damage brings him down to, like, half health. In the backfield, though, it looks like the Knights of Bretonnia are getting on top of some of the Rattling Gunners, despite the Stormvermin halberds everywhere, and you know, the Fey Enchantress and the Paladins can definitely just kill an infinite amount of rats using the Mortis Engine effect she has. And yeah, it looks like there's a bit of an opening here. The Fey Enchantress was able to single-handedly open that, but now she's dove into the back line here. She's a little bit surrounded by, actually, Council Guard as well as Rat Ogre. She needs some support. These Knights of the Realm need to charge in there and help. Dactyr really, really needs to get her some help. The Fey Enchantress is like the one lifeline, right? Anyways, more Knights sitting idle here. It looks like some have rallied. We do have some Knights Errant and Grail Knights back here that are kind of sitting a little bit passive. But the balance of power is in the favor of the Skaven, but I still actually think it's become a close game. The dreaded 13th spell is here, and it does nuke some of the mounted yeomen there. Unfortunately not used on the Grail Knights, but Fey Enchantress still bumping and grinding. The two Paladins probably should turn around and go after the Hell Pit Abomination. Obviously, Dactyr has a shitload of stuff he has to micro, so it's completely understandable that he's has some stuff sitting idle and many units rallying here because much of his army did break here. But balance of power is getting even more Skaven favored, and the Fey Enchantress, though she is draining down much of the Skaven army, seems to be having a bad time with those halberd units. And now we do get the Grail Knights charging in. Here they come. Yeah, the Grail Knights getting in there, going into the Hell Pit Abomination. Very, very nice catch. But mortars are firing in, and the mortar teams are going to do some devastating damage here against the Grail Knights and all these different units, despite the recent nerfs they had. But that's a nice little catch. Fey Enchantress, her Mortis Engine still should be affecting that particular area. Is there any hope for Bretonnia here? I'm not sure. It's looking pretty grim. I mean, the whole Skaven army was just... It was like the Uruk-hai. It was bred for one purpose, and the purpose of this battle was to kill cavalry. His entire army was designed for it. Yet the Bretonians are still fighting a good fight. Hell Pit Abomination here getting very low, and the other one is taking a little bit of topical damage. Did the Fey Enchantress escape? It looks like she did get back. I would imagine she'll probably drop some healing here. Bretonnia still does have some cavalry up in the hills, Knights of the Realm and Yeoman Archers chasing down Rattling Gunners and other units that have come back. So some silver lining there, and it looks like this Hell Pit should be going down. We'll see if it gets its proc. It's at -1. It's broken, and it actually died, so the Hell Pit Abomination was killed by the double Paladin. Could this be a wild comeback for the Knights of Bretonnia? Fey Enchantress charging into the other Hell Pit now, supported by her two Paladins, but there are so many Storm Vermin in here, and they just got their shanks out for the Horned Rat, and they're just giving it to these Knights, man. And also you have the Bell here, which of course is doing some decent support. It's not a Mortis Engine, but the balance of power actually crept back a little bit. Could Fey and the double Paladins carry this? It's certainly possible. I mean, many of the units are breaking here. We have some Ogres in the distance. Yeomen really need to make sure to shut these guys down and get on top of those Rattling Gunners. And yeah, I mean, I've seen Fey Enchantress comebacks like this, and yeah, getting the bodies in the Knights Errant definitely quite good. Looks like they're trying to focus down the Hell Pit Abomination. Fey Enchantress getting a little bit low. Terror Routes could come into play as well. The Paladins, of course, are not immune to Psychology. Guardian, of course, is active. But now the Fey Enchantress is going to get shanked, and I think the hope of Bretonnia is going to be gone. An amazing attempt against an army that was pretty much a hard counter. Like, I don't know. I think it could have been played a little bit more careful with not, like, blitzing in right away. But, he's Rohirrim role-playing, so he kind of has to. But I think if the Pegasus Knights had been a little bit delayed, but even still, some of them got good value. Fey got, like, 3,000 value. The Fey was, like, the glue that held that army together. So, amazing, Skaven play by Satsuma. He knew what his opponent was going to do, and he brought the right army. He brought the right army. So Satsuma goes up 1-0 if Satsuma wins the next game. All right. GG. All right, you guys ready for Skilled? The map of maps? Damn Howling Warp Gale. That was a good Warp Gale. Map set. Have fun. I hope they know this map. I hope they know Skilled. All right, guys. We're adding a little bit of spice in here to this last one. Dactyr's like, what is this map like? I've never seen it. It's huge. 2 hills, 1 valley in middle. Yeah, the Howling Warp Gale is quite brutal as well. All right. All right, so it's huge. Yeah, we're doing Skilled. We're doing 1 meme map. Okay, Dactyr very wisely picks the Empire. The Empire can trade artillery with anyone, so he bans greenskins and dwarves. Poor Satsuma not getting to play his faction the whole day. Everyone just bans them. Dude. Yeah, it's going to be fun. What competitive balance changes do you wish to see when you... just greenskin nerfs, really. Yeah, that's the only thing I want to see. Aside from that, the multiplayer is going to be changing so much in Game 3 with Domination Mode, as well as, like, 7 new factions right away that... I don't want to, like, even speculate on changes, Yeah. Because it's just going to be so different, That's Joel, thank you for the donation. He says they're about to create a Lord of the Rings anime movie called War of Rohirrim. Yeah, somebody asked about that on last stream. I mean, it depends on the animation style. As long as they don't, I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of anime, but since it's Lord of the Rings, I'll give it a chance. Yeah. So we got Empire here for Dactyr. Skilled is a ridiculous map. It makes for some really weird battles because it's so big. Yeah. It's so big. So greenskins and dwarves are the bans. Satsuma might go lizards, but I hope he knows what this map is like. I wish I could show them. Maybe I can minimize real quick actually and get like a screenshot of this map. Hold on. Okay, so we got skilled Total War. I'm trying to find it. The map. Oh, there's no pictures of the map coming up. It was played in Everchosen, which was really funny because in the early days of Everchosen, we weren't the best about doing good maps. Oftentimes, we would be showing off new maps from the DLC, so we just like skilled was like one of the only good ones. It made for a really, really ridiculous game. But this is a good map for the Empire too. Oh yeah, Romulan Doug. I forgot about Fey-Enchantress. Yeah, you could give the Fey-Enchantress like a cost increase. Yeah. Bretonnia has a pretty absurd win rate in multiplayer. It's like 56, 58% or something. You could probably just nerf the Fey a little bit. Just make her cost like, what, 2 more, and I think you're probably okay. 200 or 300 gold more. I don't know. It's tricky. You might have to change her mechanically too, though. You could also just lower the damage on the Mortis engine effects in general. That might not be a bad idea. I really don't know. Like, big changes before Game 3, it's like... Mortis engines will probably be... I don't know. Mortal Empires for Game 3 is going to be a 3-month wait minimum. I don't think so, Adries. I actually think that we'll get a combined campaign like right away in Game 3. Like, we're going to have the Chaos campaign, right? It's going to be like, you know, it's going to be Cathay, Kislev, and all 4 of the Chaos factions in like a campaign, like just like Vortex. And over the time, DLCs will add other factions to that. And then we're going to have the big combined Mortal Empires, which I think we'll get right away. I really do. I don't think we're going to have to wait. Yeah, I could be wrong, though. So Dactor, seeing if Satsuma is going to pick Lizardmen. We will see. Skilled is kind of a meme map. Yeah, it's really big, and it's just like both sides have a hill. So if you lose the artillery fight, you have to march up the hill at your opponent, which is brutal. So it makes for a very interesting dynamic. But also, I feel a little bit bad because the maps I gave the players were really small and they had trouble deploying their armies. So I want to give them a big map for that. So this tournament's just for fun anyway, so we can try maps that aren't necessarily perfectly balanced. Do you know if all factions will be playable in multiplayer? Oh, for sure. Oh, CA said that the command map will come later. Oh, that's too bad. So yeah, interesting. So you'll have the campaigns for those 6 factions probably, or 7, whatever, and then you'll have. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, so the combined map, they already confirmed that, huh? I hope. Yeah, I'll have to look into that after the stream. I didn't see that, so hyped to see that for sure. Satsuma making his choices. Oh, is it going to be like Haggard Norska? Just remember, you guys remember the Norskin fiasco? How they just didn't get added to the game for like, they were just like in the shadows. Poor Norska. Yeah, it was because of Norska was the problem. They had to like recode all of Norska or something. They had some problem with the code. I wish we could do dedicated servers for these tournaments and like LAN type stuff. So like, let's say I wanted to like, you know, put on an event here in Los Angeles, right? We could like fly a couple players out, you know, and have like an actual esports event and have like a dedicated server. You know, I've always wanted to do stuff like that for this game, but it just becomes so hard with, like, I'd love to have an event at a venue in Los Angeles, like in a small kind of, you know, digital arena type space, you know, get the players there in person, do interviews, like, you know, get sponsors for the event, do all that kind of stuff. But without dedicated servers and just like the Haggard potato connections between players, that can happen. It would just ruin events like that. So I don't know. Maybe we'll still try and do that. It's been something that's been on my old bucket list here. Grant, thank you. Because I there's some places in LA that are pretty good, like esports centers where you can go and they do all the production work for you. You just give them the graphics and the and they literally do everything. You just have to like cast, and you can like have the players come and play in person, and we could do like interviews and like really make it like a nice production. I'd love to do something like that. Yeah, I probably still will. It would be a bit of an investment. So like rent one of those esports places can be, and also the engineer to help you would probably be like well over, you know, I don't know, I would probably guess like $2,000. It's not that big of a thing, but I'd like to get the players there in person too. And domestic flights aren't that expensive, so it would just be, it's a shame because flying people from Europe would be really pricey. But people in the States wouldn't be that bad. Like flying from, you know, California to like anywhere in the States really isn't going to be that bad. Yeah, but we can't have LAN though, unfortunately, because I just think I don't know if you can even. It would have to be on the Steam servers. I don't think they have that. Lachlan owns a esports bar. Oh, right on, dude. Hell yeah. That sounds super fun. One of my dreams my entire life has actually been to open a local game store, like an LGS. Yeah, like do Warhammer and Magic, and also stream out of it. So I would have like a room where I could stream my YouTube stuff, and yeah, just like make that my whole life, you know. Oh, you're in Australia. No, I was gonna say we could do it. No. Yeah, Australia can be tricky for internet connections too, as you probably know. Grant, thank you again for becoming a member, dude. I'll work something out like that though. I don't know when, but we'll do an event. If we could get like CA to back it somehow too, maybe like put up the prize, that would make it much more feasible. I work in live events, including video game tournaments. Price is probably closer to 8 to 10K for an extremely small scale. Oh, Brad, that's brutal. Yeah, because we rented we had a tournament, the Skulls for the Skullthorn tournament in Orange County, and we rented a space. I don't know how much, because Creative Assembly paid for that one. I don't know how much they paid for it. So I was just guessing what they paid, but I could ask, so. Yeah. I mean, I can put on a bit of a production myself, but like getting a space and an engineer would be pretty valuable for sure to actually make the quality nice. Yeah. Yeah, thank you for the update, Brad. I used to work in events as well, but not in esports. I was an athletic director, so I used to put on events with several, 1,000 people attending, and I was the director of the events. And but they were sporting events, right? So it'd be like track meets, swimming meets, and basketball tournaments. I used to put on stuff like that, so I'm familiar with like working with vendors and getting equipment and like logistics and all that. But I haven't had that same experience in esports outside of doing it here from my living room. So. Yeah, I'd love to do a live event though, but I would really want to make sure we had our connection. Oh, it's Beastmen! Holy shit! It's a Beastmen rush! I wasn't watching. Damn, I'm hyped, dude. I'm hyped now. Yeah, we'll do a live event someday. I mean, Everchosen was kind of like a very budget version of that, right? But thankfully, Creative Assembly had employees who, obviously were just there already for their job, so they were able to do a lot of the production stuff, but. I have some good visions for what we could do. We'll see. I think doing one in person would be fun. Yeah. Once you include space, server rentals, crew equipment, yeah, it adds up quick. Yeah, I bet it does, Brad. I bet it does. Yeah, because at my old job I used to work at, most of the people who would, because it was for a nonprofit, so most of the people who would help me run the event were volunteers. So I didn't have to budget for that as much. I just had to budget more for like equipment and venue costs and things like that. Because it was a nonprofit, right? So people would just, volunteer and all that. Likes for the cows. Yeah, if you're enjoying the cows, man, drop a like. I know the Beastmen are making an appearance today. But, I mean, Satsuma, hopefully he knows this map. We picked Skilled, but the Empire will have the high ground for sure. Yeah. Microsoft put up $50,000 for the last. Okay, so quick question. I know Age of Empires 2 has a fairly substantial esports scene. That's pretty it's still going strong. Like, how many people tune in to watch those streams? Like, if you have like, let's say an average tournament, like the equivalent of like an ECL or a stream like this, for example. Like, how many people would you see watching Age of Empires like esports stream? I'm genuinely curious, because I'm not terribly familiar with that scene. Like, I know what Warcraft 3 looks like. Alright, we're loading in. Let's go, baby. Simon Benjamin says, I'd be up for supporting IRL meetup event, get more people hyped for... Yeah, Simon, I know we talked about that. Once... You and I, we'll have to reconvene once we see what Warhammer 3 looks like and the multiplayer for that and everything. We can... You and I can definitely meet and chat. 100%, man. 5K top streamer on Twitch. Okay, that's pretty big, yeah. So you're saying 30 to 40,000 for the mainline event. Somebody says 80,000, 10K, 10,000 for most tournaments. Yeah, so it has a pretty well developed esports scene. That's pretty big. That's like really respectable for sure. It's better than Warcraft 3. Warcraft 3 gets like what, 3 to 5,000, I think. Well, anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000 depending on who's playing and stuff. What's really nice about, you know, these other games though is you don't have to have community driven rules. Yeah, which is a big part of it. That's what makes Total War Esports tricky, is like all that. Max viewership was 76,000. That's really impressive. I mean, I think the peak for Ever Chosen that we had was probably around 20. Like for the best Ever Chosen, I can't remember. Because I think there was like 10 on Twitch and like 10 on YouTube or something. I can't remember, but I think it was around 20 or 30,000 for Ever Chosen at its peak. Which is still a great accomplishment for sure. For a game that was designed for single player to be made into like an esport, it's pretty cool. Thanks for doing these streams. They don't have the WA. Well, my plan for the channel, obviously, is I'm always going to be covering Total War until the sun and stars die. As long as there's a multiplayer aspect to it, I'll cover campaign as well and future titles. But I also really plan on covering the Frost Giant Studios, their next big RTS game they're doing. I'm going to try and get super involved in that and do like live casting and things like that, if they'll have me, of course. But I really want to get involved in the next big RTS esport, real-time strategy, which it looks to be the Frost Giant Studios, the game they're working on. Also, on top of that, at some point in the next like 8 months, I'll be starting a second YouTube channel where I just do cover Magic the Gathering. So it's just going to be like a Magic the Gathering like Let's Play situation where I basically just play Magic, you know, put up a couple games a week and yeah, just do that. So that's kind of the agenda there. And that's that. Chris! Damn! Chris Zimmerman coming in with the balls deep hundy. Cows for the Cow God. Well, I feel like with your blessings, the cows will have to win here. Yeah, I'll cover Age of Empires 4 too when that comes out. 100%. Dude, Chris, thank you so much, man. Holy shit. Cows for the Cow God. Well, hopefully your Beastmen will not disappoint you. Regardless, Satsuma is up a game, so he's got a little bit of a cushion. And we'll see how this goes. I played Valheim, yeah. Valheim was fun. You know, once you finish the game, though, it kind of like, it's not something I would play over and over. All right. Here it is, my friends. Let's take a look. For the Great Satsuma, it's going to be Ungor's vanguarding. Not too close, though. Just right out of the deployment zone. We have a massive Mino spawn bus. Holy shit. Look at this. Look how many Minotaurs and Chaos Spawn there are. Oh my god. It goes across the entire deployment zone. Dude. Look at that. Holy shit. We also have Morker the Shadowgave, a Bray Shaman of Shadows, as well as a Bray Shaman of the Wild, with a very light Centaur core. I mean, 5 Centaurs and some Harpies as well, but that is stretching into the sunset. I played Age of Empires 2 when I was a kid, but I haven't played it as an adult, so. Dude, look at that. God damn. God damn, Joe Rogan. And now for the forces of Sigmar and Dactyr. He has the high ground. The Sunmaker, great cannons. Okay, so he's got 3 or 4 great cannons. Looks like 4. Backed up by the Sunmaker. Then we also have Huntsmen with Flagellants, Sigmar Sons. Just waves and waves of state troopers. Now, my big concern for this Empire army is I don't see that many spears. I see a couple, no spears and halberds, so that Beastman rush might be able to get there. Volkmar, plus a Bright Wizard. Good choice as always, and that is that. Dude, this is going to be so good. It's going to be just like a haggard Beastman herd charging across the snowy wasteland, their fur keeping them warm. And yeah, just getting blasted by artillery. I mean, what's not to like? What's not to like? Bubba's Big Blast. Death to cows. You got the Morker emoji. I love it. Do you hear boss music? Dude, look at this army. Holy shit. Look at the beautiful cinematic, too. Just the Empire standing ready to meet the Bray herd. Dactyr says, whoa, this sure is a map. Good luck, have fun. Oh god, the elevation is much worse than I thought, says Satsuma. Neither of them expecting this, dude. Oh my god, the haggard Mino bus is on the way. I'm so excited for this. Jack McDowell says, moo hype, let the moos flow through you. Yes. The Beastmen trying to let us know that, you know, they still got some chops here. Nice little fireball goes into the Bray Shaman of Shadows. Not too devastating, especially since Beastmen have 2 casters. They could just spam Vile Tide all day on State Troopers and they'll be okay. Dude, that is so much shit. That is so much stuff for sure. Well, but I told the players what the map looked like. I said it's huge and there's a valley in the middle with 2 hills on either side. So both players had the opportunity, you know, to adjust their builds accordingly. But I think Satsuma, knowing that he is up a game, took a risk. He picked the Beastmen because it's a win-win. If Satsuma wins this, you know, the Beastmen hype is, you know, Just out the window, you know, it's just up there, sky high, everybody's hyped, and, you know, it's a win. But if he loses, then we get a game 3. And it's still fun because people like the Empire too. This is like totally a win-win. Yeah, win-win situation. The Mino Bus. Dude, how many Minotaurs in spawn are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There is a combination of 14 spawn in Minotaurs when you combine those units. Man, you're mooing stations, I know. These Beastmen are like, we're strong, independent Beastmen who don't need no DLC. Harpies fly in a little bit early. Bit of a mistake there by Satsuma. Should probably just wait for the infantry to kind of get a little bit closer. Or take the Harpies up and around so the Huntsmen don't get those like really cost-effective shots on them. The cannons are doing their best to shoot into the monstrous units, but the Sigmarite front line is about to take a bit of a pounding for sure. But, you know, they got waves and waves of stuff for sure. You can see they have, you know, swordsmen and flagellants to take the beating in the front. Then they have, you know, more elite troops like great swords as well as Sigmar Sons in the secondary. Hellstorm rocket batteries teeing off into the Centaur throwing axes, and that's quite nice. But this is going to be a big flank overload. Oh my god, look at the wave of cows. Minotaurs with great weapons, are they going to charge the flagellants is the question. Probably not the most cost-effective trade for them, but it looks like they're all bull rushing into the middle. I'm surprised 2 of the Minotaurs aren't taking on these Knights of the Blazing Sun here. That would be a very, very decisive fight. Viletide going down on top of the flagellants as the Ungors do move in, and now the Minotaur train engaging into the Sigmarite front line. More Minotaurs surging in, but oh, a brutal downhill charge, and you can see, man, those Minotaurs with shields going to get melted by the Knights of the Blazing Sun. Not Sigmarites, but, you know, for the sake of this battle, we'll call them Sigmarites. And they do get in, and those Minotaurs get shreked. Oh my god, they got sent back to the swamp. Look at that, brutal, brutal damage. A downhill charge from that heavy shock damage. Certainly not how they wanted to be starting this battle. But a nice pendulum response, a really, really good overcasted pendulum coming in from the Beastmen. Nails the Reiksguard Knights, it nails the Knights of the Blazing Sun. It really does a massive amount of damage to those greatswords. And now the Bray Herd is overwhelming the flank. 2 units of greatswords, terrified, beaten down here, and the Minotaur bus has really overloaded here and is trying to push through. And the Empire doing its best to get some saturated firepower via the Huntsmen here. But yeah, that Beastmen train is moving on. And here on the flanks, what do we got? We got Ungors fighting against State Troopers. More or less a, no, not super interesting fight here, but we do also have Harpies jumping on the Sunmaker, and more Minotaurs and Spawn trying to push through. But the Empire here, taking quite a bit of damage. You can see they're sending in the Spearmen now. 1 cannon position is about to be compromised, and the Spawn, of course, are unbreakable. Huntsman trying to fall back up the hill, but the Bray Herd, really, really aggressive push here on the flank, as we do get Centaurs with throwing axes, sitting kind of idle here. They can definitely be chasing these units off. This fighting position actually very, very good for the Beastmen. The fact that the Empire deployed so far back means that many of their units are breaking off the back of the map, right? Like in normal circumstances, 29 Reiksguard Knights would definitely come back, but with the Beastmen so close nearby, those Reiksguard are going to go right off the edge of the battlefield. And guys, the train is still going. It's still going strong. Look at this. Minotaurs and Spawn just surging all over the Empire battle lines. And the Empire is being forced to fall back. They have won this side of the battlefield to an extent. They have a cannon here. It looks like they have a great cannon here, which is heavily obstructed. And the Knights of the Blazing Sun and Reiksguard Knights are all falling back while Burning Head goes down. Nice little tickling of the pickle there on those Ungors. Nothing terribly substantial. But yeah, Morkar's still bumping and grinding, man. This battle is pretty damn close. The balance of power has not budged from the middle. The Beastmen army has obviously taken some heavy, heavy damage, but this is where the Empire potentially wins the game, right? They send in all these state troopers, and the Huntsmen and the cannons and the remnants of whatever firepower they have continue to tee off into the army, and it seems like they're doing that. Knights of the Blazing Sun with another downhill charge, a beauty for sure. Check this out, and here you can see the state troopers holding valiantly. Some of the Gorbals being ping-ponged, but it looks like he hammered the Witches offline, while Volkmar the Grim drops the Sabaton beats, and really, really gives a nice little encouragement here to the troopers, although it looks like they're still breaking. The Empire Knights up on the high ground, the Reiksguard as well as the Knights of the Blazing Sun, going to be rushing in to kind of plug the hole in their army. This was a bit of an opening, right? If the Beastmen had gotten through, the Huntsmen here would have been compromised, and that would have been a disaster. But this is the valiant hold of the Sons of Sigmar. The Reiksguard Knights, of course, very, very tanky compared to Knights of the Blazing Sun. Better armor, better melee defense, just all around a more tanky cav unit. And the Huntsmen need to turn and start shooting, and it looks like they are going to do that. Really need to rip some shots into the Minotaurs. The Chaos Spawn, of course, are unbreakable, and now it looks like the Sons of Sigmar are getting a little bit of a reprieve, as many of the Centaurs and other units are starting to break off, but more Centaurs have kind of penetrated through the front line, shutting down that cannon, and now have gotten on top of the Huntsman units, while the Beastmen grind continues. And look at this, the flank coming in from the Black-Horned Ravagers, and they're able to get in and start really, really melting these Huntsman units. Those Huntsmen getting ambushed Pretty brutal stuff. Also, Centaur's collapsing. This is exactly what the Beastmen need to do to win because, you know, the Spawn and the Minotaurs can really bump and grind very effectively. But oh no, some of the Beastmen actually get a little bit trapped up here without support up on the high ground. Look at this. 3 or 4 units of Minotaurs and Spawn overextend, including the Butchers of Kalkengard. I mean, they're fighting a good fight, but with Volkmar up there and the Huntsman firepower and the Flagellants, that's a tricky pickle. Whereas a lot of the Beastmen power and meat is down here with Morkr, right? But this is a huge win for the Empire. Huge win. I think the Butchers of Kalkengard probably need to pull back, get down the hill, and reunify with Morkr. They need to form like a bit of a Death Star. Although the Minotaur is fighting pretty well considering, but Grand Shield of Faith and the Hammer of Sigmar really buffing up these cavalry units to make them much better in sustained combat. Butchers of Kalkengard, -4 leadership, 1 leadership, -4. Oh man, they are just back and forth, and it looks like they're finally going to be breaking, which is a big victory. Now, Spawn Summon coming out from ya boy Morkr. Quite good, you know, the good DPS against many of the state troopers, but all the cannons are offline. Like, what you see here is the last of the Imperial forces making their valiant stand here in the trees, while the Beastmen and the Bray Herd also very damaged, but and there are some Empire forces kind of rallying back here, and we'll see how that goes. Morkr moving up the hill. Ungor Spearmen, a couple other units. Chaos Spawn also still functional. It looks like we do have 8 Spawn here, as well as only 2 there. Very damaged. The Blackhorn's Ravager is proving to be invaluable here as they cut through the Flagellants and also shut down some of the Huntsmen. Morkr and company moving in. This is such a razor-close game, man. Razor-close. But now that the Beastmen have gotten into melee very close to the Huntsman units, their functionality will be greatly diminished. Wow, and look at this. 42 Harpies coming. Oh, this could be big. Those Harpies rear charging into the Huntsmen might actually break several of them. Viletide going down, but also the Grand Soulfire Bombardment going down from Volkmar the Grim on top of the Ungor Spearmen was a pretty masterful play, but Beastmen surging forth with reinforcements. Harpies coming in will be charging into the Huntsmen here. Their leadership goes from 60-something to 54. Not too bad, but the Harpies should wear them down pretty quick. It honestly looks like the Beastmen are running out of steam a little bit. I think Dactyr is pulling this game back. I think the Beastmen had a pretty good situation until those Minotaurs pushed up and stayed in sustained combat. I think if the Minotaurs had stayed with your boy Morkr on the lower ground, I think it could have been a very different kind of outcome here. But, you know, Morkr versus Volkmar could be the late game fight. I mean, the Empire doesn't have much left either. Both players are just really just fighting for air here. As Volkmar gets the duel against Morkr, the Pimp Claw is in action. Morkr does have really good magic resist, but he's also weak to fire, so it's kind of like, you know, somewhere in the middle. Oh, the Knights are broken, but now we have Spearmen moving in. The Sigmarites charging in the 4th quarter, but now the Beastmen have the high ground as they fight with their corrupted cow leader. Harpies doing an excellent job. Harpies could also be a big deciding factor. Just got rear charging units breaking them. There's still a Bray Shaman, a couple Spawn units, not much mass left. Morkr looks to be diving downhill here. Yeah, you know, the Beastmen only have their Hero Core and a couple Spawn and Harpies left, whereas the Empire has a lot of stuff via the Greatswords and Volkmar, but yeah, it's going to be a close fight. I mean, do the Beastmen have anything else around the rest of the map? Okay, look at this. Ungor's coming up on the from the low ground here. If Morkr can endure that long. Call of Violence going down, which does give a temporary leadership buff, but still the Harpies waver and get terrified. But Morkr is getting in there with his Pimp Claw. Is he going to be able to do it? Find out on the next episode as the Bray Shaman of the Wilds continues to fight. Morkr going after the Bray Shaman, not Morkr, excuse me. Volkmar, which is 100% the right choice. A very easy kill here. But could this be a Wild Morkr game? Also, is there going to be a pendulum? If there is a pendulum in the 4th quarter, that could be devastating against these very tightly packed greatswords. Really good play here by Dactyr, getting Volkmar the Grim to go down and actually run over these Ungor Spearmen herd. Yeah, getting the support away from Morkr is really smart. So they'll be breaking in a matter of seconds. Look at this. The Sunmaker crew is getting down, and Soulfire Bombardment. Oh, Volkmar the Grim, the cultural faith leader of the Empire, dropping a massive bombardment. Going to be sending those Ungors running back to the Chaos Gods. And it looks like a Viletide going down. Okay. Bray Shaman getting some nice magic, but look at this. The Greatswords all sitting and just resting on the side. They're like taking turns. They know how tanky he is. And Morkr is going to withdraw from the game. And the Sons of Sigmar claim victory in an absolute scrap of a game. That was so close. Holy shit. Well played to both players. I thought the Beastmen had that, then I thought the Empire had it. It just was such a good back and forth scrap. Volkmar 26, Morkr got only 600, but of course he usually doesn't get good value. Dude, that build was just epic. Epic game. Wow. Insane one. Alright, so we'll get one more map. We'll do a normal map this time. We'll do Summer Song. Map set, Dactyr, picks 3. Dude, that game was so good. Sad move, but yeah, it's a sad... that's not All right, guys, let's be clear here. That was not a sad moo. Yeah, that was like a melancholy moo. You know, they're like sad but also happy because it happened, you know? Don't smile. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Yeah, it was good. The dreaded map edge ended up hurting us both pretty bad. Yeah, it did. So many of the Empire cavalry routed off early. Yeah, it was fun. That was a really fun game. Those are melancholy cow noises. Come on. Not quite like sad. Somewhere in between. Really great constant flow. Yeah, I know. That was a really good one. The Empire endures just barely, dude. Just barely. All right, so now we're on game 3 here. Scoreboard's updated. Dactyr banning greenskins. And he's going to pick his 3 now. Yeah, Morcar can get decent value. He can. Yeah, he's very durable if you just like, you know. Not if you already did. Yeah. Yeah. So Dactyr tried to ban greenskins again, but he already banned them earlier, so you can't just ban them every single game. So Satsuma is a greenskin mate. So I actually legit do want to see a greenskin large funds battle. I'm curious how they'll function, you know? Nonchalant moo. I think that's more accurate, Cacophony. Bargaining stage moo. That's my favorite. Bargaining stage moo. Like, all right, let's negotiate the emotional degree of this moo here. That was just like a lore battle for sure. Yeah. Volkmar does not have perfect vigor now. No. No. No mirror. Please. No, they're joking about it. No, I do not want a greenskin mirror. This has been such a good event. No, do not tarnish the event with a greenskin mirror at the end. Please no GS mirror. It's been so good. Please. All right. No greenskin mirror here. Oh my god. Giving me some stress here. Goodness gracious. All right, so we get yep, Dwarves, Chaos, and Skaven. Dude, they made my heart skip a beat. No mirror match. No, it's not happening, guys. We're safe. We're safe, Lola. You hear us? We're safe. All right, so let's see what they got. Satsuma actually saying he doesn't want to play greenskins and ultra funds. Saying he's kind of sick of them, so. It's not happening, guys. We're safe. No, I don't want it deep in my soul. No, there's no part of me that wants a greenskin mirror match to end the finals. No. It would be a proper scrap. I hope your CPU and GPU have cooling. Yeah, they do. They do. They got some nice cooling systems in there, so. Should be all right. I'm going to, you know, after the stream, I'll turn it off and let it cool down and stuff, so. Yeah, it's 88 degrees in here right now, even with the air going. It's LA classic. And it's like humid and muggy too. Like the skies are like kind of cloudy. It's weird. All right, so now Satsuma here is on the exchange. We'll see what he does in response. Hold on, guys. I'll be back in 1 second. Just going to let Lola get some fresh air. Come on, Lola. Can I go on the front porch? Let's go party, Lola. Yes. Here you go. God damn, it's even worse outside. Damn, it's a real scorcher today. Oh. So it begins, Anakin. I feel it was an epic move for real. Yeah. That was a really, really good one. That was a great match. Welcome to hurricane season for me anyway, Florida is. Yeah. Florida is pretty brutal. I went to Florida when I was a kid, and I remember arriving in the summer, and it was just like, it was just really, 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 really humid. All right, so, oh, all hail the mighty. Yes. So it's going to be Coast versus either Chaos or Skaven. Dude, I love Vampire Coast on large ultra funds. It's so much fun to see. Man, imagine how hype it's going to be when the Beastmen actually come out with their new DLC. Lola's just on the front porch terrorizing everyone who walks by. She just sits there like a little gargoyle and barks at everyone who walks by. She's back inside. I'm not sure what she's doing, but she's crawling around. What's really good about greenskins? They just have very cost-effective units. Yeah. That are just a little bit underpriced and very functional. So, Jay Cassidy, my stream times are kind of random, to be honest. I don't have a set schedule. So, yeah, it's probably one of the biggest flaws of my channel. But when Warhammer 3 comes out, I will have a set schedule. Yeah, I'm gonna have like, so you guys will know when you can catch the streams. That will be a thing. I'm gonna have like a calendar published somewhere. I'm not sure, but yeah, we'll get there. Because yeah, I'll be pretty busy. Like when Warhammer 3 comes out, I'll be definitely like full-time streaming more or less. Like three to four, probably 3 Warhammer streams a week. Like Saturday and then like 1 on the weekend and 2 during the week, like Tuesday, Thursday, and then I'll also be streaming Magic twice, 2 to 3 times a week, and then maybe doing some like Warcraft 3 and stuff like that occasionally as well. Yeah, so there'll be schedules coming out. Like I see that like Lionheart, he puts up his streaming schedule, and I think that's really nice. All right, so we got Chaos vs. Coast. Yeah. All right. We've seen Chaos perform very well today, but now it's going to be Chaos vs. Coast. A Coast vs. Skaven gunfight would have been super fun. Like just like 5 Rattling Gunners, 5 Giselles, just freaking going ham on like, you know, all the powder weapons and stuff. Yeah, I could put it in community post for sure. I definitely could. Something I do plan on doing. I'm not very good at web design, unfortunately, but I want to hire someone to do a very simple website for me, which is like a Total War esports website. So essentially what it would be is it's just a very simple, like only a couple pages website that has a calendar that I can put all my tournaments and streams into, and other creators that, you know, obviously I know, and, you know, they put on good tournaments and stuff, can post their tournaments there too. So for example, if anybody wants to like see tournament schedules, when the streams are going to be, they can go and like check this out. That's like something I've been wanting to do. And there'll be like informational pages on like the tournament rules, and just really simple, nothing too crazy, but just like a centralized place where people can go and just get all that information. Because it's very spread out, you know, among Discords and things like that and different people. So like, for example, I could like give access to people like tournament hosts, so they could go on that website and they could like post their tournaments on there. Yeah, Cassidy for sure. I'll do that. I do post on Twitter usually. Like today I did a Twitter post of when it's going to start. So if you follow me on Twitter, that's good as well. All right. I actually tried to make that website myself, but I just like am such dog shit at with technology and web design and graphic design. I got frustrated and just gave up. Yeah. So I know I talked about it a while back. Yeah, if you're interested in it, you know, shoot me a message in Discord. Yeah, Lady Turn can definitely do the graphics and stuff. Yeah, if you just shoot me a message in ye olde Discord or something, then we can chat about it. Just something really simple, you know, that I can update myself. Like I need to be able to update it like on the back end, so it's not like some crazy format, you know. Yeah, my name for sure, but there's some features I want my name that would be probably a little bit like beyond what I could do with the basic services, like, so I would need some help with that. Yeah. Leapok, have I ever thought about partnering with some esport organization like TSM? Yeah, I mean, of course, if they would be interested, but I mean, I don't know if they'd be interested. Yeah, I don't even know where to begin with that. Nathan, thanks for becoming a member. Struggle through it. See, Fire Knight, I would have struggled through it, but the problem with me is when I was doing it, I had hand problems. So I would spend like 4 or 5 hours learning it and clicking and doing all this shit, and then my hands would start to hurt. And then I would go to, you know, record for my channel, and then my hands would hurt, and then I wouldn't want to record, and because my hands hurt, and it's just like a vicious cycle. So I probably would need some help with that. Yeah. Yes. Never give up, never surrender. Do you think maybe that, yeah, the esports scene for Total War will definitely grow in 3? I don't know to what heights it'll go, but it'll be bigger than now for sure. You know, because they're putting some effort into multiplayer, so. Yeah. It definitely has the potential to grow. The biggest limiting factors for growth are the fact that we have to self-govern, and we can't the tournament rules and engagement rules, which make the game actually functionable and watchable in multiplayer, are not able to be enforced in ladder, which is the gateway, right? So for example, imagine if you went into like League of Legends, right, and like there was just dirty shit cheese people could do to you that was just so unfun to play against. You would probably not even like want to play that game more. So the problem with our game is that newer players are often scared away from playing and getting into it because of like how crappy that is. Now, when you're in a tournament, of course, or a structured event, you know, you are playing in Discords with people, like you're not going to run into that. But like for so many people, their first entry point is quick battles, right? So if the game itself could, if we could come to a point where the game governs itself, like so if CA is able to effectively implement domination mode and we don't have to police engaging rules, forest rules, army limits anymore, we don't have to do any of that shit and the game can just flourish on its own, that would be probably the biggest step forward for getting a really, really good, you know, esport. That's hands down the biggest thing. Will it happen? I don't know. Even if it doesn't, you know, even if that doesn't happen, we'll still have a great community. We're going to have a great esports community just like we do now, but better. And we're going to put on badass tournaments and it's going to be super fun. But, you know, that would be what I think needs to happen to take it to the next level. Because like what big, you know, RTS esport or game in general, do you see that like the casters and admins have to be there like slapping a player's hand if they do something, you know? It's really just not like a good thing. Yeah. Yeah, I stopped playing League of Legends in like 2014 or something, 2015. Yeah. But, you know, it's all good. We'll see what happens. Either way, we're going to have a good time and we're going to build the community to the best of our abilities. You know, we'll do the best we can with what we have, but Greeny says, I have trouble getting into multiplayer. I've only played 3 games and I haven't tried since. I enjoy watching. Yeah, makes sense. Andy says, Turin, I've got a proposal for you. Ultra funds large armies FFA with halflings from OVN. Holy shit. The amount of cockerel riders we would see would just be out of control. Yeah. Yeah, Guac. That's exactly what I'm saying, Guac. Yeah, esports is going to require CA to make a game mode that doesn't require 4 pages of rules. Exactly. Exactly. And we're hoping domination. The game has to stand on its own. Hey, Dries, hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what we've been saying here. And domination mode is a hope. It's a hope, you know. It's the right direction. And it could work out. Like if domination mode has army limits that are functional and are relatively well balanced and updated, and then the objectives are enough of a deterrent to punish draw kiting and cycle charge cheese and shit like that, you know, then yeah, then we're good to go, man. Sign me the hell up. You know, because like maybe cycle charging won't be as punishing if they're just holding the objective, and like if you have like a flying monster, it's just like in tabletop 40k, right? You have objectives and flying units, like for example, like a big flying jet can't like hold the objective like a foot-based troop can, and even if it cycle charges that character, they're slowly going to lose the game. If we are able to get that, like a functional experience where we don't have to police any of that shit, dude, oh my god, it's going to be next level. Yeah, dedicated servers are definitely nice, but I don't think that'll happen. That's not the most important thing. What's also really important is that they take out, they get rid of the piece of shit Steam ladder, okay? That is just terrible, clunky. I played on the Steam ladder for the early days of Warhammer 2. I had like something like 1,000 wins, and I was like top ranked on the ladder. You know, I was in like the top 50 or whatever, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, yeah, it's kind of a fun thing to have as like a record. One day I wake up, all my shit is wiped. I'm like rank 5,000 on the ladder. They deleted all my shit, and it happened to a bunch of people I knew. They're just like, and it wasn't a reset. It just randomly deleted our shit. On top of that, like 80% of ladder games I play are against people who are new or just nowhere near the skill level of like tournament players, you know? And it's just like the MMR system is so bad. I don't even know if it exists. But they need to take over the ladder. If CA has their own ladder in the game that they can reset, and it's a functional ladder, oh my god, with some sort of an aesthetic reward, that is the shit. Sign me the hell up for that, because that's what we really need. And honestly, I do think that's going to happen. I think that something like that will happen, you know. I think we're going to get our own ladder. I think it will happen. For domination mode especially. Yeah. It's so dumb. But, you know, I'm not too worried about it right now. Because, like, I don't expect anything to change in Warhammer 2. But Warhammer 3, that's their opportunity to right the grudge, you know, to strike the grudge out of the book. Objective, yeah, Hadries, I agree with you. Objective points plus Creative Assembly's current unit caps could be enough. Yeah, because the current unit caps aren't quite as balanced as like banner rules and things like that. But if objectives become more of a variable, then single entity cheese isn't going to be as much of a thing, right? Because if they run away and kite you with single entities and shit, you're just holding the objective, you win. You know? Like, that changes everything. So, yeah. I'd grind the hell out of that. Dude, guac, me too. If we have a good functional ladder, I will be doing like live stream ladder pushes. 100%. Oh yeah. And I do think that's going to happen. I have faith, you know, I have faith that that'll happen. The fact that we're getting domination mode, you know, in the interview we had with CA about Warhammer 3, you know, that I have up on the channel, you know, when we asked them about a new ladder and multiplayer shit, they're like, we can't talk about that yet. Like, we can't talk about that. It's like, that's always a sign that it's coming. You know, because my next question was like, are we getting an army painter? They're like, no. Are there going to be changes to the multiplayer ladder and this stuff? They're like, we can't talk about that. It's like, okay, the answer is yes, but we just can't explain the details, you know? So I think the future is very bright for this game in multiplayer and campaign, of course. But yeah. Anyways, hopefully you guys don't mind the rant. Those are just some thoughts that I have that I figured we could all share and just kind of process together. Let me go shut my front door. All right. All righty, Captain. We're all set. Old Gimp Arm's coming back. All righty, should be good. So, my friends, the fate of Middle-earth is upon us. Or the old world, not Middle-earth. Oh my god, bloated corpses from the Satsuma. So he's got a vampire fleet, admiral of a pistol, double gunnery white. No surprises there, pretty common. He's got pentabloat, so 1, 2, 3, 4 bloat in total. Yeah, I think it's a quad bloat actually. Thank you, Nathan Lenz. Hey Turin, found your channel a few weeks ago before a crap storm hit my life, and going through your vids made life bearable. Hey, I'm glad to hear that, man. It's been hard times lately, hasn't it, man? Just so much rough stuff happening. Thanks for these tourneys and how upbeat and awesome you are bringing this community together. Hey, including you. Right on, man. You should get involved in some of these events, man. Start playing some games in the old Discord. Do it to it. Hell to the yeah, man. Thank you so much, Nathan. Appreciate that donation, brother, and hope to see you in some events, and if not, hope to see you in chat. We're doing it. So we got the pentabloat or quad bloat here for you, Nathan. We do also have 5 depth guard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rotting Promethean, Queen Bess, a shit ton of Mourngulls, Necrofex Colossus, Rotting Leviathan, and a bunch of deckhand mob halberds and all that sort of good stuff. I'll do my best this game to focus on the bloated corpses. Now, obviously, this is ladder rules, which means you could actually bring double Colossus. I'm surprised we're not seeing double Colossus. But he does have a crab as well. Who's the Lord, by the way? Yeah, it's just the Admiral here on the Crabbo. So yeah, actually a very melee-focused army for the Vampire Coast. Not looking to gunline against Chaos, but looking rather to meet them. You know, pound for pound, using the Depth Guard and the Mourngulls and all those big monsters. And for the forces of Dactyr, oh yeah, Chosen. Chosen mixed in with Chaos Warriors, backed up by Chosen with great weapons. Oh my god, those Depth Guard are going to get smashed by the Chosen. We do also have Chaos Spawn in the back, Marauder Horsemen to deal with Gunbats, Hounds on the flanks, Sigvald ready to go balls deep, and Chaos Sorcerer of Fire, and a Chaos Sorcerer of Fire as well on the other side. One with Flaming Sword of Ruin, one with Fireball, and Cascading Fire Cloak? No, Fireball and Burning Head. So, yeah, dude, Chosen. Chosen against Coast. I think he metagamed this really well. Maybe kind of predicting that his opponent would go with like a Depth Guard style of play. Dude, this is going to be some shit. Yeah, you know what? If the bloated corpses are able to connect with Chosen, that's like a huge win. Oh, man. Yeah, this is going to be fun. This is every single match we've had today has gone to game 3. This has been a great tournament. We're almost at the 4-hour mark here. And we're going strong. gonna be good, man. It will be good, Anakin. Good. How many gun bats does he have? It looks like 5. Of course, very standard. They are the handgun bats. They'll also be very good against chosen great weapons. Chosen great weapons have no mitigation against missiles except their armor, but obviously these are AP gun bats. So those could be the ones that carry the day. I think the deck dropper. Oh, there's some bombers mixed in too. So, Salt Lord Scuttlers. Check that shit out. So only 2 handguns and then 3 standard bombers. So yeah, chosen versus Bess is a big problem too. Queen Bessie's going to just go ballistic on those chosen, I would imagine. We do have the Shade Wraith Gunners, but aside from that, the only firepower is Colossus, Shade Wraith, as well as Queen Bessie. And of course, 2 Gunnery Wights, both of which I would assume have Scab's Graith. Looking here, yep, Scab's Graith and extra powder. It's going to be good. Coast going melee against Chaos, it can be a little bit dicey, but Mourngulls actually trade pretty effectively with Marauders and Chaos Warriors. If you don't have like Halberd Warriors, the Mourngulls can really sustain through their damage because they do have the hunger. And yeah, they hit like trucks, so... Coast is definitely not without tools. Scurvy Dogs hiding in the back for the Satsuma. Satsuma. Yes. Got the name right that time. So we got Scarlet in chat saying, never really cared about ladder / ranked game mods. To be honest, I'm a part of your streams. Never a fan of competitive gameplay. Never saw a good thing in having this meta. Yeah, the meta is, it's competitive. Like the really high level sweaty competitive stuff is really fun. But it's nice to have like a palate cleanser every now and then and like switch it up to different formats. Like, I do enjoy the really hyper-competitive stuff, and I tend to play that way from time to time, but then again, adding in formats like this and really changing things up, I think, is the way to go. Every now and then, so. Oh, yeah, look at that. Man, Mr. Pig, super quick on swatting the casino bots. So we once had Slaanesh bots that would raid the streams, and now we have casino bots, which are apparently the next evolution. So which Chaos God would the casino bots follow? Definitely not Nurgle or Korn. Maybe Tzeentch. Yeah, Tzeentch is like the changer of ways, like deceiving you, right? Just like you get deceived at a casino. You know, you think you have a chance of winning, but your odds are just like microscopic, you know? Yeah, the casino bots are definitely agents of Tzeentch. 100%. So, Queen Bessie shooting in, sending a message to Prince Sigvald here. So Sigvald does just narrowly dodge that. Like, what if Queen Bess actually did a lot of damage against single entities? Like artillery like that in general? Like, you know how like when a mortar hits something? Like, if a mortar hits, like, a monster, it does, like, 0 damage. Like, it'd be kind of cool if, like, it actually was, like, reflective. Like, if a mortar did randomly hit a monster, if it actually had some impact. Yeah, Slaanesh is Tzeentch, like, some sort of a... Yeah, it's like a demon prince with the mark of Tzeentch and Slaanesh for casinos, probably. Yeah, Tzeentch, definitely. Because they're asking for your change? Oh, that's funny. All right, so Queen Bessie going in hasn't really made too much contact yet. Queen Bessie... A little bit sad there. On the flank, we do have 2 Direwolves, but this is a really nice play here. I love that Satsuma is using the Scurvy Dogs defensively. I think that's a sign of a very good Vampire Coast player. We see Anticity do that all the time. Very, very good. So these Scurvy Dogs should be able to jump out and wreck those Chaos Warhounds super, super easily. In the meantime, Queen Bessie still dropping a hot payload. It does actually hit the Chaos Warriors. I would imagine now we'll switch on to the Chosen with great weapons, and here it comes, and the base is dropped. A nice shot. Does only take out 1 Chosen, but does a fair amount of HP damage. So Sigvald's making his way downtown. Making my way downtown. Getting in there and being shot by the 2 Gunnery Wights as well as the giant rotting Leviathan. And the gun bats do fly overhead. Deck Chopper Bombers looking for some sweet targets. So far, the Chosen getting beaten up pretty good there. Not losing too many models, though. And I believe these are shielded Chosen. So we have so many elite infantry in this build. It's going to be really tough for Coast to grind through them all. How did this fight go? It looks like we did have that engagement. The Chaos Warhounds charged into the forest, probably realizing they were caught. And it looks like the Direwolves will be able to clean up the Warhounds. That's a really, really big catch for Coast. It takes away the backline pressure. And yeah, now Queen Bessie. Got to be careful with Bess, though. You got to make sure the Halberds are like on top of Bess. The dogs could actually come from the top and shut down Queen Bess, potentially. So the frontline fighting is underway. You can see the Chaos Infantry preparing to meet the deckhand mobs, which of course will be pretty good. And the Mourngulls, look at the huge battle line of Mourngulls just waiting here. That's a very, very cool shot right there. Shade Wraith Gunners shooting into the Marauder Horsemen and or the Chosen with great weapons. And several units of Chosen have been buttered up pretty good. But Chosen have pretty insane leadership, and they're still holding. And just like we talked about, a big mistake coming in here from Satsuma. His halberds weren't on top of Queen Bess. A nice micro by Dactyr. He gets in there, and he butters that sweet bread. And now Queen Bess is dead. Queen Bess is gone. 100%. Man, nice catch. Like, that's the thing with high-level players. They see, like, one little mistake like that. Oh, here comes the bloat. There goes my bloat. Oh, God, that's so good. Oh. And the other bloats, I don't know if we've seen. At least we caught one bloat. Oh, here comes the other one. Oh, my God. Look at this. This is going to be a disaster. Oh, no. 2 units of Chosen and Aspiring Champions, that was so much value. That bloat just absolutely destroyed that Chaos pocket of infantry. And guys, I'm going to say it, that bloated corpse was competitive right there. That was a competitive bloaty boy. He did some good work. So now the Chaos, whole flank up here got buckled really hard. Now the Mourngulls can kind of sweep in and do quite a bit of pressure. Here in the back, Death Gunner's still fighting, but, he lost Queen Bess. Losing Queen Bess was a pretty big disaster. Queen Bess could have easily been defended, but, both players have gotten some nice trades against one another here, so. Depth Guard piling in with the Crabs. Halberds also engaging to fight back against the Tide of Chaos, which is coming around this flank. Marauder Horsemen trying to position themselves here to, fight the Bats. Not sure what this Chaos Sorcerer is doing. It looks like Dactyr may have forgotten that Sorcerer, but now he's on his way in. So right as I see that, he does bring that bad boy in. So that bloat definitely got some value. It nuked a unit of Chosen, Chaos Warriors, and 2 Aspiring Champions, and pretty much put them in the trash can, allowing the Mourngulls to actually sweep in and push back these Chaos Infantry. Normally, they would have had a hard fight on their hands, right? But with the bloat getting in there, softening them up, changes the dynamic of that engagement. Now in the backfield, Halberds holding back. Depth Guard losing pretty badly. Depth Guard, in my experience, don't trade super well here. I mean, Depth Guard versus Chosen is going to be mega one-sided. Chosen are one of the best infantry in the game in terms of just raw trading like this. And you can see the Depth Guard are being pimp-slapped pretty badly. They do have some Halberd support, but these elite warriors of the Dark Gods are able to push in there and just grind them to dust, really. The Mourngull kind of last stand here is really the epicenter of strength here for the coast. It looks like a pistol summon is going down here. And a nice Scabscraith coming in from the Gunnery White does hit some of the infantry. Though Scabscraith really doesn't do much damage against armor targets. It does good damage against light armor. Medium armor it can tickle the pickle of, but generally not too much. Shade Wraith Gunner still shooting though. Coast still does have its gunbat core, which is very important. One handgun unit still quite healthy. The other one on death's bed. Horsemen are circling about trying to get good angles of fire. Here we have Prince Sigvald the Magnificent being extra fancy, fighting against these Depth Guard as well as the Mourngulls here. And now we do have the Vampire Fleet Admiral moving across to try and maybe drop some summons here on this big blob. I think Chaos needs to pull some units out of the blob and maybe try and go around with them. I feel like they have a little bit too much in that one pocket. Could get them caught with some AoE of some sort or Shade Wraith Gunner Fire, Scabscraith, that sort of thing. Close battle though, guys. This is a really close one. Coast getting collapsed on this flank. They do have some Depth Guard over chasing over there, which is a bit of a mistake. Some Scurvy Dogs hiding in the trees, so it looks like they were left there from the initial engagement. Could be used down to chase some units here. But Coast is now surging in with the Salt Lord Scuttlers preparing to drop some bombardments here on the Chaos Forces. Gunnery White and more Depth Guard piling in. So the Depth Guard here are quite healthy and fresh. Well, they're fading, but they're not going to be as tired as the Chaos Warriors. And looks like they're maybe getting ready to collapse there in that position. Really nice bombardment. And the Salt Lord Scuttlers actually team pretty well with Depth Guard because they do Sunder Armor, so the Depth Guard can then cut through the Chaos Infantry a little bit more efficiently. Very close fight, though. It looks like right now Vicious Satsuma is pulling back away from this engagement, realizing that it's kind of a lost cause. So he leaves the Halberds here. He pulls back the Depth Guard. Burning Head going down from the Warriors of Chaos on top of the Halberds there. Does do some pretty substantial damage. And here you can see the Necrofex Colossus still also healthy. And extra powder, too. So the Colossus has plenty of ways to get ammunition with the extra powder. So I think Vampire Coast is going to kind of change into a kiting style of play. I think they're going to start moving around with the Colossus and just, running away from Chaos and using their gun bats to try and win the fights with the extra powder. We've seen this, of course, in the last faction war or some sort of a tournament I had. It might have been ECL. I won't forget to check the value on that bloat, I promise you. But we did see Anticity do that against Chaos, right? He was playing, I think, Lunacy, a really, playing some high-level Chaos players. And yeah, he just kind of didn't lose the initial engagement, but his zombies eventually died. And then he just started running away with the gun bats and using extra powder and really getting good value here. And I can see this game kind of devolving into that style of play here in a moment. Or evolving. It depends on which perspective you're looking at here. So Depth Guard still fighting the good fight. I'm curious to see if any of the Depth Guard units paid for themselves fighting the Aspiring Champions. Colossus just waddling away. What's happening right now is that Satsuma is moving the Colossus away from the fight, just trying to get separation. At that point, he'll just move a Gunnery White over there, give it some extra powder, live long and prosper, and do all that sort of good stuff. Sigvald's still here too, though. Sigvald's going to be an absolute pain to get rid of. Gunbats, a little bit sparse on ammo. A little bit sparse. Some Scurvy Dogs in the trees would be moderately useful right now. Not crazy useful, but they could come over here, for example, and chase down these Rotting Horsemen and keep them from becoming a variable, to cycle charge you in the late game. So bats, how are they doing? Handgun bats here, pretty healthy. These bats are healthy, but these Salt Lord Scuttlers jumping into melee, which I think was a misclick. I think he meant to use the bombardments, but yeah, the Salt Lord Scuttlers probably need to get back. Looks like an Invocation actually being used on the Scuttlers. Very odd choice for sure, considering you have Depth Guard, your Vampire Fleet Admiral, and a Colossus all on the battlefield. So we will see. Where, oh, where is the extra powder? Probably still plenty of charges. And now Vampire Coast is, again, moving into a more mobile style of play, where they're just going to be kind of moving after the weaker links here in the Chaos Army, looking for value wherever they can on the battlefield, really, and we'll see if they can find it. Scurvy Dogs coming in for the rear charge might be able to break these Chosen. Chosen have pretty crazy leadership, but they do go negative right there, as they are at -4. So the Doggos rear charging in. I mean, even the mighty champions of the Chaos Gods are not going to enjoy that, being attacked in the back. And I'm trying to think of somebody who might enjoy that in this game. No, I don't know. We'll have to think about that one there. Depth Guard, all hands hoy active, giving a nice leadership buff. Depth Guard are okay in the grind. They have the hunger, so in these kind of late stage bump and grind battles, they can get some decent value. But the problem is Sigvald. Sigvald is going to be a mess to deal with. He is going to be able to get in there, and you can see he himself is really putting a massive hurt on these Depth Guard, which are probably trading downwards. Pretty hardcore against like Spawn, Aspiring Champions, and Chosen. Like Depth Guard are not going to have any good trades there. A really nice zombie summon though is quite clutch. It does give the Depth Guard some buffering, so they don't have to be the ones eating all the attacks while they continue to fight back. And the gun bats are about out of ammo. A little bit left on each of them. Maybe like 1 or 2 volleys on each of those guys, depending on which one we're looking at going into them. But where's the extra powder being used? Not in the Colossus, actually. Must be used on the Gunnery Whites. Where the hell are the Gunnery Whites, by the way? Are they creating separation somewhere, or are they just like in this fight and I just can't see them? Okay, it looks like, yeah, the Vampire Fleet Admiral's fighting in there. Depth Guard getting a big overcasted invo, which is pretty nice, it looks like, or maybe just a single target. No, just single target invo, so he didn't have enough magic for that. The 2 Gunnery Whites fighting over here. Chaos pulling ahead pretty hardcore, though. Coast does not have that much left. Balance of power really going into the favor of the Dark Gods here, and Dactyr, actually. So Dactyr getting some really solid wins today. You know, potentially if he pulls this one out, you know, he was... Dactyr, before the first game he had against Alfredino earlier in the tournament, was saying, you know, oh, there's no way I'm going to win this against Alfredino, and probably was thinking a similar thing here in the finals, but clearly he's shown he is a mighty champion indeed. Last time I played Dactyr, he beat me pretty good. Oh my god, look at this. Oh, wow. Chaos with the tactical reserves. The flex. Guys, look at this shit. He had a whole unit of spawn and war, and Chosen with great weapons sitting over there. He won the game without those units. Wow. I mean, on Ultra Funds, it's not as much of a loss, but, dude. And Chaos is able to win the day. GG, well played. And the victor for today is going to be Dactyr. An ODM victory. Well played. Well played indeed. So looking at the armies, I mean, Vicious Satsuma really winning our hearts over, though. Oh, look at that. That's got to be a record. The bloat. 1,800 value on a bloat. That's got to be a record for an actual tournament. I've seen it in casual gameplay, like replays that you'll see on people's channels, but in an actual tournament with like a prize at stake, I don't think I've ever seen a bloat get 1,800 value. Not just steal Dactyr Sunder or anything. That was look at the Chosen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Chosen. Man, the large scale really changes that, because elite infantry actually become good. I actually think elite infantry are pretty legit on many of these large funds battles, which is really cool. Yeah, dude, 1,800 value bloat, 900, 800. Dude, all these bloats just like doubled their value. The most effective unit was probably the bloat. Depth Guard, 600, yeah. 1,200, 1,300, and yeah, so Depth Guard hit and miss. Morngul's, of course, kind of got karate chopped. Crabs didn't do very well. Colossus, of course, did great. And Queen, a big part of that was losing Queen Bess. Queen Bess had so much more to give to this world. She could have helped clear out the Chosen, but Queen Bess dying early to the Hounds was pretty problematic. But, you know, it's so hard to keep track of all that shit. So, you want the Chosen value? Not that crazy. I mean, 1,000 there. But the thing is, yeah, 2,800 on these great weapon Chosen. Holy shit. The thing that... The Chosen were all alive is the thing. They didn't, like, kill a ton of shit, but they didn't die. They kept going. And we saw that in the end game, right? There was just so many Chosen around. Hey, thank you so much, P York 64. FFA spin the wheel, King of the Hill stream. Just the thought. Yeah, we'll do that soon. Not today, obviously. Today's stream was pretty long, so that'll be it. But thank you for the 69.69. This man knows how to live. Thank you so much for that donation. Yeah, we'll do a King of the Hill stream this week. Yeah, maybe in the next couple days. Dude, that bloaty boy, 1,800 value. Sigvald, of course, a world beater. It was a good army from Dactyr. It's so cool seeing elite infantry in action. So cool. All right. Hey, CPay, thank you. That's a good tip. I'll do the same thing. So if we go to the brackets, let us update it. Dactyr is going to be our champion for the day. And he claims victory in today's Ultra Funds tournament. If you guys did enjoy the stream, please do drop a like. It lets the dreaded YouTube algorithm know that people actually watch ye old Total War, and helps get more people into the community. So big thanks to everyone for joining. It was a really fun tournament. Special thanks to Felcon, Alfredino, Vicious Satsuma, and Dactor for today's event. Had an absolute blast. Big thanks to the mods in chat. You guys did an excellent job slaying these Tzeentch bots today. They didn't live long here in this chat. Excellent community we got here. And thank you guys for donations as well. From P York 64, Nathan Lenz for becoming a member as well, and a donation. Thank you so much. Jack McDowell, Bubba's Big Blast, Chris Zimmerman with a huge hundy. Thank you so much. Anti-Pony Association for the fiber. Grant Erickson becoming a new member. Joel, Alex Sear, Simon Benjamin with a big 50-pounderoos. Claire Farron, thank you. Morphus, son of Kiernan. Mosier, Mr. Pig. Yeah, the best dog to ever terrorize your shirts. He did. Kaiju Kobold, Mosier, Swordmaster. Dude, man, you guys have been crazy today. Roy Van Zutphen and Peter Burrow. I think that's it. Thank you guys so much. And to Essa and Swordmaster for becoming new members as well. And Melonhead and iPhone Kyle. Dude, fun stream. Oh, Vicious Satsuma, no worries, man. You played a great game. And honestly, Satsuma, did you see how much bloated corpse value you got? Your one bloaty boy got 1,800 value when it hit that blob with the Chosen and Warriors and Aspiring Champs in it. So good. And very well played to Dactor. Don't doubt yourself. You are a mighty champion, Dactor. And that'll be it for today. So wrapping up the stream. We'll be back soon. I don't know if I'm going to stream tomorrow. I might. But we'll be back with some wild shit sometime in the next week. I don't know when, but it's going to be fun, dude. Dudes and dudettes. All hail the mighty. That's right. All hail the mighty indeed. Take care. Avoid the heat if it's really hot where you are. I'm going to go take Lola on a walk, try and get some fresh air. It's like a sauna in here. It smells like hot dogs, which is never a good sign. The bloaty boy. All your bloats got like 800 value plus except one. Yeah, it was a great event. So Dactor will be winning the cash prize. I'll send it his way. We'll see you guys next time. Stand by for some fun streams here in the next week. And that is it for today. Cheers, guys.